Yo, what is up, everybody? Hello, hello. So, we're gonna be watching some of the Overwatch World Cup 2023 online qualifiers. Okay. So World Cup's about to start in a second. But I did want to see if we could check out this Great Britain-Denmark match real quick, because it was a really, really good match. Let's see when, like, the game actually starts. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna try to watch the first match. We're gonna try and make it so that we can see, like, multiple of them, right? So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch the Great Britain-Denmark match, as we basically like as we go through the stream that's currently going on. So we're gonna start it off with this. We're gonna set it off with this. We're at 50% on volume, which is good. That's what we want. Okay, so I was seeing some clips from this match, and this match looked absolutely fire. Obviously, Great Britain's a fantastic team with people like Jakaru, Kai, Backbone, Funny Astro, Moon. All amazing players. Amazing players. Got some Overwatch League players in there as well. We've seen amazing matches from them.
Less than getting out of.
Luckily, we can skip through this, chat. We can skip through this a little bit so that we can get through more, see more of what's going on. And then we have Denmark, Naga, Doge, Shockwave. I think we've seen all of those people in contenders.
Pretty much every hero Kelix, I just respect so much.
Yeah, just like all really good players. I like this map looked this match looked absolutely awesome.
Brody,
Denmark
either team will look
is gonna be a top team.
Looked good. That's what I'm expecting here. And look, it is still the Overwatch.
We're starting it off on Nepal here.
Speaking of, here we are.
Maimon is also been really solid.
Okay, here we go.
In the tournament, as I think of our first match of the day, were bad results, really. Yeah, and both teams gonna teleport out, but I think Denmark's gonna teleport to the point, given their composition.
Yeah, you would have to think that'll be the case. And yep, Naga showing May. No surprises there. And Shockwave gonna stay on the sim. So
Denmark's going a lot more brawly than Great Britain, which is really them taking control of the point here is going to be really good, because they need to be super close together. They need to be super close together. Great Britain can kind of like spread out and poke down Denmark a little bit, like they're doing right now, but Denmark needs to be together. Oh, all together with this. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Really big anti on the Shockwave.
As Kai just continues his
They're gonna fall apart here, yeah.
Yeah, Kai with
they had a really good play with that, trying to teleport there, because they wouldn't be able to take that fight on the point because of the echo and everything.
There from Great Britain on this echo,
but yeah, they weren't really able to do much. They're Denmark swapping it up. I think that that's a good choice, because I didn't like their comp beforehand going up against Great Britain. Great Britain was able to just poke them down so much and slowly whittle them down with the pure amount of damage they have on their team.
Shockwave. Denmark has completely changed their comp.
Conversely, when you're Denmark, you wait for Kai to get picked, and then you go in.
That was rough. Good job on Denmark. Capitalized on a lot of out-of-position players. Great Britain kind of fell apart there. I don't know what was happening with their team.
They prioritized the point 20 to 28.
Maybe miscommunication. Oh, they're committing.
Gets rid of them immediately.
Wait, Great Britain wins this? Okay.
Oh, the deadliness.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
but I guess they win it, chat.
Paper scissors here too, with Kai with the switch, and there goes the balanced beam yet again. Slay goes down. Slay has spent the last about 3 minutes inside a spawn. It's been a rough go of it for the Ana. Great Britain will take the lead here at 44%. Shockwave EMP ready, though, and just switched to the Sombra, so getting a lot of work done.
Yeah,
That is true. Just switch to Sombra and already has EMP. Denmark, I think, wins this with EMP.
Look at the progress. It's keeping Denmark in it, even when they've lost
Okay.
and they've won. EMP from Shockwave, just
Worse.
basically a swap.
Nano on the
Get rid of
Kai,
instinct.
interesting.
Not the worst,
Oh,
but
they pull it
taking
together.
Astro,
They pull it
though.
together.
Dominance over Kellex. Naga's still around. Here's the interesting thing here, Hex. Great Britain likely is going to.
What I'm noticing from the beginning here is it just like Great Britain just they look more seasoned together.
And not at all. I mean,
Denmark,
it's a really nice
it
play
seems
from,
like they just need to
Doge
get back
come
into
in there
it.
And it buys some time and got the, I believe he got the Ana on the baby
Okay.
Diva too. And
Great
bought
Britain
himself
did have to
space
pull
against
out.
the remix, so nice.
So Denmark
individual
still has
play.
control of point.
And Denmark, yeah, just kind of scrapping it out. They will take the lead here as well.
Yeah, I really like that from Denmark, and even though the fight was looking against them, even if it didn't go against them, they got value. But now, in the lead here once more, Great Britain coming in from the high ground. Hikaru on to the point. Naga, meanwhile,
Yeah.
going on to the pulse bomb, looking for the Ana. Backbone in trouble, goes down. Shockwave and Naga working
Ooh.
real well. The stick is so good.
Yeah, that
Naga
stick was
with
crazy.
two right after, make it 3. The
I don't even know if Naga
and
was trying to go
Shockwave
for the
right now,
Lucio.
unreal.
Naga,
Yeah, I
Hold
mean,
on.
I think about like the DPS lineups we have in the league and like where the
After looking for the Ana. Backbone in trouble, goes down.
yeah, Backbone wanted to hit the Sojourn, but
yeah,
hey,
I mean, I think about like
you know,
the DPS lineups
a
we
stick's
have
a
in
stick.
the
You know what
league
I'm
and
saying? You get
where
the kill, that's
expect
big
them to
value.
be.
But that was
I
their
think
only
Shockwave
support,
and
so
Naga
that was
got
honestly
overlooked. I think Shockwave and Naga were
really, really
overlooked
good
in
value.
Their times in the Overwatch League as well too. Like I just don't think they ever got the respect put on their names. Maybe it was given the teams they were on.
Sojourn
Kai
is still
got plenty of
crazy
respect
good,
in that.
chat.
Yeah, you have to respect Kai, or you simply fall. One of the deadliest.
Sojourn is
DPS
crazy
around.
good.
Really good opening here on the Sojourn with the overclock. Gives Great Britain control the point. But Hex, it's all going to come down to really
EMP.
probably one fight, but potentially two. If you're Denmark, almost you want a quick fight and then a re-go, because Great Britain is stacked right now when it comes to ultimates.
They do have ultimates, but Shockwave can make them not use them. So the EMP is pretty much ready to go. Shockwave's done a great job of charging this up and getting the poke in that you need to get done as a Sombra. So Denmark might open with Kitsune.
Great Britain
and
has a
see
ton of
response
ults right now,
You
but
get Astro, because
but I
don't let
think
Astro
that
beat.
EMP can
Astro
cancel
got
out a
the
lot
beat.
of this in the
It
case
doesn't
of
hit
for
Maybach or
Denmark.
Backbone. Jakaro, though, gets Shockwave
When did I wanna start streaming
early.
by?
Both teams down to DPS. Naga on the prowl once more, getting real close to building a pulse bomb. Mid-fight here could be the difference maker, but Kellex falls. Great Britain way healthier on the point. Pulse bomb near left from Naga.
We could start at
It's like
6. That's
no
what I was thinking of
HP,
doing,
and
Taco.
Quickly, no teammates either. Slade
6 my
finds
time.
Astro. Point. Gonna get the flip. Denmark got the flip in the middle of that again.
Yeah, it's really helps.
But we
them
could start
kind of
later if you're
protect
down.
them.
I'm okay with starting later just because,
And
like,
Naga's bomb does
I get to
not
watch more
impact
World
Great
Cup,
Britain,
you
still
know?
in the
I'm not gonna
better
complain
overall.
about that.
Holding on to the pulse bomb.
and
Next
I was
go.
planning on streaming
Holding
later
here in the
today,
back,
so
a
we
little
could
bit
end up
pressure,
streaming for a
60
while.
Under pressure
That's
again.
completely up to
Naga
how
out for
what you
blood.
want to do,
Meanwhile,
though.
gonna stay
I'm gonna be
alive.
streaming like
Both
basically
teams
all day
poking back and
today.
forth. Denmark is back up to full strength. The pulse bomb comes out. Doge in real danger right now. Super low HP, still somehow alive. Doge is staying alive against the odds.
This is
right
a
now. Does he
crazy
get this?
fight right
Is it
now.
gonna hit in time? Oh no!
Kellex got the beat off.
Doesn't
That's
hit
big.
Doge. Just in the nick of time.
Oof.
Kai,
Rough.
meanwhile,
Yeah,
finishing
GB takes
off on the
this.
side, makes it 2.
Losing
And that is Great
Doge
Britain
was that
taking
was the determining
round.
factor.
What a
They
round
needed to
it
keep
was.
Doge up.
I've been really impressed with Doge, actually. I'm pretty impressed with both the early diva play
Let's skip up a little bit.
into the Naga being the aggressor on the control of the point.
The next round, Overwatch, get on the objective, stupid, and
USA isn't on right now.
See if that point
USA is
can
actually going to play
continue
right before our
into
right before
next round.
the six
Big difference though between what both teams are running here is Denmark again.
right before 6 p.m.
Yeah, I mean, Naga's...
It's going to be like the
May
hour
is-
before like
it's
I was
excellent,
originally
so,
planning on starting.
That's gonna
So if
be
you wanted to watch
something
that
that
with
they
me,
can
I'd be
rely on,
down.
But they need to try to get
It's going to be USA versus Canada. It's going to be a crazy match.
All Doge here punching away, Jakaro in his face, hoping for a little bit of heals, just throws up the arms blocking.
I've seen
Get off
Doge's
me. Both
playing
teams,
on this
little bit of
map.
poke back and forth. Neither
It's
team
really
suffering
crazy.
elimination here just yet, but again,
Like, I've
look
seen
at
some
the
crazy
point.
stuff from
Denmark
Doge on this.
prioritizing it. Great Britain more so just looking to win the fight. Jakaro goes on the pit. He's in the pit. He's gone. And just like that.
Ooh! Wait! Wait!
Denmark.
Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Okay, chat. Give it a second. So... he sees Jakaru on point. And he knows that Jakaru knows he's not getting much value right now. And he's gonna have to jump. Okay. He knows that he's gonna jump. So what he does is he places E. He places his E on the Winston so that whenever he jumps, he fucks it up. Watch this.
Prioritizing it. Great Britain, more
E
so just looking to
off
win
the map.
fight.
Oh! That's such a massive tank
Jakaru
out
goes on the
play.
hook. He's in the pit. He's gone.
That is
And
crazy.
just like that, Doge with the next one. I don't know.
Was it because of the Ramatra?
That is
skill?
crazy. You
No,
know,
it
if
might
you
have
can
been
root
the
against the Canucks,
Yeah,
they have
'cause I
3
think he,
health
like,
care,
kinda
yeah.
skipped through it and it dropped him like a stone.
But so do a ton of
Yeah,
countries.
It looked a little bit weird.
The
but
US
that
is
had
just
to be
fucking
what
behind.
went on there is Denmark. They get first control again.
Huh.
Like, there were tons of, like... There were tons of, like,
That was an interesting interaction. Sorry, I'm a little bit flabbergasted by it.
There's tons of
I hear the wheels
European
turning.
countries that were in this
Just
that have
punches
that, so...
backbone in the mouth. Denmark keeping control here thus far. Slay, a little bit of pressure from the outside. Kai on the prowl, just snipes out Kelix. Great Britain trying to find
So does
the opening.
Denmark?
Slay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Meanwhile,
I know that, like,
you
tons
can't
of,
turn it
like,
back to Kai like
Nordic
that.
countries
Kill you
do, and they
every
had, like,
time. As Great
Sweden,
Britain right
fucking
now, off the
Netherlands,
assassinations
fucking tons of
Kai,
other places like
working their way
that.
back onto the point. Denmark, though, still plenty of tools to stall. Naga just gets
Also,
pinned
doesn't
down.
Germany have it? They have
Doesn't let him
Germany.
Get away. So close it's so far to Blizzard as Great Britain now should be about to get control.
Yeah, 54%.
So many of the
for
fucking
Denmark
countries in
here,
this
but Great
do.
Britain has
The
been
US is just
banking up
behind.
enormous ultimates, like this pulse bomb needs to find some pay dirt, but also it's going to be very difficult for Denmark to take the point
Here,
against
frick
a
the
Winston
monarchy,
with primal
yeah.
rage. Ideally, you fight the Winston somewhere that is not.
Is this
over
going on
an
Sunday? I
enormous
think
death
so.
pit.
Kai almost nearly picked Naga, though. I see Naga's health bar just disappear. That's just, you know, what happens when you try and open in. Well, I'm curious here as the pulse bomb.
Bob's coming out.
Going here to the back. On
It's
the
a good
approach,
bomb.
Shockwave in his sights. The Bob's already been used, and now they turn their attention to Maimon. No pulse bomb used here.
They're having a trouble time dealing with Maimon. They're not really paying Maimon tons of attention, and Maimon, there you go. Goes around, gets that pulse off.
Got to the back. Dealt with the BAP with the pulse
Oh,
bomb.
now they deal with
Naga, though,
Maimon. Okay.
back to turn.
You take out our BAP, we're gonna kill you.
Denmark is trying to fight their way
They
in.
don't have their main healer though, so that's gonna
We're
make
back to
this
Naga.
fight
Gonna go with the
hard.
Blizzard. They're looking for the isolation. Jakaru throws on the point. Astro drops a beat in response. I think
was a
that's
good beat.
You just keep people alive. Denmark, though, they drop the later beat. They go for the highly aggressive.
These
engage,
Lucio
try to
players
make
are
anything
crazy,
happen later
by the
beat.
way.
They nearly get Jakaru, but it's a
They got
good
the point.
decision.
Obviously,
It's a good win.
Astra is gonna be crazy
Denmark
good.
always gets the
Literal
point
like
during some of these duels,
owl
so
player.
It is a nice disengage, really good beats by both squads to keep the tanks alive. And now we're back to the neutral, and trades in the neutral.
Well, Kai wins those trades as it turns out, but Slay punishes Jakaru. Denmark still in control.
Oh, they're
at one
going for
point.
it.
Britain doesn't have
Once
their
you lose
main
your tank
healer.
that early, yeah.
Britain doesn't have their main healer or their tank. They got to back up. So Britain has one more fight remaining. Dragon can.
I really
be fine
think
just to
that the
keep some
comp is
space.
on
So if
Denmark's
Denmark
side
and Dragon
here.
ults, you don't want to be
Like
engaging
Britain
them.
could
Try
switch
not
it
to
up, but
drag
it seems like they're staying with this because they're comfortable on it.
Here we go. Great
But,
Britain
like,
all the way in. A fight
Denmark's
they must
comp
win.
position
Around
just
Denmark at
sweeps
96%.
here.
Kai
It's just
holding
better.
Down! Gets caught
That's so
by
much
the BAP
damage.
as it was mid-dragon.
So much
Denmark,
damage.
5v4.
Yeah, Denmark won the comp
And
game
that
there.
is enough to
Their
force
composition was
around
just so much
three.
better.
Sometimes
Like,
the
the-
wordplay just
it was
makes you
so hard to
obvious when you
get
think of it, but
for
Slay
Great
takes
Britain to get
down
engages
Dragon.
in just because of how
Really,
solid
really well
Denmark's
done there.
composition was.
Big play.
And it just makes so
Kai
much sense for
says,
that map. However,
jacks,
I think that this map right here could go either way.
Jacks. I'm not sure.
This map right here could go either way. I'm gonna check the schedule for you
Yeah.
actually real quick
Also,
to see
the legacy is some Overwatch players, man.
if it's happening on Sunday.
Ajax's legacy is that we've turned you into a descriptor in the game, even though you haven't played the game in years and years. Like,
Yeah.
it just happens.
Friday,
It's just
Saturday.
one
It's
of those
happening
things that happens
tomorrow
when you
and
think
on
about how
Sunday.
Cloud9
Yeah, it
feels,
is.
right?
Tomorrow and
I mean,
Sunday.
at some point, I think Jack probably just saw it as like a free marketing.
Free marketing.
Keep
And
the brand
then
relevant.
after that, it isn't
All right, we have
happening
one here
again
on the
until like
ball.
Thursday.
Again, different compositions here as Denmark's going to go for a little hybrid of the rush.
You're gonna stream it if it is,
Shockwave
okay.
On the Ash.
Wait, Taco, you wanna like call together and we
strange
can like kind of
dive-ish
talk
type
about
of
it
thing.
So much pressure.
together?
Already low. Somehow is able to shake it. I think there's a shockwave and a little bit of pressure from Naga there. But both teams still at a full 5v5. But again, watch the point. Denmark values the point, as we've seen over and over again.
Yeah.
And it might be first
The
control.
thing is with
Even as
Denmark,
Spike is
though, like,
still being
they
contested,
rely
both
very
teams
heavily on
pretty
point
healthy
control.
here right now. Maimon
But, like, if they get
starting
point
here
control, it's gonna
on
make their
the
lives
back.
so much easier.
Generic damage
Right?
point
Because then it makes it so much harder for
control the point. Kai,
Great Britain to
first
engage.
pickoff, gets Slay. Some quick revenge for the end.
Them
of
losing
last
point
round.
here is bad.
Shockwave so low too. Naga
Yeah.
out of it. And
It's looking like it's gonna go in
quick
Great
retake
Britain's
here for
favor.
Great Britain, but it's not one just yet.
The thing with
Maimon
Denmark is that,
certainly
like,
leading the way.
okay,
Well, I mean, one
so
Denver is,
Great
like,
Britain,
they're
they're super
prioritizing
mobile,
the point. It's
right?
their
They can pretty much move
competition
anywhere.
allows
With Denmark, they have to
You've
be
got May,
very
you've got
careful with where
Ramatra,
they
it's a
take
little bit easier to
engages.
have some staying
If
power,
like,
but the
or
moment that
even
you
like
lose
any
that
type of
piece,
fight, right? So if Great Britain
not only
engages
losing,
and
but
Denmark's in like
your
a
splash
in a
damage and
bad
everything, you're
spot,
losing your
it's really
anti-dive,
bad for
which ends up
them.
being the
So
immortality.
like going to the right of point
So
there for
it's a
Denmark
little
was
tough
really
there,
rough
so
for them because it
obviously
opened up
losing
so
your
many
main support
flanking
early in the
opportunities for
fight
Great
is
Britain.
bad. We saw it there. Shockwave's going to go over to the Sombra.
It was
again.
really hard. It was really hard for Denmark
It's
to
not bad, but you
work
both
around
have
that.
Naga on the
Going
tracer
left
matchup.
here
It's
is
different
good.
than last time we saw
They
it.
need to help their
Maimon,
BAP,
meanwhile,
though.
In the back, BAP in the sights. Immortality field though, gonna save the BAP in the moment. However, there's no saving
Naga's
Naga
gone.
from Kai, who's being
That is
deadly
rough.
consistent on the Hanzo. Great Britain
Yeah.
still in control of the
Kai's
Hanzo.
Hanzo is fucking
Back and
crazy.
forth here, tank beat tank, Dragon. Going right
Sunday,
down
yeah,
the
that'd be
corner
great.
here
Okay,
for
cool.
Kai. Block out from Doge, punches Shikaru in the mouth. And Denmark.
You need to look
still
who's playing
trying
on
to take the
Sunday
point,
and
but this time around,
do
Great
your
Britain
homework.
Doesn't let him have it.
No, Denmark's going to back up.
I haven't
to
been doing
not
my
lose
homework on the
anyone
players.
else.
I know a lot of contenders and owl players, but other than that, I don't really know a ton. I also know streamers, so if there's streamers on there, I'll know
You can't even
them.
go in now. Like you just have no healing.
I'm a big
Naga is gonna
Yasan
be in
fan, so
trouble.
I'm
Maybe
rooting for
Icebox
Saudi
way out.
Arabia. I'm
That's
not gonna
at some
lie.
point, but yeah, you have to wait for Slay.
Yasan and
There's actually some
Romani have
switch.
been
This gets off of
crazy.
the Baptiste and goes over to the Moira. Maybe more survivability,
Yeah.
a little more sustain. Possibly just to be able to get an ultimate up before Great Britain caps.
Also, I think Naga might go to the Tracer once Blizzard is out. I think probably wanted to swap a little bit earlier, but oh, the sleep! Shockwave just takes
It was a
nap,
good, really
but,
good beat
you know,
though. The
still
beat save
decent for
shot
Denmark.
wave.
I got picked off early, and I think it's one of those blessing in disguise
I was
moments
just
here.
gonna
And
say
they have
Denmark's
EMP
winning the
as
fight
well if they
anyway,
absolutely
so
need
they
it.
just get the same
Yeah, once they took
EMP.
point control there, Denmark wins it.
Oh.
It's like I was saying, like
Really bad luck for
they
Great
really rely on that point control.
But I was thinking the same thing of like, wow, now they're going to win that fight and have EMP for the next one. But the Blizzard had to come out. Denmark now in control.
Oh
but
my
if you're-
God,
if
not
you're
the
Denmark, like,
headshot.
you kind of want to take the fight to them. With
Come
this
on.
EMP, don't let them get
Don't
set.
disrespect
That
Kai like
Slay
that.
Has been haunted by.
Whoa, you saw that? The
That's
fucking
no-
Maywall up.
Yeah, the arrows, they just don't miss, is what we're seeing here. But the EMP comes up for Shockwave. Get rid of Astro.
Big.
Wow, just annihilate him. An EMP for one. And now, Doge, in the middle of the point, Annihilation has to
Wow.
be on
Okay,
the mind
yeah.
here.
They win
Annihilation
this.
comes out, and he's going to walk forward and keep on punching. Shockwave finds Maimon in the back, and Denmark.
That was a really good
untold
fight for
aggression
Denmark.
towards Great Britain here.
That was-
They
that
kinda
was really
have
good
to,
for
Hex,
them.
'cause there is a big progress disparity between the two teams.
Yeah, big progress disparity, but
Great
I mean,
Britain needs
Denmark has done a pretty
to-
good job
they need to
of
do
at
better
least
with their
staggering
ults.
ultimate economy. You saw previously it was the DPS ults.
Their
and now
their
this
ultimate
time
economy
it
is
ends
kind of
up
getting
being,
destroyed.
The tank ultimates, and now Denmark has both support ultimates to go for too. Great Britain, the bank is a little bit empty now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're gonna have
and,
beat
February,
soonish, but
everyone
that's
gets
all they're gonna
Christmas.
have.
It's coal for Denmark on the way. And look, it's not the flashiest ultimate, but it does its job.
At least in the case of Great Britain, they're not.
Kai's a little bit busy.
They
with
don't really have
Shockwave
any
over here.
ults to react to
And
beat
I like what
with.
Denmark is doing and pressuring
So they
Kai a
could
little bit
maybe
more.
use
Don't
it to
get back
engage,
the
but it's
shots.
not really good
Naga
at that. You
just
don't have much
stripped
time bank to
Astro
work
off the
with.
wall with the icicles.
Especially
And now
considering,
it's
like,
anyone's
looking
game,
at
99
Denmark,
to 95.
you
Great
don't
Britain
have
beat the
anybody
lead.
that you can really
Blake
kill with it. The
Astro's not
Sombra
back
can
for
get
a little
out.
bit yet.
The
Still
May can
spawn
ice
with the
block
beat. That's
and
a
wait
piece
out
that
the
Great Britain
beat.
needs. Shockwave finds back
Doge
though.
is a tank, so that ain't
Got delayed.
happening.
Got delayed
And then
till
you have the
beat comes
Lucio
out. Beat
Moira.
comes out. Now what's going to be the capitalization here for Great Britain? Denmark is still
Denmark's
up
caught out
5.
in a bad
Slay
spot,
shifts the
though.
pressure.
So, yeah, they
Kai
just
finds
die.
Kellogg
They
and
die.
Slay takes down both supports, but will it be enough? Shockwave and Naga return.
Remember when
to favor.
XQC
Doge
was the
gets rid
commentator
of
for
Kai,
the
and
World Cup?
Denmark
Was he?
almost
I remember him
there
being
on the
in
first
World
map. They
Cup.
just need a little bit more. Jakaru, though, good delay right now for Great Britain. Is that going to be enough for people to get back to the point? It is so back and forth, Hex.
I don't ever
This one
remember
is
him
getting
being commentator
really
for
hard to
World
call.
Cup.
It's going to be a blizzard coming out though from Naga. Kai has gone.
You
to
might
the
be right,
Pharah
though.
of all of things, and Denmark
Was that like
pulls
2019
it
World Cup?
off
Because
in
that
the
makes
end.
sense.
I really like what the Kellex ended up doing with the beat there, even though Funny Astro came back. Like, the moment they got the beat, and it
That's
was
crazy.
5v4, he just slammed it. Just knew it right finish out bad. But so far, this match is living up to the hype.
Yeah, and you know what's the most intelligent?
Yeah, that was an awesome match from them. Let's see how we're doing over here. Is the match started yet?
Fury is taught.
God damn it. Fucking ads. Ugh. But yeah, World Cup is awesome. I love World Cup. In my opinion, much better than Overwatch League and Contenders. And when you consider all of the watch parties and everything, highest viewership.
He was at points, you know, very stand-up mechanical player. I think it's hard to dismiss his ability as a player simply because, you know, he has one of the coolest highlights of all time.
Okay, let's see.
So I think that this team overall really
Colombia
relies
versus
on
Peru.
him. Obviously, is going to need a little bit of backup from the rest of the supporting cast.
Let's see how this is gonna go.
Sure, but let's take a little introduction over to the Peru side first. Moxie, what can you tell us about this starting roster?
So they have a little bit of experience coming through from that Contenders SA. Seen both Persona and Pogue used to play in 2020 under the team name Patitas, which I am told is absolutely adorably translated to ducklings, and they had a duck as their
Okay.
logo, which is just,
Okay, got some good
it's
players
so
on here.
Nice to see come through.
Adorable.
But they're back. They're coming here with this.
Especially
team.
Persona.
I'm
I've seen
really
good things from
excited to get to see
Persona.
what they've been cooking up, because like Dustin said, EQO is known for having something like that Genji in the back pocket, having these niche picks that you're able to fall back onto, and for a little bit of a curveball out to is going to be incredibly important in terms of counter stratting.
Well, it's going to be all about thinking quick on your feet then right here for Peru, just trying to take advantage of any opportunity to counter strat like you were saying, Moxie. But I'm also looking
I'm not
forward
super
to
familiar
the
with their
introduction over
with their
towards
lineup
the
here, so I can't really say
Colombian
much on it.
team as well with EQO.
Super Gomez. What a
This
name.
and
That's
then you've got
crazy.
Eternal Super Gomez,
EQO?
the
EQO? I'm expecting good things from EQO. I'm familiar with
Sure,
EQO.
I think that Colombia overall actually has a pretty solid
Really,
lineup,
really
you know,
good
as a
player.
unit. Realistically,
Okay.
they really need to play around EQ.
So is this the comp?
Super Gomez has a large hero pool, can play those flexible,
Is this-
you know, Winston.
Oh,
play
so
the
apparently
Reinhardt,
Super
really need
Gomez
that
has
swap, whatever
can
needed
swap
for
around
this
heroes a
team,
lot and
you know,
everything.
it's up to them if they want to go for more of those, you know,
But yeah, if this
moment meta.
this
sort
is
of
an interesting
guide
comp to
comps
run if
require
this
a
is what they
bunch of
decide to run, but
coordination, or if you want to play something a bit
you
more
know,
brawly,
that's probably not gonna happen.
seems
I
like
think
they
it just
have a lot
shows
to
like
do
who
so.
they play, who
Obviously,
they've
Eternal
played the
potentially
most
fighting
or
over
whatever.
Kane, or EQ actually has a fantastic main in his own right, rather. So this team could really run
So,
it
yeah.
whatever they want, it seems like.
I would say they're probably going to be starting with something like either a Reinhardt
Starting off
or,
with Nepal.
Matra. Maybe Rush coming through, given that, like Dustin pointed out, Eternal
You can
normally
see
is
the
subbed for this
difference
team, like, so between
in
both the Roadhog and
the
Mage,
different
Roadhog
like
and
regions
DPS, so
and
as much as
preferences
you
for
want to argue
maps
that
based off
Roadhog
of the
could perhaps
regions and
do
how they
a
play.
spot of DPS with the dash,
Because
but
we
he
were seeing
does
lots
have
of
tank, so
Lijiang
he's still a tank. Mage is
yesterday,
definitely
and we
the
saw like I
team
think
that's really
one
active to
Nepal,
start things off,
but
as we can have a
we've
look at that
seen
first map, which is
lots of
going to be
Nepal
Nepal, which is
today, which is
incredibly good
interesting.
for that mate to come through. If you get Village handed to you first up as well, it's just going to be an overall brawl for control of that point as quickly as possible. Start the fight on the high ground and then move to the point and use things like the May Wall and also potentially even Symmetra turrets to be able to keep the team at bay when they next come calling.
Ooh, okay, so first map already picked out
Okay.
there for control, but then that means we have escort coming up next. When it comes down to the escort map,
I feel like
the
stream's a little bit
options here being
quieter
Super
than last
Royale,
than
Gibraltar, and
yesterday.
Route 66 here for Americas.
I turned it up a little bit.
What do you think these teams might lean into?
I mean, maybe they want to switch towards Gibraltar, which had that change like you mentioned, but realistically, it's up to them. I think, you know, obviously a lot of these teams pick based on win rates and scrims, right? I think a lot of analysis work has been, kind of the leading tool to just like picking what map is best for your team. Realistically, you just kind of go into practice, go into scrims, kind of just see what you win on most, and then go from there. Obviously, knowing the map pool they have to go
Also,
through,
like, countering
I'm
other
sure,
teams
you
with
know,
maps,
maybe-
being like,
I
I don't think
imagine
they
a lot
would
of
be
these
as
teams
good
are
on this
leaning
map,
towards
you know,
those
and then
maps, whatever
picking
they seem
it.
to be winning on most, whether it be Circuit Rail, Route, or Watch Point.
We
really up for
see
debate.
that a lot whenever people play up against
Well,
Yasan,
we
because
are actually
like,
gonna have to wait a little bit
you
longer
know
to
what
see
Yasan's
those
gonna
maps
play.
are going to end up being, as we're not
you
only gonna
you know
as
Yasan's gonna
well
be on that like
short
Farah
things up. So I'm
Echo.
gonna send it over to a quick little video, fly through, and send you guys over into the game.
The music's been like elevator music for a while.
Well, thank you, Ash, for that one. Sorry for that, guys. That's my fault, honestly. Just a little bit of brain lag for me. Moxie, obviously coming into Nepal, one of the premier maps that we have in Overwatch. And obviously, Moxie, I think that the meta, we talked about it earlier, has changed, but maybe we could talk about it a bit more. Maybe you could talk about it a bit more. What we obviously expect
about
to
it a
see,
bit
what
more.
potentially
Talk about it a
could
bit more.
happen, any changes. I think you already kind of touched on it with the fact that teams are playing more towards previous.
I really
meta.
feel like whenever they're
Yeah, so
showcasing this,
we
it
are
feels
playing
like the
on
game's
live
being
patch. This
shown
is
on low
indeed the
settings.
cast movement
'Cause this does
burden
not
made
look-
patch, so we are going to see the
Maybe
jump
it is
in
on
there
high
as well in
settings,
terms of
but
how much health
it
you're
doesn't
able
look
to
super good.
regenerate with that. Shout, the May buff has come through as well, making it a little bit harder to be able to play that Ramatra. I know a lot of teams towards the EMEA side of things are actually wanting to.
It's
prefer
unfortunate
the
because
Reinhardt
I feel like in a
build
lot of
because you can use that
ways,
shield a lot more
the first game
frequently
looked better.
to be able to try and cut out that May slow building up so that you have a
But I
little
feel
bit
like a
more
lot of the
movement
problem
as
is the
opposed to
constant
Ram, who
day
he drops a
time
shot once,
changing
the
and them
minions
have to
fast,
like
the slow begin,
changing
and
it
he's
at like
just
every season or
absolutely
so.
slowed to a snail's pace and is very quickly run over by the rest of that Maze team. But that's on places like Lijiang with Control Center, where you're going to be up close and personal and brawling for very small spaces. Here, where the map is a little bit wider and those flank ranks are a little bit more prominent, we're still most likely going to be seeing a little bit of that poke phase come through, but a lot of Tracer Sombra trying to bite into that backline, pick up a very early kill, and immediately find a numbers advantage to just brute force a fight.
And on that note, Moxie, I mean, obviously, like you said, a lot of Tracer Sombra potentially could come through. I think that it's kind of underestimated how hard it is to play those compositions, right? I think that a lot of, communication is required. A lot of those fantastic Winston players that realistically,
We're taking a
like
second
lot
to
of
get
Korean
here.
Teams can play
We're taking a
extremely
second to
well.
get there.
It's hard for maybe a lot of these other regions to kind of step.
I don't know
up
what's
to that
happening,
level.
but we're
That's
waiting
why,
for
I mean,
something.
Moxie, from the outside, we can see, like each region kind of is known for their own specific thing. I
Some
feel like
type of
we've seen a lot
difficulty going on.
Rhine Rush Brawl via the European region. Then in the Korean region, we see a lot of the dive. Then in the North American region, we see a lot of maybe pokey stuff. I mean, like,
Pokey.
why do you think that's the case, Moxie? Why do you think we've seen each region kind of develop their own individual play style? Obviously meta will dictate these things at times, but it's kind of interesting how everything has evolved, right?
I think it's always about experience, right? You look at those Korean and APAC regions, and they always really do like to push Winston. Even in Overwatch 1, when we still had two
Yeah, they
tanks,
do
would
really
be
like
running
Winston.
Double bubble, which was Zarya and Winston. And having those years of experience just allows you to have such good knowledge of that hero. And over here, where we have a couple less Winston mains, we're most likely going to be seeing the Diva if it is that dying.
Yeah, like
We'll see. We'll see what the
over
teams,
in the
attempt
APAC
to
region,
run.
you do see lots of
Obviously, like I said,
region.
potential hero
That's
pool
super
is a
super.
thing as well,
You see
right?
lots of
Just like
Winston. That's
your hero
super
pool
true.
for the World Cup,
They absolutely
individual
love
player-wise,
Winston, and
obviously
they just like
going to
they'll
be
play him
limited,
on
right?
almost
That's why
anything.
You see a lot of these, maybe not lesser regions, but less known regions, players that are still working their way up, maybe have a little bit more limited hero pool.
All right, here we go.
But coming to this one, obviously, we're already going to see a lineup between these two teams. We're going to see a lot of Ramatra versus the Diva today, Moxie.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting because everyone
there's definitely something different about the audio here.
And can sidestep or just boost over that May wall. So Diego's gonna have a hard time actually being able to pin some of these players down.
Well, already spamming off in the
Okay,
beginning.
the audio level's
Super
good.
Gomez playing around the outside. EQO finds the Lucio of Rodrigo on the backside. Also, the Immortality field was used, so a lot of cooldowns.
I'm already
Columbia
liking
maintains relatively healthy.
I think that it can go either way with the comps here. The thing is, something good that Colombia has going for them is it's going to be a little hard for Peru to capitalize on their Mei walls just because Colombia is always going to have an out. Like, all of the members of Colombia are going to have an out. That was one way to do it. Super Gomez got messed up. That new Mei slow is just brutal. That new Mei slow is brutal.
They just made sure that Colombia did not manage to really support their tank, and Super Gomez now is actually going to be off of that. Diva understands that if he boosts into Peru's team, no one else is going to be able to accompany him. He is going to be left
Yeah,
alone
that is a bit
when
true.
Kiriko and
So
Lucio,
yeah,
that Diva makes such a
they're
huge
going,
difference, doesn't have enough sustainability.
Colombia's gonna
It's going
have
to be a mirror to
a bit of a
counter.
different
However,
comp
Lucio
than
is
Peru,
so
but
close to EMP,
I honestly kind of like the
sticking on
Kyrie
the
more than the BAP a little bit.
The follow-up in this fight. It's Eternal to find the opening
At least on
shot.
this
The
map.
Mei Ice, nice shot from Eternal on the re-engage as well.
Like, BAP's window is obviously going to be super good, but
And the amplification matrix eventually have to rotate around. EMP ready to go. Pops the EMP.
I think that they can get a lot of value out of Suzu.
Rodrigo as well as Pope. Basketball's already traded. Super Gomez without the tank in the fight. I don't think Colombia can actually win this unless they manage to get picks on the backside and run out of this Nemesis form. But Eternal trades back Diego. Diego did find Mixby, but Baskerville still on this point is pumping out that damage as well. Has to deal with Hug. Unfortunately, can eventually not. They do have the beat on the point, even though they lost Baskerville. And Peru holds
That's
on to the
crazy.
point.
Absolutely
Peru's
gorgeous.
doing
He
really
both
well
supports
right
get
now.
hit by the EMP and almost immediately taken down, but Baskerville goes into annihilation knowing that Colombia are going
Colombia's
to
doing lots of switching right now. They're trying to figure out something that's comfortable to run against Peru. Oh, really good engage. Really good engage from Colombia. They got Baskerville. Big. It did take 2 ults. But they rush onto the point. They got a lot of space. They got a lot of the control of point using the abilities that they used. And then they were able to find the kills with their ultimates and everything. They had a good engage.
Finally gets to Rodriguez as well, and the delay comes through from Peru. Can't get up 99% sadly, but 95 is pretty solid percentage as the point flips for Colombia.
Which isn't a chess match between these two at the moment. Should I say a seesaw? One side goes for a comp swap, and then the other side comp swaps alongside it. Persona sees that Reaper and raises a Cole Cassidy. That nade is going to come into effect massively by cancelling out both the Moira.
They're shooting their Ps at one another.
EQO's teleport and Wraith. If he gets hit by a nade, he's done for.
Yeah.
Ramattra's one of the most interesting tanks they ever introduced into the game.
Annihilation on the point goes incredibly low, gets poked out early. Both teams kind of running at each other's face.
Going with the Annihilation in the beginning. Oh, he's low though, he's low.
Peru tries to get the damage in there, and eventually Mixby.
It was a bit of a rough Annihilation in the case of Super Gomez. Just because Peru were able to back into this room, and it's very hard for Colombia to push into that, just because it's like, well, with the amount of damage that Peru has, if they push in, not only can somebody get walled off, but also, like, they just do so much damage to people like Super Gomez. And it's just like, he can't sit there and try to constantly keep his ult on them, because he'll just explode, even if he's blocking. Big plays from EQO, you know. We were expecting that, though. Really good player.
With that annihilation, they're sitting at 95%. All they need is 1 team kill. Colombia, on the other hand, have to poke and pressure these kills away.
Yeah. So it's basically 2 fights. So Peru's gonna have 2 fights to take this. And Colombia basically, they can't lose a single fight.
Territory now. EQO still waiting with that death blossom ready to go, but Peru have the ultimate advantage. They pop the continued rush early.
That's a big wall.
Wall off the back of the team. Yep, EQO still waiting around the main side with the death blossom, patiently waiting.
EQO can get big value with this.
Push on that front side from Peru. Beat drops out as well.
He has to be careful though.
Both sides still waiting to use that ultimate. It's Diego's Mei ultimate. The Blizzard zones out that.
Oh!
EQO goes with a death
Okay,
blossom.
it was worth it though. He got a lot of people really low, and Eternal was able to pick up some kills.
In this fight as well as Eternal desperately trying to build up towards that Blizzard, looking at the tank player of Basketball. Now
they used Suzu, they got Suzu out. Big freezes.
Combined for 2, and Colombia make that 99 comeback to take round number 1.
It's all about ult tracking. The comms, the target focus in that last fight are absolutely on point. Persona is the player with an ultimate that can immediately turn it around.
Yeah,
for
that was
Peru.
big.
You use that data, you get that.
Big
so you
comeback
get
from
that flip
Colombia
onto
as
the
well.
point,
It
and
wasn't looking super
suddenly
good, but
it
then
becomes a
toward the
matter
second half of that,
attrition. Who's going to be able to have those
toward the second
resources
half
and
of
ultimates
playing, they,
to
you
sit
know,
and keep the point
they just started
fragments
winning
away
over
from the
Peru.
other team to sustain until
I always
their
love to see it.
reinforcements come
Yeah,
through.
so they were just a
That's
bit
the thing,
scrambled in the
Dangdara
beginning,
doesn't
didn't
get
really have
to
an answer
use.
to what was happening, then they
Honestly,
found their
that
answer.
momentum
And,
scales from this
you know, they were able
moment
to win
right
after
here.
that.
EMP coming in, hitting both of those supports.
Love to see the
nullifying a lot of
adaptability.
that support utility, and
Gotta be able
finally
to adapt in
allowing that swap as
Overwatch.
well off the Sombra onto the Reaper to really get up close, use the high ground. The fact that every time Peru had to approach, they were forced to an absolute standstill because EQO stood above them.
Yep. I mean, you know, and on top of EQ, I know we talked about him quite a bit, but you know, Eternal able to find those opening picks multiple times, also hugs as well.
Okay, so we're on
so
to
far on that
the next map.
Opting to run a similar composition except EQO on the Sojourn and hug back on.
Oh, they chose Orisa. Interesting choice on the Orisa instead of the Ram. I understand why they would want to do it, because Eternal was getting a lot of value on the Mei, and Orisa can survive really well against that while also getting the boots on this map. You know, obviously Ram can survive the Mei pretty well, but you know, you have the Orisa Gold, the Orisa Spear Spin, and all of that. So, and the reason why you would want the Spear Spin and the Spear Throw is for that boop ability on this map so that you can possibly hit them off and stuff. But they swap over to the Ram. They were like, no, this isn't going to work, let's go back to Ram. Understandable. It's very hard to get boops in Overwatch too. Not to mention, like, people are constantly looking for it. Like, they've learned so much since the first game.
They don't get bottlenecked in lane.
Have to be aware of Persona getting incredibly close, like you mentioned.
It's incredibly hard to boot good players off of the map, you know? They know better. They know better.
Still looking for Persona on the back line, also trying to find his opening picks, but EQL does match him on the left side.
That's a good E.
On the back, has the Dragon Strike,
Persona is incredibly low,
keeps his team
but
healthy,
it's just like, I don't think they're going to be able to do anything because of
all this damage. In fact, now they
Jesus Christ.
On top
Yeah.
of Super Gum is popping his own ultimate.
Columbia has
Nothing
that
Peru had.
has had that ult advantage for quite a bit just because Peru had to make a couple swaps.
Yeah, and Persona had to hold on to that dragon.
Lose a little bit of ult charge because of it.
He didn't want to throw the Dragon Strike into a team fight knowing that they hadn't been able to find the numbers advantage. They'll at least have it for this one, but you don't really have it to zone anything out other than this overclock that's going to come through the second that Peru step out of this choke. Disruptor shots make it even harder for them to approach, buys Colombia even more point percentage on the board.
Unfortunately, EQO has been so evasive on that backside. Does drop that
EQO with the overclock. Not getting any kills, though. That window is fucking brutal.
EQO, Diego with the Ant Matrix connects onto Hug on the back line, able to find that Moira.
That makes a body shot from Hanzo, like, kill a squishy, you know?
They also have
The kill on the Mei.
Eternal gets picked off by Persona.
Peru takes this.
Is the one pressing the gas. He's running onto EQO as well as Persona.
And Peru has ult advantage as well, so they should be able to win the next couple next couple team fights. Super Goma is really low on that ult charge.
Once you lose control of that point, because you're always stepping out into the open where defenders
Hasn't been doing the best job of building ult, it looks like.
Doesn't have the opportunity to build up that ult fire on the railgun and look for a one shot.
Yeah, it was just really rough. It was really rough to win that fight because Peru had so much space to work with, so much space to do for their Hanzo to do the damage and to utilize that window and everything. It's just that was a tough fight for Colombia to win after a certain point.
Yeah, it is just poke, however, coming through from Colombia, other than throwing in that Blizzard, trying to bait ultimates out from Peru. And as a result, Peru actually lost more ultimates than Colombia. Now we're going to be seeing a swap come through EQO off of that Sojourn, understanding that just power sliding and threatening that point flip is not going to be enough to buy this team safety.
So I think the swap now is they're going to try to be more oppressive to the front line instead of trying to do things to that back line, because that back line is sitting real pretty. And that's why EQO wants to swap onto the Reaper, but I could be wrong. Maybe the EQO wants to flank and hit the back line a bit more. We'll see how they decide to take it here. But as you can see, he's already being a menace to that front line. Look at how low he got Baskerville already.
Their tank player, they found that Lucio.
They were able to recover, but they lost a bit of space
now
because of
has
it.
to come back into this fight as Mixby regroups the rest of that lineup. Now Columbia will walk into
That's a
the
big
main
wall.
with his hand matrix and poke. It does get walled off, giving them that space. But the beat drop, re-engage.
Ooh,
Diego
internal
finds
gets
Eternal.
got,
The backside
and it
shot
looks
from
like,
Persona
yeah,
on
Columbia's
the
got
Evo
this.
cannot give them the sustain, however.
I mean, not Colombia,
Annihilation
Peru.
from Super Gomez. Mixby has looped off Diego. He's killed Persona, and he still has the Annihilation going. But
This is
Rodrigo
Peru's.
trades him out finally. It's overtime. It's now ticking down. Eternal has to swap over to the Tracer. Mixby comes through to that point to try to delay the point in that overtime to give his team that chance they need to come back and wreak a catch.
Oh, Lord. Columbia's already back.
Up from this point, though. Columbia's actually regrouped and are back on the point. Almost
Big dragons,
back,
though.
has baited
Big
the
kill on the
rest of
Mixby.
Columbia into
You
a
barely ever
dogfight
see a
to
dragon
find
kill.
Mixby. A blizzard to zone as
Yeah.
well, and
It was
nobody
so hard to win it. Peru had such an
Peru
ultimate
equalized it
advantage
1-1.
for a while.
Not just the Blizzard,
You
it's the
know,
Dragon Strike.
that was a
The
tough
Dragon
one to
Strike
win
gets
back
sent
in the
onto
case of
point.
Colombia.
Everyone from Colombia has to actually swerve into that side room.
That's what
and
happens
try
whenever
and
you
avoid
commit
it. They
so
don't
many
want
ults
to use
into a
things like the
fight.
Wraith Form
You just
because
don't
they
have any
to
more
save it,
ults
get Eco into
to
position to be able to use that Death
try and win
Blossom.
any of the other
Then
those
the
other
Blizzard
fights
come
and
through to make
contest
sure that no one can touch. They all get frozen
contest
up,
the
they
ult
walk into
economy of
line
the
of
enemy
sight,
team. You
and
can't
they're
blow it all
able
at
to
once.
take
You have
this
to
1-to-1
not
Vivo
you have to make sure you have
Peru and
ults for a
Colombia.
fight while
What
also
a
making
matchup
sure
this
that
is
your
gonna
other
be
teammates
so
can build
far.
ults for
I
other
wonder
fights.
now if we see EQO come in off of the rip on this Reaper, or whether or not he's going to try to flip back
So
to
like,
that Sombra.
if you ever commit a ton of ults to a fight, like, you know, you can win that fight, but what about the other fights, you know? So in last fight situations, or close to the last fight situations, if you want to make sure that the enemy team, like, you can win that fight and make it so that, like, the enemy team can't really do much after that, then you can commit a ton of ults. But beforehand, there's not really much of a point, because they're just gonna have a better ult economy, and it's gonna kick you in your ass later on.
Have to use the immortality field here early.
Because it's like, even if you win a fight or two, you're giving the enemy the ability to build ults for fights after that. So you're just gonna, like, you're gonna end up losing tons of fights after that because their ult economy is better than you.
Back behind, but he's able to join the rest of
These windows have been crazy.
Ant Matrix built by him to find that shot on Diego onto Mixby, and eventually Peru will win the first fight after a very split.
Absolutely crazy windows. I will say though that I'm liking the back line of Peru a lot more than Colombia. I think that it's their line. Not only is their lineup a lot more consistent, but I think that they just have so much more sustain with the BAP heals and the lamp and everything, and the windows just a better ult than Coalescence whenever it comes to being an impressive force, especially on maps like this where they're able to hold the high ground and just get so much coverage with that window. That was a good rotation from Colombia. They got the point quick. Did you have to do something about Persona though? Because if Persona hits a good headshot here, they should look at him. Okay, well there you go. There's a Blizzard, and Persona gets all the kills.
Just Baskerville and Super Gomez going hand in hand at the moment, but Super Gomez able to find Persona, now dealing with his counterpart on the opposite side.
Okay, well, Colombia wins that.
As Super Gomez perfectly placed.
Wait, what happened to Super Gomez is gone? Excuse me? Where does staff go?
Oh, and he gets staggered now as well, so that's even more time going to be built.
He's shooting the peas from nothing.
On this high ground, EQ is going to have a Death Blossom when we head into this. The good news, however, is that Peru aren't up against something like a Tracer or a Sombra, so they're not going to be bullied into.
That is the problem with watching one person's point of view sometimes, because it can look like the fight's going one way whenever it's really not. Big kill from Persona. Now Colombia only has Lucio healing, which is a big blow, but they do have beat. They use beat, going in with it. I feel like there's lots of audio and visual glitches happening in this game, Chad. Am I the only one who notices that? Because I did not hear that beat go off at all.
If they're going to come from this rotation on the high ground, you've seen how small this room is.
I did not hear them use beat at all. It's kind of messing with me, because you get a lot of information from Overwatch through audio, and that's how I kind of tell if things are being used, but that's not happening right now.
Peru now has to walk out, find those opening picks against Persona. It's going to be hard. They do have the Amp Matrix, though, to give them that damage.
Looking for a good Blossom. He should be able to find it here.
EQO hiding around the corner.
Big!
Like not, and EQO comes into the back.
Okay, that's a big pick, though. They don't have that speed, which is going to be a really big deal. These dragons from Persona have been brutal.
With the rest of his team, but Eternal finds Poke in that side as well.
Okay, Eternal and Persona traded, but
the point now goes up to 75%.
definitely Colombia's win. They get the dub here.
80% of the board. Last fight territory for Peru.
That is, however, Coalescence having to be burned late in that fight, and Peru, they're going to be swapping onto these fast, speedy heroes who can self-sustain and stall for this point as long as possible, because they know Coalescence isn't going to be there to save the team through Annihilation or Blizzard. Just go straight to point.
They are close to beat, though.
Ooh!
Ooh!
Yeah, what a perfect Blizzard from Eternal to zone, and nobody else.
That is crazy. Not only did it zone, but used it right whenever they were speeding in.
Map number 1.
It looks, however, like it's
so it was like,
a pretty long matchup between these two teams, right? They had very much.
How do they get out of the Blizzard at that point? You know, it's crazy.
At the end of the day, when you're in control of the Paul Village and you have a mix it up on the point, you have that wall, you have that Blizzard. No one is going to be able to get through those chokes and actually touch onto that point. They played it absolutely perfectly for the comp.
Yeah, well, fantastic work from them overall, and now obviously.
Why is this mic
quite
crispy?
Interesting to see what it is. I think a lot of maybe the narrative should be, Moxie. A lot of these teams, have fantastic mechanical players, but maybe a lot of that practice time.
I like Moxie's mic more. His mic sounds crispy.
More comfortable, but get better at making
it's a crispy.
But you saw it, Moxie. A lot of these fights were kind of split at points. A lot of it was kind of messy Overwatch at times for both teams. Maybe towards the end with Eternal's Blizzard, it really kind of capitalized for this team, but overall it seems a bit messy at times for both rosters, Moxie.
Yeah, for sure. They do get a little bit of the fights do get pretty messy at times.
Try and punish the early aggression. Like there's one opportunity,
and it shows, because like sometimes I feel like the team fight's going one way, but like for example, like with Persona getting into the back line of Colombia and like killing multiple people, I was like, oh, Colombia's done, but Colombia won that. Colombia won that. They were just better at deleting Peru.
Because if it looked a little bit scrappy to us, it probably looked a little bit scrappy to her as well.
Oh, it definitely looks scrappy. But I mean, on that second point there on Nepal here, Peru equalizing with that last minute cap. So tight to even just take it all the way to Village, right? But what a first matchup, and it's still a best of 3, so a huge opportunity for Peru to still make that comeback.
It's a really even fight still, like.
But overall, I mean, that was just
really good from both teams.
I'm really interested to see how they do continue to adapt on further there, Moxie.
Yeah, it was definitely scrappy though. Like, there's one thing that we can say about Control that holds true to every single Overwatch match that we see on Control, and that's if you lose that first fight, chances of you actually taking the point overall, very slim to none. So the fact that we saw both teams actually on those first 2 opening points being able to turn around a lost first fight deficit goes to show that Ultimate Economy was not always in control. Whether or not it was because some of those players wanted to try and push for numbers advantage and regroup a little bit faster when the other team was still missing some of those players, or whether or not it was them going a little bit too over aggressive, that's going to be up in the air. But moving forward, I think if one team sees that, okay, this other side is a little bit quick to press that Q, they're going to find a significant advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
yeah, it's just like a lot of who was able to win maps was whose ult economy got destroyed, and
talk over some of these
that is super true, and that's basically what Moxie was talking about. Like,
also your overall thoughts.
Whose ult economy gets absolutely obliterated,
yeah, I think obviously,
and who burns so many things toward the beginning, and whatever team does that ends up being the losing team in the long run, just because it's like they can't keep up with the robust economy of their opposing team.
This is kind of what I wanted to see out of the World Cup, Ash. A lot of these individual players kind of now coming out really out of a long break for a lot of them, not able to be in World Cup or even at times contenders, to now come out and show what they really got. I think it's an exciting time for Overwatch.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing all about this as well, because it's the first World Cup that we're seeing here for Overwatch 2 specifically. It was a long hiatus since the last one, and just new opportunities for, again, we talked about it a lot.
I
during the
can't
show,
believe
before these
the,
teams to have some new players that we might not know as well, just coming into that limelight and showing
In Great
what they
Britain,
have
the
to
thing
bring
that
to the
Doge
table.
did.
But looking over these replays, we saw some really great individual
Using
plays. Both
Ram's
teams,
E to
though,
make the monkey go
again,
off the
they
map,
had
that
really
was
great
wild
reads
to
as far
see.
as timings with those ultimates specifically, just to be able to
Persona's
stay with those,
Hanzo
know
was
when,
really good on
you
this
know,
point,
there
by the
were great
way.
reads coming out for when one team might not have the
Absolute
sustain, if you use
menace.
that B earlier on and whatnot.
Especially
and just looking to
especially
counter that
combined with the
overall
bat.
with some other plays
They were a
on
really
the
good
field.
combo.
But looking forward into
I think
the
that Peru's
matchup as well. I know
backline
we have to wait
saved
little
them a
bit
lot.
longer, because we are going to see who maybe that little MVP was in that first game initially. But I mean, Moxie, do you have your bets on anybody?
So even though they lost the map, I've got to give it to Persona.
Yeah.
Honestly, there were some really clutch moments. The fact that we actually got to see that
Persona
that
got big
1v1,
value.
that arrow connecting onto Eternal so many times really goes to show how important it was to be able to actually allow them to take Sanctum, because Eternal is super close to Blizzard, right? And they're behind in terms of point percentage as well. They're trying to use that Dragon Strike threat to zone and stall out so that Columbia can't literally just walk onto point, drop the Blizzard, and find that flip immediately.
Yeah, so
turning
they
around to the
each
back
got
foot.
3
So the
kills
fact
at the
that you
same
don't
time,
actually
and I
have
didn't
to
even notice
wait
that in the
cap
fight.
out because of the Blizzard just not being there.
Yeah.
Huge for the team.
It's just like
Okay, well, we'll
Persona
see. Justin,
capitalizes
do you
on
agree with that, or do you think that our MVP is going to be something
them
completely
just
different?
being a little
I
too
think I
late
would,
to
like,
stop
definitely
him
agree
from
with
getting
Persona
those
with the stand up there. I
headshots.
think it's a little too early to call, to be honest. It feels like between 4 different players, Persona, Eternal, EQO, and then also Hug at times. I think that realistically it could go up to anybody still as the match progresses.
All good. Well, apparently we are going to wait a little bit longer to see those MVP stats maybe at another time. But
Oh,
I'm just gonna continue to
Rodrigo
talk
going
about
for
these
it.
replays for the time being, though. I'm really curious to see what the second map will end up pending out to be going into the second round. And
Kings
well,
Row!
it's actually gonna
Yo,
be
Kings
Row.
Row! Let's go,
I mean,
chat!
no surprises.
No.
When you lose a map in Overwatch, you get the opportunity
It's the
to take
tradition.
us to the one afterwards. And I guarantee 9 times out of 10, when you ask any Overwatch player where they would like to go, it's going to be Kings Row.
Yeah,
This
Kings
is a
Row's
song
tried and
designed for a
true,
reason.
chat.
So many compositions
Most people are
incredibly
comfortable in
playable.
Kings
We've seen
Row.
Winston
You
come
want to go
through,
somewhere where
we've seen
you want a
Diva come
great
through,
equalizer
Reinhardt
map?
had
It's gonna
lot
be
of
Kings
viability
Row.
as well,
It's
and
an
wasn't actually
equalizer.
that viable on any other map besides Kings
But no,
Row.
watching games on
Heroic,
Kings
they
Row
can
is so
repeat it,
awesome
they can
because
go
it's just
dive,
like
or they can try and go back towards that ram, which is really
nobody's
what
gonna
practice.
complain
Yeah,
about
I
it.
feel like obviously you called it last map of Persona on the Hanzo. It's always going to be an incredibly strong hero for a map like Kings Row, where Hanzo can find those opening picks even a lot easier than you can on Nepal. The fact that Persona was even able to get a lot of those shots when you didn't have a lot of space on Kings Row, you're afforded more of that opportunity and maybe can play more towards that Hanzo composition to equalize the series 1-1.
I mean, you know me. Whenever we were casting this in contenders and we had that discussion of who is better on Kings Row defense, Hanzo or Cassidy, I would always give it to Hanzo, even when
Yeah,
Cassidy has that
Hanzo's so
extra
much better
25
at
health,
Kings Row
because
defense.
you have that mobility to be able to not just play the offense.
You have the
but also
mobility,
keep
you have
yourself
the
safe
one
when you do
shot.
get jump.
He doesn't have damage fall off.
Really good points
On
to
his-
be made,
on
though,
his-
especially
on
about
his,
to have a little bit of nerf within this most recent patch, right,
arrows.
overall, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, so that's something to also keep in mind. It's kind of crazy almost to think about it, Dustin, with the patch having been like so I was about to say soon after, but it's before.
Yeah.
You know, you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm
But-
picking up.
Yeah, having it come out so shortly before Overwatch World Cup and just having to keep all of those factors in mind.
Oh, it's so
Cassidy
hard
might
to
be a
adjust. I
bit
think that
better on the
obviously,
attack
You know, as a player, you want a lot of
in
time
Kings
to
Row,
maybe
but
work out those teams, kind
Hanzo's
of
definitely
maybe
better
as
on
a
the
team,
defense.
You know, figure out what the ideal play style is, and you know that those.
He's
type of
just able to
things do take
capitalize on
weeks at a
the
time.
space.
But obviously,
so
as
much more.
viewers, you know, as fans of the
And,
game, we always want to see
he's
the most
able
recent
to
patch. You want to see the newest.
put out
maps, no
so
matter what
much
bugs
damage.
Exist, no matter what changes come through, no matter what's overpowered. we always just want to see what's newest, right? It's always the most fun.
And I prefer the purposes of Hanzo's ultimate more than Cassidy's as well, so there's that.
You know, that really changes a lot of the dynamic of the game.
Cass's ult, it's hard to get value out of, and the value that can be gotten out of it usually isn't too good. In the case of Hanzo's ultimate, yeah, I mean, it's still like hard to get value out of, but it can be more easily fight winning than Cassidy's ult. So
can take it all the way, or if Peru can take it 1-to-1.
it's mostly used as it's mostly used as a zoning tool,
and obviously Kings Row, like you said, Moxie, is going to be a map
which it's really effective at, but it isn't able to do it for super long.
Hanzo, maybe even the new Cassidy at points, but you're always partial to the Hanzo, aren't you?
Yeah, I love the Hanzo. Like, the ability to be able to control the chokes. Yes, he did get a little bit of a nerf in terms of, like, the Storm Arrow doing 5 less damage per arrow that connects, but you still have the means of being able to chunk.
He still does so much damage, though,
shielding,
like, for real.
If it's something like
even if he does less than he did
Overwatch,
before, he just does, he still does so much
as
damage.
well as keep yourself safe. The fact that Cassidy with that nade does only connect onto one player as well.
So it seems like after each game we can go and watch a game from the Great Britain Denmark match.
Take the cowboy down.
I wonder if both of these teams really, because you saw Moxie on map number 1. You know, EQO is obviously on the Sombra, but you know, at times maybe that engage, because they found the opening pick on round number 1 of Nepal, but you know, we're not able to fully follow through with that Sombra. And look, Moxie, they're changing to more poke comp to rely on maybe a bit more mechanical skill from EQL.
That's also bullet hell, right? Trying to get a Sombra past that choke through the Sonic, coming first from the Hanzo, which
that was a really big wall, though. And Baskerville dies because of it. Big.
Colombia just playing the base of the statue absolutely
big.
Finding the picks necessary.
You see, that is a problem with Persona being so far away, I guess. So Colombia was.
I mean, I love to see EQO back in the game again.
Well, Peru was so grouped up, and whenever the wall came out, you know, a lot of people were able to contribute to be able to save Baskerville, but or at least try to keep everybody up. But the thing is, Colombia wasn't getting much pressure in return since Persona was so far away, so they were just able to focus on capitalizing on the team trying to keep Baskerville up.
I love it. I love how EQO is like, screw up this Sombra BS. I'm just gonna swap to Hanzo. Take
EQO is.
Make it a 3. Swap him over to the Hanzo, and he'll carry you to
Persona's really good at Hanzo, but EQO's making this look real, like a Hanzo diff. It's more of like a what the teams are doing with their Hanzos, right? I think that Colombia's doing a really good job at like sectioning people off and making it so that they can capitalize off of the pure amount of damage that Hanzo can do to somebody in a small amount of time. You know, which Peru isn't doing much of.
Potential with the anti-grenades, but Dragon Strike ready at the corner, knowing where Baskerville is waiting to pop the Dragon
Big Dragon?
Here as well into the
nope,
blizzard.
not Big Dragon.
They do zone it back, but with
big kill on Diego.
Diego will get picked off. Super Gomez also pops the ultimate run towards that
EQO, Jesus Christ. I mean, like, listen, Super Gomez, like, obviously really good ult and everything, but
it's yet again another fight win.
EQO's making this look like a Hanzo diff for real.
They secured a team kill, so they've immediately gift wrapped.
No disrespect to Persona's Hanzo either, chat, because Persona's Hanzo is really good, and you were seeing how good Persona is at the Hanzo and on Nepal. Ooh, there you go. Okay. You take those trades. You still got your Hanzo up, and it's a little hard for people to capitalize on your Hanzo's positioning. Like, maybe you could send the Lucio up there, but Hanzo's just such a threatening force with his ability to one-shot, and also how much damage he can do with his Storm Arrow. It's a little hard for the Lucio to take that 1v1.
Because Colombia are going to be coming up with that Simer, and that means that they can get aggressive with this May. Is Peru yet to actually be baited into throwing an ultimate that they don't want to?
Nano on the Ram.
The back line into that Nemesis form, looking for that Moira, but does.
Oh, she's so dead.
Eternal's caught out a bit. has to use
They
that
beat.
block for it, but now the ultimate gets ran out. Baskerville has to zone to the left.
Anni-
The Blizzard
Annihilation is
to
big
try to
though.
capitalize here as well. Also does commit that ultimate late in this fight, so they commit both Blizzard and Annihilation. Do find the kills off.
Blizzard,
there.
Annihilation,
Also
and
find a late
Nano.
Pick on the Super Gomez, but Columbia only committing the beat drop to bait out 2 ultimates there.
They're going to have Dragon Strike as well as Blizzard and Annihilation.
But they're already
plus
40 on
to sustain
Nano,
through the
so their
snowball.
supports are building
Peru cannot
ults like
afford to get
crazy.
split when this next Dragon Strike comes out. That was what we saw being used the last time to catch all of this team away from that loser's disengage.
I've been really enjoying the
Columbia
EQO
are definitely
Persona
looking
Hanzo
Oh my god, it should be
1v1s.
extremely big. They find Baskerville on the
Their
engagement.
Ana was put in a really bad
Four-person
position
assist
'cause of that.
On to Baskerville as well. Super Gomez straight
Yep.
back. Diego EQO does take some shots from Poke, but Peru just running into this fight. A bit of a dry fight for them. Persona does trade out Hug, but he's
Yep.
already lost the entire
That goes in
team.
Columbia's
He's
favor.
pretty much last fight
That was a
territory.
really good dragging because it forced is it Pike or P6KE? I don't know how exactly how to say it, but it forced Peru's Ana to go into a really bad position.
Baskerville, no rematcher for the next 30 seconds, and now he's just going to play bouncer at these spawn doors.
Not only a possession where it makes healing harder, but also a possession where she was in the range of Super Gomez. There she goes.
Super Gomez, but the entire team of Poke is gone. It's just Baskerville on that payload. Persona gets spawn camped by
Peru
Super
really
Gomez,
fell apart in
and
last
now
point
they
there.
bring it in
That's a
13
lot of
seconds. They
time on
capture
their
it on King's
part.
Row.
Oh my
What an
god.
amazing time for Columbia.
We were worried
Peru
about
had
EQO
it
after so long
rough
outside of the competitive
there.
esports scene
That was
globally.
rough. That was hard to
We did not have
watch.
to be worried, Dustin. We did
No.
not have to be worried in the slightest. He is absolutely monstrous at the moment, hitting all of these headshots, finding those kills necessary, buying them
Yeah.
point A so quick.
EQO was
And
having their
even
team in
then, they just get to
shambles for real.
continue to push through all of these
But it is
very
important to
problematic
realize
spaces
that his
the
team was
defense
enabling
uses
him
traditionally to
hella.
whittle your
So it was
timeline
pretty
down.
crazy.
See, right here, finding that headshot.
Like, it felt like Colombia was a lot more proactive. Like, Peru really needs to be a lot more proactive with their ult and ability usage. They need to engage in these fights a lot more, because they're giving Colombia the room to just determine the pacing of the fight. They start the fight, and you know,
Maybe right now in this current series,
instead of and they make it so that Peru is put in the position where they're forced to react as opposed to like try and like
realistically, the series
use their
Peru, they
ults
could
and
lose
everything
the
to
moment,
find
but
those
I'm curious to
kills.
see how this goes
They have to react
forward
and
for
try to
them
keep
against
themselves
some of
up
the more
and
coordinated lineups in the World Cup.
you know,
Yeah,
maybe
it
get
does
some of
look
those
a little
kills,
bit-
but
well, a little bit
it feels
over
like
investment
Colombia
in
was
terms
doing a
of
better
offense.
job
We're
at
gonna
being a
see
lot
an
more
entirely
proactive.
different composition come through from Peru. This is as King's Row as you get. Reinhardt, Lucio.
Why can't you see the
immediately
cursor?
sees that moves into hotel to make sure the Peru
Oh, now
doesn't
you can
get
see the
the
cursor.
ability
Oh, man.
to use all of the
That's
utilities
brutal.
into hotel, check it, and get the cooldowns back up and push on
I'd be
point.
oh
Falling apart.
Super Gomez.
Shots per persona, but yeah, MixB eventually.
What
finds
is
Diego.
throwing?
You gotta check as you walk in. You can't just stick with one game plan and not adjust based on what's happening. You're getting shots
Big
from
wall.
the side, and they just chose to ignore it. Now they're on the back of the point. Not able to find the kills though is Colombia. This has been a problem for them before. They lose EQO. Basketball comes back into it. Colombia not able to finish on the targets. that were
Yikes.
really pretty easy to finally kill.
Peru's
And they were
finding the
stuck in that
kills.
left side. Now Peru.
It really should have went in the favor of Colombia, but Super Gomez threw that. Super Gomez went too deep without help,
I don't think they
without
are going to
aid.
recontest. They have to wait for Eternal to respawn. Now they've given up that point, but they've chosen to defend around this choke. If Vigo can find a pick,
Good job in the case of Peru.
Diego goes so incredibly low. If that may had gone down, Colombia instantly gets so much time back on that clock off of Peru's attack. But they're able to save the May, and now we just go back to the stalemate.
Now EQO is able to spam. Nobody really picked potential wise besides Persona. They have to get that space, but already taking 2 Stormo shots to the dome. Not ideal. Also, that shield goes incredibly low. They have to commit the immortality to Peru out of cooldowns. They need to find kills now. But
Big dragon.
Strike, I'm not
Big
sure how they
dragon.
do.
Holy
EQO
shit.
With the Storm Arrow finds onto Diego, and with the Dragon Strike onto Poke as Super Gomez combined.
That looked like it shouldn't have even hit. I'm gonna be real. That arrow looked like it shouldn't have even hit. But I mean, like, he was dead either way, but still. Hanzo moment.
Because they're going to go right into the pummel cleave coming through from Super Gomez. So EQO sends the Dragon Strike not behind the Rhine, but to the side of him, where everyone of Peru.
He knows that they know where they're going now.
And instantly it splits the Rhine away from his sustainability, and also splits the team away from that tank to be able to absorb all of the damage when Colombia get aggro.
Oh!
Sonic over the top, and that's a pretty obvious High Noon down below. No kill for them, but just the
yeah.
towards that cart. Maybe they just wanted to
really good job of at reconning in the case of EQO, because they could have possibly gotten that if EQO didn't know that's where they were going.
Amplification Matrix Persona also kills Super Gomez before they're able to commit any ultimates. EQO is still finding a lot of damage on the left.
But good job on Colombian backing out, but Peru was still able to win that.
Another fight in that creep phase.
Look at the amount of ultimates that they have.
They just blew up. What even happened there?
Colombia. Yeah, they lost Super Gomez.
Colombia, come on now.
It means they still have Annihilation and Sound Barrier to keep this Ramattra chopped up to full health and play aggressively against Peru, who do have that Blizzard to be able to zone the Ramattra back.
Yeah, Diego could get a big Blizzard, but Colombia.
Annihilation's gonna be big. And try to wall him off, but he does have Annihilation to keep himself up.
Left side, every second they spend those sitting in neutral game, EQO can find those shots. Blizzard towards the cart. The counter, the Blizzard of Eternal actually does catch Super Gomez, but the him is not enough.
It looked like he was just barely out and then got booped back in, so he was frozen again.
From both Poke and Rodriguez. Meanwhile, Diego looking for that left side flank angle of Colombia.
Peru's doing a really good job on the attack here. It looks like these teams, they're just attacking teams, you know? They're just attacking teams.
And really a thorn in the side of Peru as Persona is able to do whatever he wants now. That EQ
not much of a defending team.
As well. There's a coalescence that was late from Hug. Maybe ill-advised. They do have Super Gomez here. High Noon pop just to make sure they win this fight. They don't want to maybe commit too many ultimates, but Super Gomez rotates back in. The Dragon Strike is here. Colombia wants to win.
Oh, big shatter.
Right now, but a shatter is committed from Baskerville, who is 1 HP onto Super Gomez, but the
Colombia gets it.
not there. And the
it was a really close, scrappy fight, though. That was intense.
So many ultimates, but my goodness, that's going to do absolute devastation to Peru's overall longevity in terms of time bank. Even if they make it into point C, they're going to have even less time than Colombia.
Chat, my eyes are itchy.
As we see the swaps come through, Baskerville going to be off that Reinhardt, leaves it too
my eyes itch.
Once that shield just gets absolutely shattered by EQO's poke onto that Ramattra to try to match this poke coming through from Colombia.
Now, a lot of these fights, Colombia just straight up should not be winning, but keep coming out on top mechanically. Over the top, good
positioning from EQO. Ooh, that was really close. Son. Rodrigo almost died. Big. Don't respect EQO like that. Got killed, but
Diego is also gone. Colombia have the man.
Yeah, it looks like Colombia's got this. Yeah, Peru should just back out and regroup.
Get stagger picks. Moira comes for Lamp actually invested from Peru.
They're gonna have beat soon, which is gonna be really big. They're gonna need to use that because Colombia's coming up on a lot of ults. Colombia's gonna be able to determine the pace of the fight here with their ults that they're gonna have before Peru, but Peru, if they can survive all of that, they are coming up with some team winning ults. Well, fight winning ults, so.
Wants to walk in, set up Persona towards that pub side. They poke him out, see the Blizzard on the cart with the beat drop from Diego. It's a great Blizzard to zone out Colombia.
Okay, good job getting dealing with the Blizzard.
The Annihilation re-engage. Now Eternal's found that shot onto Persona again. With
ooh, Baskerville dead. You got an Annihilation, but they're gonna be able to get another fight in. They're gonna be able to get another fight in. So Peru's coming back with Annihilation and an Annihilation window and Deadeye, so they should be able to win this fight. Colombia's gonna have beat and dragons, but I definitely would prefer the ultimates that Peru have in this situation.
and then you throw it onto the cart when Peru don't have any time left and have.
I will say
no
Colombia does have the
opportunity
May,
to dodge the
so
damage.
Peru does have to deal with the May sectioning off lots of things with the wall, but it's going to be a little hard for her to do that considering how many ults and things that Peru has.
He loses his life. Diego played that perfectly. Baited EQO into going aggressive towards the back of the pub. Now no Hanzo from Colombia's side. They have that heat drop to fight this, but Peru have that ult advantage.
Persona almost died. Oh my god. How did some Persona live there? That was crazy. The amount that he was healed. The amount that his supports were able to do to keep him up. He shouldn't have lived through that. That was dumb. They're already guaranteed to have, like, less than half than the amount of time that Colombia has. So Colombia's gonna have a big advantage in the game overall.
That Peru don't have the means of being able to take away. They're running the cast still, not the Hanzo.
Yeah. On the low ground, having that trace on the left side, maybe that swap for Diego could.
Big dragons.
Strike committed. Diego now knows where that Hanzo is.
Ooh, big dragons.
After using his recall, will back up to the mega health pack.
Baskerville was in that for a minute.
Avoiding the ultimate full spawn from Diego. Dragon strike from EQO. No death just yet. The hug has been aggressive with his coalescences. Is playing at the back of the map. EQO at the high ground.
Yeah, he was fucking in that for a minute, chat. That was crazy.
So they're aware of those Hanzo shots at the very least.
Who's Ringo rooting for? I don't know. I didn't ask.
Not have a lot of those healing because he's back on the high ground, but it's Super Gomez to find the opening pick on a Persona. EQO needs some healing, but Diego is there on the back line. However, Colombia's already gone forward. Down 3 with Super Gomez, and a fantastic annihilation on that front line to give Colombia
big from Super Gomez. It's really not looking hot here for Peru. Peru has won. They're gonna have to win 2 fights, and then they're gonna have to deal with the staggering in from Colombia. Oh.
Oh my god, EQO.
Peru's done for. Peru's done for.
Peru down on a man in overtime. Widowmaker usually does well, but Diego is able to find Super Gomez. Their tank player is also nice and healthy with that implication matrix. Rodrigo did go aggressive on EQ onto that Widow as well. And eventually Peru in overtime again will win this fight.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Amplification matrix.
That's crazy. After that pick that EQO got, I was expecting Peru to lose that, but they got it. Can I ask his opinions are important? You're personally rooting for Colombia. His opinions aren't important because his opinions are that, like, anyone who's not an octopus deserves to be dead. He's incredibly homophobic. Yeah, his opinions don't matter.
Of EQO, hug falls, so does Super Gomez, and in overtime, the last second pushes, it's working for Peru. The beat drop and Eternal are still here, though.
You're personally rooting for Colombia? Yeah, Colombia is looking really solid right now. Even, it's looking like Peru's gonna win this, but even with them doing that, Colombia has so much time compared to Peru. And Peru can't even win this. I think Peru can't even win this, but Peru's best bet is to draw this, because I think that they can. The drawing is the best that they can do at this point.
The space that Colombia are trying to take, making it so easy to be able to tag down those members who are looking to stall on the payload for as long as possible.
So they have to go 3 minutes 13 seconds, which is many fights, and they need to make sure that Colombia doesn't get a single tick on the point. If Colombia gets 1 tick, they lose. Ingresan's pretty W. You think he can make it big on kick? Yeah, he probably could make it big on kick. He'd probably be on all of Aiden Ross's streams and stuff.
Yeah,
how does he feel about unregulated crypto gambling? Oh, he loves it.
Hitting these really fast kills with these Hanzo arrows.
Elon Musk is his role model.
Yet again, this team is going to absolutely.
Have you seen that Elon Musk considered, like, made it so that cis is now considered a slur on Twitter? It's not even a slur. It's just like a term used to classify people.
But I mean, that time bank, it's going to be.
And I'm pretty sure that he did that just so that he doesn't
It is going to be
want to
3
recognize
minutes
the
and 13
existence of
seconds
trans
now.
people at
Colombia
all.
walking out, also have to
Because to
deal
say
with
that
EQ
somebody
and Saunders
assists is
one
to
shots.
recognize that somebody
So
can be
let's show you how he
trans, you know
acts,
what I
though. Maybe
mean?
try to counter
So
what Colombia is trying to do, especially since they don't have a Suzu to cleanse any of that damage from the Dynamites, but Basketball Pig down incredibly low again. We saw this previously, committing the Immortality Field on the inside. Well, actually went a little bit too far past, but Persona counters out EQ on that high ground spot. Nice work.
they're in a Colombia's in a really bad spot right now. This fight's gonna go in the way of Peru.
Statue area in Kings Row. Colombia has to regroup, wait for their member to
Big pick on the onto the bat though. That's really bad for Peru. How did Peru lose that? They shoved 2 into a tiny ass room.
Nobody else can really touch but the Lucio player of Rodrigo.
What?
Everybody else is in here. Colombia will take the 2-0 victory over Peru in our very first game in the America region.
As harsh as it is
You really
to
want
say
him to
it's
take
bad
that fight
game
with
when they lose,
Mark
that
as much as you
absolute
hate Mark?
punch
He would
goes
kick the
down.
shit out of Elon.
Even if you're able to trade for a pick, the attacking spawn is just so much closer.
Yeah, no,
that going to
Peru,
regroup, you
Peru,
can't even afford
they
to give
fucking
them a
dropped
single
it.
tick to be able to fully regroup around the back
It
of
was
that
looking
field.
really
And then
even
switch
up
back
until
in
that
when
King's
all of
Row
your
though.
players are regrouped and at your full force. You are just forced to
What were they
throw
gonna
yourself
box?
into
Were
that
Mark
fight,
Zuckerberg and
trying to
Elon
look
Musk,
for
Mark
any
Zuckerberg
shenanigans,
and
any
Elon
ultimate
Musk gonna
you're going to be able
box?
to panic fold into to be able to turn the tables.
I mean, like
But
obviously
at
they're
that
both
piece,
really
they're
bad
about to
because
fall
they're
very shortly
super
afterwards, and
rich,
that
both
is
by
match a
unethical
2-0
means, of course.
victory for a team that looks incredibly strong
You can't
and
be that
incredibly
rich and be
confident.
ethical.
Sure. I think we're worried, however, long-term, obviously, against them, against other teams, though that 2-0 is very, very good going for them forward, obviously. Maybe later on in the series against other teams that are in their group, this will actually work.
I don't know as much about Mark Zuckerberg, but like,
but also, you know, the other guys
you know,
are
obviously
fantastic
Elon
work.
Musk like
He has a
has
job
tons
from
of
the
fucked up
overall
views as
team.
well.
I mean, what's
Elon
this
challenged Mark
series
to a
and what do
boxing
you think? How
match,
was
but
that
you
series
don't
from
think
your
he wants that smoke? Yeah,
Well,
Mark
I
would
mean,
kick
it
his
was
ass.
a pretty
Elon Musk also
different
has like a
story
funny
from
looking
the
body.
Paul
Have
we
you seen his
saw,
body
right?
before? It
That
looks
was a
really
really
funny.
scrappy map for the first
I
time
feel
that
bad
he
for
played
saying
Kings
no.
Row. That was
You know what? It's Elon Musk. I don't give a
for
fuck.
the most part, I don't think it's really deniable, at least for, at the very least, the first half of that match.
Maybe you could
They
see
had a
that
pretty
the
big steamroll
like
from
you
Colombia.
know
But Peru,
me not
I
being
feel like
consistent
what
with that
we've
is
seen between
fucked
Nepal
up, but
and
whatever.
Kings Row, the
I don't really care about
factor
Elon
is the
Musk's
fact that Peru
feelings.
can do really well under pressure and have been very fortunate in being able to just like close out those OT opportunities, taking it that distance. Unfortunately, just not able to take it to that third map, Moxie.
Yeah, so the big difference, especially
Peru
with
really
those
fumbled
overtime
that.
fights, is that Colombia didn't actually get the opportunity to set up on high ground. So as a result,
Good job
they
on
didn't get those first
Colombia
blows.
whenever
That
it comes
threatening zone
to
come through from EQ. In overtime, everyone is throwing themselves onto that
being able to
field,
clutch
trying to stall it
multiple
for as long as
fights.
possible. We even see some
Like
teams
whenever they
actually
were
try to
shoved
take
into the
advantage of
statue, they were
that.
still able to
When they're
clutch that,
failing
and they
on
didn't even
King's Row
have
Pursuit,
to,
they
right?
just have,
Because
a
like
Widowmaker or
they
a
still had
Bastion and play towards the
fights
sideline,
after that.
which I'm honestly surprised that we didn't see Colombia opt into. I think they were so panicked about where that pulse bomb was coming from that they had to swap to that Hanzo and then go Reaper for just sustaining on that
Mark
card
that
as long as
is
possible. Meant that they
on.
prioritized sustaining
Don't
rather
say
than pick
gays like
potential.
that, by the way.
Yeah, it was definitely the EQO show.
Just say
at a
gay
big portion
people.
of that when he did have that opportunity to set up.
That
for
can be
high ground
seen
like
as
you're
like
talking about.
a bit
Very, very annoying
derogatory.
for that back line, right? Just poking out those support players on the side of Peru. As you see these replays coming through here, and Dustin, when it comes down to the way that Peru kind of answers,
Because
that,
it's
we
like it's
did
like
see
super sectioning off,
Diego
if that makes any
attempting to be
sense.
really annoying on the flank. Found some
Instead of saying
some
gay
success
people and
with this one.
recognizing that they
I
like
think at times Diego
they
is
are
doing
people
well on
just
the
as other
May,
people,
but,
you just say
you
the
know, he
gays.
honestly kind of, I'm not gonna say out. I mean, was kind of outclassed by Eternal at points.
If that makes any
Realistically,
sense.
The May on the other side of Colombia's was a big difference.
You didn't know? Yeah, no, it's fine.
While on the opposite side,
No
for
problem.
Peru, they really couldn't get much besides like maybe out of.
I know that you
Persona,
don't hate
sometimes
gay
out of
people, so it's
Baskerville.
fine. But I'm just saying
It really
it can.
did feel like a bit of a mismatch.
It can be not
terms
super
of
great.
I don't know, necessarily like the heroes themselves, but also in terms of the players. It did feel like Colombia was just in the driver's seat overall, with Mixfy even at times and the Lucio doing really well. They really couldn't find an answer for the overall team cohesion that was Colombia.
I think the problem that Diego was running into was because so often he had to actually use things like that Maywall to either counter Eternals and try and save Baskerville from a Maywall that came through from Colombia, or try to shut down Super Gomez. And that was something that Colombia very quickly clocked onto, and as a result, they just had EQO play those angles, so even if he gets walled off, he can literally just scale it as Hanzo and still find those opening shots.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, a big part of that Hanzo
Also the
pick,
Mei
right? Just like these
from
corners here on King's
the way in
Row,
which
it's
Colombia was
difficult.
able to capitalize off
It's
of
really
Mei
tough
walls and
playing
everything
it,
was
and
so
I
much
feel
better.
like
Like I said,
that
like
can
it felt
be
like in a lot of
Super
these
Gomez
fights,
inside
like
on
Colombia
Colombia.
was determining what would
Really well
happen,
with just general zoning,
and
being able to slow down the
Peru
pitches
would
so
have to
that
react
Peru
to it
were
in most of
looking
the
for
fights.
overall, but really huge
Like
kudos over
Colombia
to
was doing a
Colombia,
much
who
better
were
job
pretty
at being
strong here for our first
proactive.
match of the day, Dustin.
Peru got better
For sure,
toward the
yeah,
end,
Colombia
but
starting
yeah,
off strong. I'm really curious.
it
to see
was
how
it
they
was
do
it was
later
real bad
on.
for them in
Maybe
the
if they
beginning.
get that qualification versus some of the better teams in the World Cup, because each region has their strengths with certain talent, and obviously some teams like Korea, USA have less holes than others. But realistically, if you can be one of those teams that is really good at just kind of like, pardon my French, just like one-tricking. I don't know if that's kind of offensive to some people who say one-tricking, but to play a lot of those fair competitions, play a lot of those heroes that maybe are.
I don't think
leaning
one-tricking's
towards
an
maybe your
offensive term.
individual players
I just think
on
that
your team,
people
and you can kind of pop off from that degree. That also could give you an opening
just make
overall
bad
in World
assumptions
Cup and
about
maybe
it.
give you
I don't think
a
that that's so much the
run
term. I
that
just think that
obviously your
that's the
nation
bad
wants.
assumptions people will make.
It's a lot of weight on your shoulders, right? Representing your nation here for an international event, especially when it's the first one back in a few years, and you're really looking to make a stand and just show your confidence, and also just start out on the front foot here for this event, considering that it's 2 weeks.
Platinum
long, sure, 3 days
Exterminator.
per week, just throughout the weekend.
What is that?
But it's quite the marathon to be running as well, and just adapting along the way there, Moxie.
Yeah, and I think again that's why we're going to see a lot of these players who have
What is that? Platinum Exterminator thing.
have a little bit of an edge, not just in terms of being able to play mechanically, but also having that mentality factor that that you've gone through some of those long days, you've gone through some of those hard matches as well, where if you do start doing a little bit worse than the other side, you're still able to hit that reset button, you're able to moralize the entirety of your team and turn things around, something that we saw from both sides of those teams in control. But it definitely felt like Colombia had a lot more confidence, and Peru were playing a little bit more hesitantly once that initial push onto Bone didn't quite work out.
Well, if
Yeah,
you're
that's
a Peru
true.
fan, hopefully we're rooting for them to
Colombia
just be able
seemed a lot
to
more confident.
warm up a little bit more. It's just the first match of the day. They have some opportunity to still keep that steam going and build that momentum up overall. But again, it's just that best of 3, right? So not too long of a series.
It's a little
up here within the
unfortunate
round-robin
that
stages, but,
it's best of 3
I mean,
instead of best of
I
5.
We've had those questions about EQO being maybe a little bit rusty after that break from competition, and he has just come back full force, Dustin.
Oh yeah, he looks good. I think EQ.
Because I thought it was
obviously
going to be
not
best of 5
really
at first,
obviously
and I
on his
personally
side.
like that
Maybe
more
at
because I
times
think that
there
it gives
were,
teams
like,
a bit
you
more
kinda
of
inch a little bit behind
a bit more
puck,
time to
goes
figure
for that
things
double
out.
Jump towards a tracer, but besides that, obviously
This
you wanna be
format's a lot
confident
less
to hit those
forgiving.
shots. And I'm sure he felt confident in hitting that shot on the tracer, but unfortunately did not come away with it either. As we take a look at an interesting stat card,
Healing 448.
on that onto that Ramacha. Also, you called it out earlier, Ash. I mean, he was great on that tank role. Really was.
Look at that damage
the reason
mitigation.
Colombia wasn't just the EQO show.
I mean, it was
Crazy
just a lot of
stuff.
zoning coming out from his utility, right? Overall, but Moxie,
The
I gotta
Ramacha
get your
can
thoughts.
mitigate
I
so
know
much
you
damage with this
had
block.
Some shouts,
It's
especially
crazy.
for Persona as being a potential MVP that we were looking for into this series. But Super Gomez, how are you feeling about his gameplay overall?
Honestly, really happy with him. Every single time we swapped to his perspective, we were seeing things like that zone being used incredibly proactively. He would be throwing it out in front of disengaging players, especially on Lucio's too, to make sure that they're immediately just wings clipped right on the ground, incredibly easy to be able to target and take down. And when you're waiting on a Lucio to respawn, you have to wait the full 30
He was doing a really good
seconds.
job at
You can't
capitalizing
push in
on
with,
like
a Lucio when you're running
them trying to
these time-heavy
disengage.
compositions.
Hey, it's called a Ram Rush for a reason, right? You gotta get that Lucio speed boost to actually get you into the action. But overall, I mean, really exciting stuff for our first matchup of the day. Of course, we do have lots more Overwatch to come for you guys. So in case you did miss out on the schedule earlier, as a reminder, the next match that we will be seeing is going to be Brazil versus Chile. And I'm not going to ask you guys too much about it, my lovely pastors, on
Brazil
the
versus
desk,
Chile.
because we will have the opportunity
Let's
to
go.
talk about them a bit more. But before we do go on a short break, I do want to remind everyone in the chat right now on Twitch that we do have the fact that the prize pool for the Overwatch World Cup is being crowdfunded for the very first time. So you guys should definitely check out those.
Oh,
skins.
right,
I will
yeah.
bring back some more details right
Being
after.
crowdfunded by the skins in Overwatch, the World Cup skins, in case anybody didn't know. Watch this. Dustin, what's your thoughts? Dustin's gone.
Play for me at the very end there.
Let's look at this Great Britain-Denmark match again.
Britain a lot.
Kai is
Shit's so loud. Don't worry, chat. We're gonna get to the match eventually. We're gonna get to it. Jesus Christ!
tight, well coordinated.
Kind of rush hybrid. They weren't really playing super dive, but on
Okay.
occasion they were
So
still
they're playing
cycling
on
in the Sombra,
Gibraltar?
So it was kind of hard to like give a name
Interesting.
to what Denmark was playing. But obviously Denmark was more of a control the point, control
You guys are
space
here, OG
composition
Shield
with
Call
the
comp.
Ramantra and with the May. And that doesn't necessarily work on Gibraltar just because every low ground is flanked by high ground, like every single spot.
I think this is gonna be one that
Map.
goes in the favor of Great Britain.
The junk
You know, if you captured first points while the other
Not only
or
are they
second
running a
point, rather,
comp
when
that
the other team
complements
is
it
in
more, I
spawns,
think,
like,
but
the map just killed you.
I think that
essentially. You jump
they're just
off.
more comfortable with comps that work well on this map.
But, you know, while nostalgic, it's
Which
good to see
they
them
lost
have,
last one, so it
you know,
makes
some
sense
tweaks
because
over
they
time. But
totally
here
fucking
we
picked
go.
this match. so.
Denmark out the gates here on the attack and the running.
It's gonna be a
jumper
little
queen and,
hard
a
for
Sombra
Denmark to
Reaper
do
here.
things against
Denmark
them,
remains
against
a
Great
team
Britain
that's
on
really
this
hard
high
to kind
ground.
of call their comp. This is a rush E, but you know, without the May, there's not going to be the wall to pin the other team against. But Great Britain doesn't have a Lucio to disengage, so if Denmark finds a good angle to get
is
in
true.
there, they can definitely rush down targets with the Reaper and Junk.
Yeah, I think step number one, you see Kai just pelting in shots from above. Deal with that person. Deal with Kai here, or you will live to regret it. But Denmark
You see,
right now,
the
they
thing is,
somehow
like, the
survived.
brig doesn't
The
make as
payload
much
moving under,
sense
go.
anymore,
At some point, you
considering,
gotta jump
like,
down,
what
and Jamaru
Denmark
does
ended up
just
picking.
that,
I
but
think they were
also
expecting,
immediately
like,
jumps back up,
Monkey and
does not
stuff.
wanna
But
overstay his
that didn't
welcome
end
there
up
as Denmark,
happening.
Again, objective focused, getting through this underpass, which is not always free.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, I think, one of the reasons that Great Britain went to Gibraltar, of course, is because Kai and these sightlines. You think of, like, up here running an Ash or even, like, a Soldier 76 up there is fantastic. Reaper's going to have to be the one to deal with it because no one else really has high ground unless you want to send Kelix up there or maybe a Sombra to harass. But Naga can just maybe try to flank up there with Reaper's extremely quiet, I'm flanking voice line.
Well, Kai is getting pressured right now, so you take a look at the poke war between both teams at the top of your screen. Yeah, Kai is a big deal at the moment. Shockwave, though, getting really, really low. Able to get
Naga
away,
doing
gets
good
back.
damage on that
Just
tank,
shoots away
but
near the payload as
not
Denmark,
really
they're
able to
just
get
trying
in
push
there
the
as
payload in, going,
much.
At some point, you have to commit, Great Britain. And
No, you don't.
Naga gets caught.
Yeah.
Goes to teleport, and Kai
That's
goes
the
to
Okay, they were able to pull it together.
That's
Nice.
the neat thing. No, you don't.
Yeah,
You
Great
don't
Britain
have to
was,
commit
like, they
because,
just, like,
it's just going to be very difficult.
they just weren't
to
going
get
in there
Kai
and
off of
making
this
it so
high
that, like, the
ground,
cart would stop
given the
moving. They
composition
were
that
just
Denmark is
waiting
running.
for
Like I
their
said,
DPS
Naga,
to
maybe,
do things
Sombra,
and
maybe,
something to
maybe you send
engage
Sombra
with,
up
you know,
there,
like the
try to flank
anti-nade
and
or
then have Slay
something.
teleport to them.
Like
it
some
doesn't seem like there's
waiting for
great
something to
ideas
happen so
be
they could
able
be
to
like,
deal
all
with
right, now we can go in and clean up.
Yeah, I mean, right now you look at this, Kai's
Right.
just squatting up there.
But that just
He's
wasn't
not
happening for the
removing. You can
longest
get
time,
whatever
so they got
judicial
so
order
much
you
cart
want.
push.
Unless you go there and move them yourself, it's not happening. That is the number one issue. But here comes the
There it
beat
is.
and the teleport. It's everyone going to knock on the door. Kai, though, drops a Bob in response. Great Britain able to shake a lot of the pressure. Doge getting really low, taken on down by Astro.
Ooh,
The
that's
focus was
crazy.
there. Jakar, though, out to
Denmark
the
is
team
doing
with the tank.
crazy good on
EMP
this.
gets dropped right after. It's a nice EMP from Shockwave.
That's
man.
crazy
Kai's still
good.
alive.
Great Britain is
I
not
don't
doing
know
well
what
on
the rest of
this
this
as
team
well
is.
on this as
Yeah,
I
just
thought.
pushing that as hard as they did.
I
Maybe you
think
don't
that
get the
this
kills there, but it buys you
second
space
point
to evict
is
the other
even
team.
better
Also,
for
the
Great
consuming
Britain-
with the
Great
Reaper
Britain than the
combo on
first
the
one.
ground is just brutal. Like the fire
But
rate
with
going
the
high,
positioning
all
that
this
Naga's
insanity.
taking with Slay and
The
everything,
old classic.
it's gonna be a little
Reaper,
hard, I
High
think.
ground, Death Blossom, and, well, it's scattered. Winston goes up there, so... not
Both
quite
of these
gonna
are
be one of those big
teams
Death
are
Blossom
stacked,
moments
by the
that
way.
he's touched yet,
Well,
but
I mean,
Crazy
that-
stuff.
ripped apart as he goes up.
The higher skill level you go, the less Death Blossom is valuable. You know, if you only hang out on the main Overwatch subreddit, you think Death Blossom is the best thing ever. At the
No,
pro
but
level-
Death Blossom isn't that
Got
good.
knifed.
Yeah.
Doge caught him.
As you
Counters
go up
that
in the
back
ranks,
two,
like
just getting
Death Blossom just
crushed
is not
by
very
this
good.
Reaper shot after shot.
It-
I mean,
You
it's not
seeing
flashy,
Reapers
but
going
the
into
fact
the
that
middle
you
of the
see
team
his
and pressing
health
Q, like that's a golden
as
below
Denmark,
thing.
They're almost at the end of point B here. Great Britain's got to do something fast, and it starts with the rally. Rally comes out. Shockwave, though, gets backbone immediately. Oh, again, a 5v4 in favor of Denmark.
Yeah, Brig just
Slay
gets
finds
burned there
Astro,
'cause the
and
Ana isn't
Denmark
there
just
to
not letting up.
Help keep her up.
Also, the hack on Echo is.
This
brutal
is
there.
rough for
Denmark
Great
did so
Britain.
perfectly
Denmark is
here,
kinda
and maybe
shredding
people,
them right
haven't played
now.
Gibraltar in a while.
And it's crazy because I thought that Great Britain's comp was better in this map than
You do not
Denmark's.
take that first momentum fight and
But
take
they're just
shuttle
not
and
really.
take high ground,
I think
and
I
you
think
let the defense set
Jakaru
up.
in particular
It
is
a
having a lot of
brutal
trouble
retake to
going
get
into
into
their
second
comp
point
because
on
of
ice
the
with decent position, especially
because of the
against
Reaper
domination
and
scan. So
the
to ride that first momentum to get people up
Sombra
top, on
and
shuttle to take that high
the
ground away,
Dunker
I think it's
Queen,
the
they
hardest
just have
part of
so
the
much
map, is
damage and they're
offensive.
able to
Look at Astro.
capitalize on Monkey
Astro
burn of his
immediately goes
burning
down
all
there,
of
gets a little
his
bit of support. But
abilities
Shockwave
so
holding on to the
quickly.
EMP, still just fighting the supports here at the
But
back.
it's hard for him to do anything because it's like he can't really get anybody else to commit on the cart with him. It's the thing, he can't really get that that support of getting other people to commit on the cart with him. So the cart gets free push while they're waiting around for their DPS to like kill things. But if their DPS aren't able to get those kills super quickly, then it's just like, well, they're getting all this push and
No, and
it's gonna
also,
come
like,
down to
it's
one
really
fight,
nice,
basically.
Duplicate here too. Double tanks on the field seems unfair. in
like
Overwatch
one
2.
fight's gonna be
So
the
they're gonna be able to pull
the
that one
determining
off, and
factor
Denmark
of
sent back to
who
the drawing
wins
board.
that
Shockwave with the solo EMP
point.
has worked out sometimes. Was able to get backbone there, but not able to clean up the kill on Kai towards the end as well. And this is the first time that Great Britain's had some breathing room on defense.
Oh, Kai, how does Kai not die there? He got down to like 2 HP. The
Slay had to
healing.
kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, the healing was just enough to keep Kai in it. Astro finishes off Kellex.
Monkey's
Once
still
more, Kai just
alive.
perching
That's
on the high
big.
ground with,
Yeah,
2
so
Fs.
this
So
corner's
still
gonna be
plenty of time
holdable for Great
Denmark, but
Britain.
Great Britain has finally found their groove.
Yeah, this is still a problem.
But it's still
it's
basically
like
one
the-
fight
the problem
territory.
that Denmark ran on the offensive A is you need to evict Kai. This one's a little easier because at least there's like stairs and it's not as tucked away as A point high ground. But this is still the big issue they're gonna have to deal with because Kai is gonna probably be getting damage boosted up here, and they still don't have the comp to necessarily fight it easily.
Bob comes on in. Bob's about to go back on out, but again, a little bit of pressure. I don't think Kai's expecting too much from that. The main thing is just stay on the high ground, fire on down. But here comes
Oh
the pressure.
lord, that was
Out.
crazy.
However, Shockwave
Yep, the
and Naga
DPS are doing
also out.
something.
Not
There
the
you
most
go.
effective time, just immediately
Kai and
punished
W
by
main
Great
Moon,
Britain.
holy
That's it,
shit.
bud.
Yeah, Naga playing Reaper like I play Reaper.
Absolutely
Just teleport right in
nuts.
their face and hope they miss. Unfortunately, Kai did not miss that shot. And puts
Yeah, you
Reaper
can't be
down
doing
right
stuff like
away.
that at this level.
Um,
That was a big fuck
Yeah,
up on the
we'll
case
see
of
if there's
Naga.
any
But
switches that
okay,
come
they
in.
swapped. It looked like they
Naga
were
on
gonna swap
Tracer.
if that didn't work. So Ended
yeah,
up
I guess
doing
Kong
it.
has gone to Moira. They still don't really have ideal options to dive high.
Sombra's able to do
And it
so
does
much
seem
against
like Maybe you
Monkey.
just send people into the low ground and try to run corners here, and just maybe hope that Kai can't dominate you on the entry.
All right, Jakaru moves on in, off the nano. Doge hanging on to the
A little
rampage,
dangerous for
decides to let it
Doge, but
fly.
ended up hitting that
Maimon and Jakaru in it. Yeah, it's the first
Carnage.
rampage in the world.
or
However,
Rampage, I guess. I don't know.
Both
It's
there,
something.
Both Maimon and Jakaru are able to get out.
Yeah, Rampage.
Disengage here
That's
from Great
that's what
Britain.
it is.
Kai,
What is
again,
Carnage?
Under a bit of pressure, down the half HP, still alive. Doge looking for Jakaru over and
This
in.
new Gibraltar's
Denmark,
awesome
they can't
looking.
get Kai. Kai punishes Kellex. And again, Kai in good HP, decent positioning. Naga in the back getting chased by the Jakaru, just pressured on both ends. Maimon doesn't let him get away. 38 seconds left from Denmark, and they get one more reset.
Yeah, Britain's
It's finally a kind
Britain's
of
doing a really
high
good
ground,
job of
but, you know,
holding
at what
this.
cost?
But
I think I
this
think they
point
thought, once they pushed
complements
under
their
the arcade,
comp
under
the best,
bridge, that Kai
probably.
was like going to drop down and maybe play the back platform.
Because even whenever their
Kinda
monkey
set up there and
commits,
just took top
like
shots for another 30 seconds, hammering on
the
people.
supports and the
And just
DPS
unable to
are
ever
they have
really
sight
dislodge
lines to
him.
be able
Now
to
with the
support him to
Winston,
some
you can
degree.
Try to get this dive going too. The Shockwave EMP is going to be everything.
Yeah, I agree. This is entirely set up by the EMP. Denmark, can they land the EMP before the engage comes in? Can Shockwave make a count? He's going in from the top. Goes
Big
in for
EMP,
Kai,
big
gets
nano!
Nano! What a well-timed
That's
nano from Backbone.
crazy.
Wasn't caught in the EMP. Saves Kai's life. And also
Oh,
gives
yep.
Kai nano. That's
Great Britain holds that.
terrifying at the same
Yeah, it was
time.
looking really rough for
Takes
Great Britain
down
there, but
Doge,
they
and,
just
oh,
found a
man,
point on the
really
map that they were
well-timed
comfortable
support
with,
play
and
from
I think
Great
that they're
Britain.
going to be set up to
And
win
that
for the
should be it for this round
rest of this
Gibraltar.
because they're just like so
Far,
much
but
more
not quite far
comfortable on dive
Yeah,
comps.
it's a good
and
offense, but that's just phenomenal
things
support
that
play
can-
by Great
things that have
Britain to
mobility.
Understand your losing condition is an EMP right there, because we saw the nano goes down immediately, and that was good. It was good spacing to have your Ana. That
So
far
I
away
think
to be able to
that
get
Great
nano
Britain
off, but
wins
also
this
Valve
one.
went off immediately too. I mean, there's a small window where you can
See,
get
let's
your
skip ahead a little
the
bit.
Gibraltar really.
Well, the other thing here, the defensive GM
There we
on
go.
the high ground and make other teams go to you, right? So even though I think Kai can still be super effective here, you know, in theory, it is a little bit less oppressive to deal with from Denmark.
Yeah. That said, I do like Great Britain maybe trying to run this Echo Mercy.
Denmark's going to have to stay
get some
super
of the
close
high
together
ground
if they
and
want to
take
make this
away
work.
and to really work with the Winston dive. Although Denmark is running like
Because
kind of
Denmark's
this
gonna have
dive catch here.
Well,
So much
Shockwave,
space to work with
was
because
behind
of
the right
their
corner, picked correctly and immediately
Echo
took
that they're
versus to the
probably
grave.
damage
The one
boosting,
hero you're
and then
not
the
resing
Ash
on
and the
is
Monkey.
Name on them. Down Kiriko, so still not the worst opening here for Great Britain. Astro's gonna be back out of spawn soon. It'll lead to the 5v4, and if you're Denmark, kind of have to rotate out a little bit. Doge is just getting pelted down.
Ooh,
getting hit by the
yeah, Doge was
Bionade,
in a
and,
really
you know, just
uncomfortable
tickled
spot
to
there
death.
for a while.
Bajikaru at the end.
I just think that Denmark did not take that fight in the best way possible.
Pretty solid opening here for the Great Britain offense.
I see what they were going for positionally, and I don't necessarily think that that's the worst idea in the world. I think that them starting off split was a really bad idea, though.
You know,
Them
it's a
starting
great
off
defensive
split was
composition
really bad
because
for them.
You don't have to win fights. You have to stall cart. And so, like, this composition is really good at, like, taking space and keeping space. The big issue is of this Echo Mercy combo is just going to go kind of, you know, untouched.
Yeah, true.
Heavy pressure
And
on
Echo can
Doge
put out
once
so much
more.
damage while not being touched, it's crazy. With her stickies alone,
Heavy pressure on the
it's
name,
just
unable to get
so
away,
much
where,
damage.
You know, if you're Astro, you're catching one
that
between
damage
worlds
boost
here.
stickies
Boosts
do
some
like
really good Ash
it
here.
surprises
Keep
me how
alive
much
and
damage they do, chat.
Devon
Like they just
finds
delete
Shockwave,
people.
doesn't let him get away that time.
I forget sometimes
Healthy,
whenever I'm
but
playing
as it
games
happens,
that I should probably like nade myself or something whenever I get hit with those, because they will fucking obliterate me.
Have a lot of damage threats right now as Great Britain slowly
Great
cleaning
Britain
this up.
wins
No,
this.
I think that Great Britain or that Denmark wanted to play car wash down at the bottom. They wanted to have all their brawlers in the big pack and maybe stall cart down there. But Great Britain was able to move it far enough that they never were able to get their composition set up in that position.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
so far, Denmark kind of just getting rolled over.
Yeah,
He comes in, but to what end?
that would be the
Yeah, and
part
the
where
upside here for
Denmark's
Denmark
comp is most
that Great Britain, they're
favorable.
keeping really good control, but you look at the delay here. For a
Would
while,
be
they were not
like,
trying to win that fight. It was just stall.
Whenever the
4
cart
minutes,
went
though,
down in
from
the
point
tunnel,
B.
that'd be where they
Feeling
were
a
most
lot better
favorable.
as
But
Great Britain right now.
Great
So
Britain was able to
long
get it past
as
there.
you win the
They're
first fight
super
on
right
point
about
B,
that.
which is map changes are though very, very important.
Okay, some switches come in here. So Doge is going to go to the Diva. That should help at least with the Sky combo. Kelix goes over to the Moira with a little more sustain. Maybe
for a second, I
also
thought
help out
that
with the Sky
Kelix was on a
combo.
Great Britain's team, and I was like, wait a
But pretty good
second,
for Denmark
what?
to
No.
get control of this high ground early on.
Good swaps from Denmark, I think.
First plan B still going on. Bionate on the Doge again. You've been seeing Backbone just.
The Diva works
focus
so
on
much
Doge
better
a
than
lot.
Junker
High
Queen.
Fine Slay
in
Steals
particular.
Jericho. Great Britain again up 5v4. Doge able to get back.
Them deciding to go
Shockwave
Moira is a
really low,
bit.
has the EMP,
That's
and,
interesting.
Kai finds him at the same time.
I don't
Nope,
necessarily
getting
understand
locked in.
that as
This
much.
Is surgical. No one's really getting poked down in Great Britain. But hey, that's not poke, that's just full-on bomb. But
Like,
what does that
Kiri
do
makes
to the
sense,
situation?
obviously,
Still have
and
an
then the
enormous
Sombra
number
Tracer
advantage,
makes
and Denmark
sense.
is just struggling to find
I
the
Yeah, I mean,
Why the
Diva's
Moira?
actually really struggling against this Echo. You've seen the beam come in and do so much
I don't see
damage
what
that
Moira
Vin's gonna
provides
tickle,
here.
so it's just
Moira
kind
doesn't
of a
have
matter
much
of
range with
time
her healing.
before Doge gives up the life.
Uh,
EMP can be a game changer. Kitsune Dash
and
can
she
be a
doesn't
game
really
changer. Right now,
like
Denmark
she
needs
doesn't
to find their footing
really
and get a
bring
fight.
much utility to the table.
I mean, a little bit of stability. Kitsune gonna come out here from Denmark. What other fall through do you have? Shockwave gets
Oh
hit with the Biodate,
lord,
drops the EMP.
Shockwave.
Before
Gikaru
dying.
got dangerously low,
All
but
this does not
he's gonna hit the
care.
health
Astra on
pack.
backbone on
This
the
is
punish
definitely
on the
this is
full
going in the
DPS
way of
Denmark,
Great Britain.
As Great Britain looks to just easily cruise through point B. And now Denmark, they're gonna have an even more
How are-
important C-hold from the looks of
Okay,
it
the
if they
supports for
want to
Denmark
hold
stayed
on
alive way
and
longer
win
than
this
they
in
should
two.
have.
Yeah, Maimon has just been kind of running wild all over this team, and no one's really been shooting up. It's tough, and like, you know, Diva can be
Wow, hit on
okay
Shockwave again.
to eat some of that damage, but it's not been good enough. Yeah, Denmark's compositions, both offense and defense, are
Oh, that's
leaving
brutal.
a little something to be desired.
Shockwave gets hit with the
Backbone
Biodate,
getting
finished
in
off, and
position.
Backbone just drops
Yeah,
the
and they can't really do
elbow
anything about
out.
it. They don't have anybody
Yeah,
that
dude, I
could
expect
go
Great Britain in
on
the Overwatch
Backbone
World
right now,
Cup.
so.
Go ahead. That's what we need.
Great Britain,
get
they
back
basically
on.
get
Nano,
that positioning for free, and
Good
Great
to
Britain
go.
doesn't have to
Well,
use
Jikaru,
any
here's
abilities
Jikaru is
to...
like, please, save me. Heal me.
They don't have to use any
Nano
abilities or
required here.
resources to try and make it so that
Shockwave Widow is an interesting
Backbone's
switch.
safe.
Um,
Because Backbone's just going to
The
be
problem is
safe.
Shockwave has to deal with both the Sky combo and Kai's Ash. He's
All-time
probably going
nano
to
on
get jumped on
Jikaru.
too.
Yeah, Jikaru went in, got low, got the nano at the right time. All three going to be there, though. Right now, looking for Naga, getting slowed
Okay.
down, and really
A little
just
rough.
wants to get out. However, heals are going to be coming back in.
The
Great
bob's
Britain
good.
assault. Backbone
That's
goes
a
down early,
really
but the
good
Kai is still
bob.
Really good. Kai and Jikaru
Kai
able to
carrying
both
this fight
Shockwave
right
and
now.
Slay. Not without some falling on the other end. As
That's
Doge
crazy.
picks up two, getting scrappy, and usually the defense likes scrappy fights here. Doge staying alive as a tank. Respawns are going to be coming in soon.
Okay.
And, you know,
Yep.
If anyone was still up, Naga
Denmark,
could play.
the
Denmark pulled
Doja
through there.
on the-
But that
seems
was
like the
that
comfort
that was
hero
really
of
good play
Maka
from
right
Great
now.
Britain.
Has played it
I
so
really
well
liked what
in
Kai
the
was able to
previous
do
map,
there
and,
with the dynamite and the
You know,
bomb.
the Diva just
Really big
wasn't
play.
getting it done. It
And,
does enough to pressure up,
Jikaru
but
was able to
eventually
capitalize
the
on
teams
it.
have to land. I think the Shockwave Widow pick is really smart. It makes at least Great Britain respect it and play different angles. So now you almost know that the Echo and Mercy is going to come up over right side top. And yeah, you're going to have to commit some resources to deal with Shockwave back here.
Jikaru's
Shockwave,
fucking crazy.
he's
Look at this
on the
guy
aggro.
go.
Winston. Meanwhile, Kai finds Slay again. Another quick early pickoff. for
Jikaru's
Kai. The tank
upset
down.
about the
Maimon
new map.
pushes him off at the beam,
Oh,
and
you know he's upset
just
about the new
like
map.
that,
Shockwave's
Great
dead, though.
Britain on their way to force
Yeah,
a
Great
map 3.
Britain.
Everything going right for them on this
It's
long
over.
range of
It's
Gibraltar
over.
Point C.
They get the dub.
Just a quick little slide into victory, and map 3, not a day.
I'm excited to see what map 3 is going to be. But we should go check this out. Chile and Brazil.
It's going to be parceled, and it's going to be wrapped and left right on their doorstep.
We're not too far.
I
Oh,
freaking love this. This is a
listen.
great sign for Brazil.
We're starting it off on
And
the
their
first
fans to
map.
keep both
We didn't really see what
players
was happening,
starting
but
off
here we go.
strongly. 52% now on the board. Chile has to get an answer. They have that pulse bomb ready to go, building up.
Ooh.
As well, the Val finds those shots on the new.
This is one that's currently live right now, by the way. The Great Britain Denmark match was later. That was later.
Healthy. Also, the Nanobus to keep Frack in this fight. Great support gameplay from Chile on a pulse bomb from Ram onto the back line. What a connection from him. Also finds that Anna, but the health pack is hacked.
So I don't really know many of the players here. I'm just like, I'm trying to analyze, see what's happening. I was thrown into the middle of this, chat. I was thrown into the middle of this. I haven't been time to think about it yet. Big play from Chile, it looks like, though.
Like you said, after the Ana pulls the Sombra's attention as well.
What they do with the
Sombra's
flags,
actually
icons,
to try
in
and
the
save this
Overwatch
back
World Cup
line,
is
and as a
interesting.
result, the Barrett entirely uncontested gets to finally
I really like
save
the Ashe
high ground
pick.
and put these dynamites to work as Brazil come through.
Ash, I prefer. I really like the Ashe pick into the Tracer Sombra.
Has trouble. Neil opts to back out. Ludwig takes a bit of damage, but nobody dead just yet.
I think I prefer Chile's comp to Brazil, honestly.
Svenko has to translocate back towards that mega health pack. They know where he is. Coach got actually to boost Nail away from the point as they know nobody else can contest. Chile's going for an outside dive, but they give up that point. Ludwig has the pulse bomb as rotation. Now happens. Chile hack comes
That was a big
back,
ANC
still
onto
able to get off that
on the
debuff.
frack there.
Sex.
Oh lord, Frack!
He goes back into the forward rotation on the quick
Frack's still alive, but
Ram finds the
they had to give up so many resources there.
with that primal rage of Neil and Ludwig.
Thanks for the sex, by the way.
Gives them those 2
Thanks for the sex. Wait, how'd you even pull that up? You didn't even pull up shop. You didn't even type exclamation point shop. How'd you pull that up?
Yeah, especially because now we're going to have another EMP coming onto the board for Sven.
Wait, is it not even
Lassie,
popping
by
up?
the
I
way,
can
is onto the
hear
Kira.
it at
There's the
least.
Doomfist pick that we anticipated to come through is they're onto these fast-moving heroes to just try and keep this
Bookmark?
overtime
Oh,
as close
okay.
as possible, but no one can really position around the EMP when it comes
Nice.
out. And that's going to be Brazil just
It's showing
cleaning
up
the
sick.
aisles and taking this first point.
Man, Ludwig's looking so good on the Tracer.
Good from
Moxie.
Brazil.
You know,
Brazil's looking
overall,
really comfortable
Brazil,
here.
What a series to start off with today.
But, you know,
Even at
can't count out
151,
Chile yet.
Obviously, this is round number 1. A standout DPS play from Brazil.
Yeah, honestly, standout play from all of them. The fact that we only really saw Exfil being caught out of position 1.
Oh, okay, it's
playing.
it's showing the replay.
That
was not the smoothest transition in the world.
We can have a look at some of this Ludwig Tracer replays as well as Neil on the Winston, just able to push aggressively.
God, I kind of wish that, like,
when they know that they've zoned out
Twitch
on
could
a
go at a higher bitrate,
Yeah, I
because
love
this kind of looks
I
trash.
love and hate this. Why the heck did this guy have to choose
Welcome,
a
by the way,
name
Dawn. I
that
forgot to
is
say hi.
The same as a prominent figure in esports. It's
Oh,
so
Lord.
interesting that he decided to go with it. Maybe in the Brazilian scene, doesn't know Ludwig as much, obviously.
I'm pretty sure the most famous Ludwig is Beethoven, but...
Hey, his name's Ludwig? Oh, oh my god. Anyway, change the topic here. Chile now onto that deep with the Pharah as well. Didn't have that pocket. We talked about sort of these interesting.
Okay, so what are they running here?
Pharah compositions coming through for other.
Pharah
teams,
comp
Chile
works.
kind of taking the playbook out
But
of,
Brazil's making
a
swaps
page
for it.
out of Saudi Arabia's playbook.
I think that what Brazil's gonna try to do is they're gonna try to ignore the Pharah and go for like some of the more diveable targets.
Entirely uncontested as long as you play around these buildings to block line of sight.
According to like what they decide, the changes that they decided to make.
Yeah, they roll through, ram over
Because
the
there's
top.
realistically not much that
Ludwig
Brazil
picked
can
up
do
early
against the Pharah
from Crack, who chases him down on the Diva, but
with its
Sancho
comp
goes
at the
straight back.
moment. There's not really
Lazio
many
goes
people who
healing.
can contest
Heals
her.
are gone, but the resurrect now from Papo is here to bring him back in this fight, bringing a lot of the value in that Mercy pocket as well.
I kind of wish that they weren't showing Pharah's POV at the moment, and the reason why is because she's disconnected from the fight. Like, she's just kind of like floating around and doing damage, and everybody else is doing things, taking fights.
Relocate back around with the fade. He's able to find that damage. Chile has disengaged.
Yeah, the constant pressure the Pharah eventually got to them. Like, they were doing well with ignoring the Pharah at first, but the thing is, she's just like there for so long and able to do so much consistent pressure, especially to your back line, that eventually you run out of those resources, especially whenever you're trying to like utilize those resources to hurt the enemy team. She was just around for too long, and they left her ignored for too long, and she was able to win that fight for her team, basically.
That point back. They're gonna walk through that cage side now. Ram though, setting up with that barrage play. No defensive matrix to shut him down besides maybe a hack from Spenko on the low ground wall.
Oh, they tried. Lazu got fucked on there.
Gets him incredibly low, but he's able to survive. However, Ram comes back. In deny on the backside. Papo also gets the res onto
Ooh, big EMP! That was actually a crazy play, because the EMP made sure that, like, the Pharah could not fly away. She couldn't fly away because her abilities were denied. The fact that Brazil has been able to keep control of this point for so long is crazy. Because you don't have to get big, decisive fight wins if you have control of the point and you're able to either stall it for so long or, like, prolong fights to the point to where you're the one who ends up getting the most percentage out of the exchange. It doesn't matter, because then it just becomes who's able to win one fight, you know? And it's like, well, Brazil's getting close to that one-fight territory to where they can just win.
Able to avoid that damage from the
even though Chile's been looking stronger in the overall fight wins, I think that Brazil's just, they're just playing the maps better. They're just playing these maps better.
Neil trying to find some kills here. Eventually they'll find Lazu, but Expo's taken down incredible low. Frack goes for the final blow.
That's crazy.
Ram does trade him back, but Ludwig is here onto Frack as well.
Yeah, they tried with the Pharah.
Collapse onto Chile as they rotate around the point. Even with that skybox to work with, they still have to contest the point. Ram able to do so. We'll go back to the sky last second. The Sombra will touch.
Oh, big.
Ram. Oh my god, it could be big, but they
Couldn't touch, though.
He's too far
Couldn't
up
touch. Unfortunate.
vertically from the point, so he's not able
Unfortunate.
to touch it last second. And
They
Brazil
tried,
way
though.
on
They
it.
tried their
Oh,
best.
that's devastating. The second that you as a Pharah hit that Q, you know, but you can't cancel.
I think that they were trying to be on point with the barrage.
I'm going, oh, my spaghetti. It's on
Um,
the ground, but I am about
they
to
were just
choke it
slightly
right
too
now.
high. They were just slightly
That's
too
really
high. That's unfortunate.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you could see that the second that
Chat, I'm
Brazil
gonna be right
saw
back. I have to
our
use the restroom
competition
real
come
quick.
through,
I'll be right back.
they just clocked onto the fact that that Ana was left so vulnerable and just continued to dive and dive
BRB.
and dive, finding that pick, keeping the Pharah's attention away, so that every single time, even when they weren't coming in terms of the kills, they still had point percentage, they were still ticking that up, and there was nothing that Chile could really do about it, because if they sent the pharmacy to keep control of point, everyone else in backline dies.
Yeah, I think that was overall fantastic work from Brazil. And, I like the idea from Chile, obviously, like you said, with that Pharah competition to maybe mix things up to avoid a lot of that pressure. It worked at points. And, maybe against the better Pharah team, maybe a team like Brazil wouldn't do as well against, that sort of composition. Obviously, we have seen Chile at points look solid, but as a team, Brazil really did a great job surrounding, really suffocating all the supports, like you said, Moxie. It was a really tough time for that backline of Chile to really just have any sort of survivability as a unit. And, obviously, we got to bring back Ash, our host, who comes back down from the heavens to come into this discussion. What's going on, Ash? What do you think of that first map?
Floating back down from Cloud9 right now, but overall, I think you both made some really good points. The pharmacy pick was interesting coming out from Chile. The vision, with the concussive blast and whatnot, especially with the well there on Ilias, definitely huge, but just a bit too disconnected, I think, from the remainder of the team composition. Just doesn't really allow all those moving pieces to work cohesively together, Moxie.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a 50-50 as well. Like, when you're running that pharmacy, it works so well for teams like Saudi Arabia. At the moment, Triple Esports Twisted Minds back in the contenders EMEA region because they play aggressively. They put so many resources onto players like Labda and Yazan, and they just send them out fully understanding that they're going to be trading that Ana, but because the pharmacy stays alive, they're still going to win the fight. And that was where the disconnection came through from Chile's game plan, because they had the pharmacy, they just didn't have the aggression a lot of the time. We would cut back to the Pharah's POV, and they would be literally babysitting the Ana in the backline, and the kill would still come through on the Ana, the rest would still come out, and the Pharah would still be left vulnerable. So you didn't get reward from either the Pharah finding kills or controlling the space, allowing point percentage to be picked up for your team.
I think Mox is 100% right. I think to even add to it,
I'm back,
I
chat.
would go as far to say is it's a lack of mechanical prowess.
Time
on
to
the
see
Pharah.
more
I mean,
Chile
it's hard
versus
to play that
Brazil.
hero to the level that, like you mentioned, Saudi Arabia does. They have so many fantastic players, obviously, with Yazan being one of them, one of the best Pharah players in the world. It's hard to match that level. There's so many decisions that Pharah players have to make. And at times,
Yazan
you
is a
can't make the
crazy
right
Pharah
one when
player.
it's, like you mentioned, Moxie. I mean, making the aggressive play, hitting direct their shots. I mean, there's so many things that you have.
I
to do
legit,
right,
I
unfortunately,
want
for,
Saudi
or,
Arabia
sorry,
to do
Graham.
well,
It was hard to get that value that,
and
we've
they already
seen
have been.
out of other teams.
And then talking a bit about as well, it was just a bit of a struggle to, like Moxie was saying actually during the cast is what I caught, follow up on the EMP coming up from about on that Sombra. It felt like Chile just obviously didn't have that same kind of damage.
Chile was able to
actually
provide
close out
pressure
quite a
and
few of those
everything.
picks, and
They just
again, it
weren't
just
getting those
comes down to
decisive
that lack of
picks and those
cohesiveness.
decisive fight
Meanwhile,
wins
Brazil,
quick enough.
We knew that
you know?
wasn't going to be a problem for them considering their history.
And Brazil was able to
with
keep
them.
map control for so
Yeah, so
long.
normally when you're running something like the Sombra, you want to have something to immediately be able to follow up that EMP because
They
it
just
lasts
basically
very little
they
time, so
ignored
you
the
have to
Pharah for as
essentially
long as
choose
they
one
could and
target,
got as
and
much
then
value as they
everyone jumps
as they
on it.
could
We see a lot of
from
times
ignoring
on
the
professional
Pharah.
play, EMP being invested solely to take down one support player like a Kiriko so they can't swift step. They immediately
And that
go
was their
down, and because
strat.
those
And
compositions
it worked.
especially don't come
It
alongside
worked.
Mercy, that kill, it sticks. The problem, however, was that you're not running anything that has the burst damage build for BMP, but you're also not running a Lucio to be able to use that speed boost, jump on the target in time, and guarantee that the EMP actually secures the kill that you're trying to connect it into.
And Dustin,
I like how I'm
gotta
seeing
ask
the
as well,
American
with
matches
the
now,
difference
chat.
between these tank picks that we see coming out from Chile and Brazil. Brazil going for that Winston, Chile opting for the Diva instead. How did that fare and play into, I guess generally just how they were able to
Big
work
damage
around
mitigation.
each other and the types of pushes that both teams were going for.
You know, I think it's fully tough to say like which hero is better. I know that
That's
you
like a lot of
directly asked that
bubbles
question, but
plays,
it's kind of
chat.
tough at the moment.
He has to
Because,
play
you know,
so many
after
bubbles in order to
everything
get that
we've seen from
damage
Diva, it's always been
mitigation.
from like the weaker team on paper, right? It feels like a lot of the Diva players tend to kind of maybe just favor that hero because of their, you know, hero pool, like you mentioned. But with Winston in particular, the hero is just so dang good at the moment with just engaging. The cooldowns are so low that it can continue to just rotate. Also, Primal Rage, one of the most underrated. I mean,
You know,
people
you're
like
really
say
seeing here
it's
though,
not that
like the
underrated, but I think
difference
it's one of the
between
strongest
like
ultimates in the game, right? Gives you, you know, that full health. pool,
metas
really
whenever
turns
you're
into
like
a tanky beast, but
scrimming
also
and
has
like metas
platform
whenever you're
damage.
playing
So realistically, the
competitive,
Winston
because
Winston
there are
players
different
that are
metas.
just
You're
playing a
seeing
hero that
not
is
many people here are
arguably at
playing
times
Junker
better,
Queen.
but it's also tough to say just because
Even with the new
you know,
Junker
we
Queen
don't really
stuff.
know how good the Diva is.
Whenever
maybe in the right
Junker Queen's
hands,
like
it could be
crazy
better.
good right now.
I'm so happy you actually mentioned Primal Rage, Dustin, because yeah, like you said, it does
And
seem
the
like
ranked
it's a little
ladder,
bit
that
of
is.
an underrated ultimate, but there's actually a specific moment on Lighthouse where Exile goes down, the Ana is disconnected away from the Winston, but Neil actually gets to stay alive and still win the team fight afterwards because he has that Primal Rage healing of the immediate burst of health bar, and then even when you lose it, you're still going to be full health when you revert back to that Winston Monkey mode. So they really were able to, like we said, identify
not
that,
necessarily
okay, they're
true.
going to lose a player, let's at least trade it so
You
it
don't get your
translates
full
into
health
a
back
fight
whenever
win.
you go back tiny.
All fair points, especially with that Winston shield being pretty strong up against the Pharah, just being able to provide that cover for the backline when needed, and then also for, of course, the engagements there when he does go in for that full dive. But we are going to.
I wonder what map
while we
the
wait for the
Chile is
next
gonna
match pick
choose,
to
because it's
come
Chile's
through
map.
overall. But big MVP at least coming out from that first game onto the Winston player Neil that we were actually just talking about there, Dustin.
Yeah, Neil was
Neil
crazy
played
good.
great. I think that obviously one of the best Winston plays that we've seen so far out of the two games. You know, very small sample size. So this is like say he's the best. He's the best ant out of two ants on the floor. I don't know. It just seems like at the point in the tournament, you know, we still have yet to see some of the best Winstons come through.
What is up
obviously,
with
the
Dustin's
likes of Korea at
earbuds?
times
What
with,
is that?
Super Matthew DeLisi, obviously sitting on at points on
What
America's
is
Team,
that?
one of the best Winston players, has a super diverse and flexible hero pool. But like you said, Neil played very, very
It looks like
well.
cloth.
Really was
Is
that
it like one of
standout
those like
player for them,
woven
and
like
also
wire
working with the rest of them.
things?
I mean, Moxie kind of touched on it. I just
Oh
feel like
Lord.
this team
Oh
overall
Lord.
is playing very well, and that's what you want to see as a Brazilian fan.
Okay,
is have a team that
they're
can
back.
perform up
I was about to say,
expectations
all of
mechanically
their
as a
all of
unit.
their cameras went funky for a
Oh,
minute.
absolutely, but without
Gibraltar.
further ado, we are going to
Gibraltar
see
for,
the next pick
for
coming
Chile.
in here for this second map. Moxie, I've got to get your thoughts.
That might make
Okay, well,
sense.
we're getting to see it. It is going to be new Watchpoint Gibraltar coming through, and I mean, I can see why Chile want us to take it, to take us there. If they want to run the
They wanna keep-
Widowmaker, very, very strong first point
Yeah.
for the Widowmaker to be able to find a lot of those opening picks from the high
Yeah.
ground. If they want to run the Pharah for the exact same reasons, really nice big skyboxes.
They also
a
want to
lot
keep
of
the
high ground
Ana as
denial for
well.
the
It looked
defenders as well,
like,
just
and
to be able
Ana
to
works
spam
super
some of
well
those,
on Gibraltar.
places. Make sure that you get a lot of distance on that payload for free. I'm a little bit concerned, however, because Gibraltar's endgame has always been dive compositions, and I would say that from what we've seen so far, Brazil's dive game is stronger.
Yeah, I would
That's
agree.
fair. And Dustin, what do you think the adjustments that we need to see coming out from Chile going into this next match, considering just how Ilios kind of played out for them? They've got to make that quick adjustment to find that cohesion. Do you have any?
I'm noticing
idea,
lots of,
maybe,
like,
clear crafting on
Weird
what
graphical
really mainly
glitches
needs
on the
to be tightened
screen.
up there?
On the screen.
I think it's tough, Ash. I think Moxie was kind of hit the nail on the head here with the.
I don't know if that's
fact
like a
that,
thing on the
you know,
stream
a
or
lot of
whatever.
dive compositions are pretty solid on Gibraltar, but you know, previously in the last matchup we saw with Colombia, we did see a lot of those one-shot sniper characters, right? Those are kind of like the difference maker.
I think that
heroes
Brazil's
that
gonna take this one as well,
potentially
chat. I'm not
could
gonna
swing
lie.
the favor in Chile's side. I think that
They just looked
I'm not sure if
they looked way
actually
more
have that
cohesive
talent.
than
The
Chile
balance obviously
was.
shown on Ash at points, really strong, but you know, maybe he can whip out.
And
the
they're
Hanzo,
really
maybe
good
he
at
can hit
being
those
a lot
lobs
more
across the map
proactive
and
than
get
Chile.
one-shots that team needs, because at this point you're kind of relying on it, right? I think that Brazil obviously as a unit looked very cohesive and strong, so the only potential counter to that would really just get to getting those one shots to just stop the pushes of Brazil just through overall, you know, damage output and getting those one shots on the Hanzo.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and really little room for error here with it being a best of 3 series as well with Overwatch.
Yeah, I
Games
think that
are so quick
The-
overall.
yeah, I
and
think that
the fact
is
that it's
honestly
also,
probably
again,
the
we
call
just
that they're
can't
going
stop
for
talking
is
about the stakes with it
they're
being only 2
relying on the
spots
one-shot
available
characters
here
to get those
in
picks
Group
instead
D
of like
Americas to
working
actually
together as a
secure
team
that
as much.
opportunity to move over to that round robin
Just
group
because
stage.
Brazil
But
works in the
not gonna wait too
cohesion
much
game.
longer. I'm gonna head
Like
send you
the
guys
Brazil
over to
Brazil's
the
better at that.
fly through once again here on Watch Point Gibraltar. Dustin, Moxie, take it away.
Thank you, Ash. And obviously, leading into Gibraltar, Moxie, I mean, what are the biggest takeaways that you had on this map? I think we talked about it earlier. Obviously, I didn't give any insight at all. Ash came in through and she's like, hey, what do you think about Gibraltar? What do you think about these new changes? I'm like, I don't know. They don't matter. What do you think? Do they matter? What has to do with Gibraltar? What's changed here for the viewers then? They need to understand with this map, maybe in your games, what have you experienced with Gibraltar?
Momentum shift, I think, is one of the big ones with the changes coming through. A lot of the time,
I think that they made a lot of
Right, you
it
would
did.
lose point A, you would get staggered on point B as you reach.
The thing is, like with Gibraltar, a lot of the chokes are much more opened up now. Especially whenever it comes to like how the point is, how the spawns are determined at the end of the last point. But like, even the changes that they made to second point and everything, like it made the chokes a lot less choky.
One catwalk of high ground, a little bit of high ground.
So you have to like
behind the point itself and the side lanes.
You play a little bit different. Like you don't rely as much as like, oh, we're just gonna keep them on these doors.
Having to play around that initial corner. But now,
it's a little different now.
Through, the defenders have a little bit more cover to be able to hide from
It's
places
more
like those
open
one
feeling
of something like a Widowmaker or a Hanzo. So it's definitely been a lot less fast.
It feels like you have a lot more
for
room to do
attacking teams,
things
having to slow things down
with the new
just
Gibraltar.
a little bit more now.
And I haven't even
Let's
been
see
able
how
to play it
Gibraltar
much.
plays out, but obviously we're still waiting for that to come through, so we're gonna bring you back, Ash. I mean, I think that this map.
I still don't know if we've had a single Gibraltar game on
It's still the
stream.
same old map, obviously. Both these teams.
We might have had one.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Brazil's looking really good at the moment, Ash. I don't mean to burst this bubble from Chile, but seems like Brazil's on top at the moment.
We'll see if they can take it in that 2-0 sweep, though, like you predicted, Dustin, earlier on. And again, I'm going to send you guys away for real this time.
Go away.
I won't be coming back. So you guys head on into the server, and I'll catch you guys on the other side.
Sounds good, Ash. We'll see you later. And obviously, Gibraltar, Moxie, here we go. I mean, this is like the 10th time we've talked about it. I think that...
you barely ever... I've barely ever actually paid attention to the room that's on last point in the spawn, in the defending spawn. There's like a meeting room.
Sunset, didn't they? Like with this map is.
I forgot that existed. I never look at it. I just like speed past it because why would you look at it, right?
What are you talking about? No, I don't feed. Okay, everybody else does the feeding, but you know at points it did blind me and I got shot by a Widowmaker out of the spawn doors. But that wasn't my fault. Like
God,
the fucking fault. It's not.
The flags in Overwatch 2 move weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why is the sun blinding a robot? I'm playing Zenyatta. Like, dude does not even have eyes. Like, why does there reflections? Like, we need to have, I don't know,
How do you think Sun sees? Do you think it's echolocation?
What Zenyatta echolocate like a bat? No way. Box, you're
cameras.
My character with that question. That's definitely, that's a echolocation Zenyatta, huh? Maybe new bat skin coming soon. But,
okay, let's see. What comps do we have here?
And D.Va as well, Moxie, and
it's a mirror. It's a mirror.
In that mirror matchup, how they do.
Yeah, is it going to be?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. There's not going to be as much diving here, so I think that Chile could be in it. Because Brazil was looking really strong with that dive comp they were running earlier. But I think it could be anybody's game here.
Looking for that Sonic over the top.
Dalka's gonna be having a little bit more trouble with the D.Va here. They're pushing the point below, which is really good for really good for Chile.
The ones being pressured by an anti-grenade, and they actually aggressive now. Ludwig though on the low ground. Meanwhile,
oof, lost the tracer. That's bad.
Able to find Ram with help from that Brigitte and D.Va.
A lot of that oppression isn't there anymore.
Because Dalka's been just doing such a good job of moving from the high ground to the low ground, keeping it contested so it doesn't get to move into car wash, and as a result, Ram does not just get to use the tracing ability and stay on the payload and force Brazil to give up the high ground where they're in so much control with this Hanzo composition.
Yeah, I mean, Dalka's been playing so well, just going back and forth, making sure. You said that payload doesn't push. Now a minute 30 off the clock already.
Good
Dragons.
Dragons.
Off the high ground to zone out.
Chile's having a lot of trouble engaging right now. They just aren't able to engage at all. Brazil's doing such a good job of making it so that they aren't able to get to people. And even whenever Chile's able to engage with anything, like they just manage to engage, and Brazil's like, alright, we'll just move away. We'll just get out. But I will say, it is worth, because now Chile has control of that high ground, which is a really big move.
You guys have avoiding shots, but not able to find those kills. Comes around the back.
Oh.
Goes for the pulse. Nice sleep dart, though.
Chile loses it here. Yeah.
They do, but it might be too late. They've already lost 2 members of the team. Svenko also
Brazil's nano was better because they had a bit more people to be able to follow up on that.
Hanzo and Diva versus Diva and Tracer.
Not to mention that Chile's less mobile characters were already in, so.
Preserve his life to make sure he could remech here. Frack will come back, but the closer spawns are in favor.
They still have high ground though. They still have high ground.
Has to translocate away. Ludwig playing that perfectly in that spot, in that individual micro spot, as the fight will kind of go back to a neutral angle.
Yeah, and again, we're going to see Hanslo versus Hanslo. Brick Shield to help out, but Divide does have that Dragon Strike bolt up as far enough away from the Diva.
Ooh, Dragons. New Gibraltar, by the way. If it weren't for the New Gibraltar, they would have died to that. Yeah, the New Gibraltar does flow incredibly well.
From Brazil, trying to relocate around that point, drops their own Dragon Strike off to zone out the payload. No dance, however, on both sides. Storm Arrow from the bout to try to find that.
Ooh, big pill. Big pill. Big kill on the Ram. Frack's pulling it together though. Big nano. Yeah, this is Chile's.
The Diva still here. Daka will lose.
Big.
And eventually Chile will capture on first point after a very, very long push.
Yeah, it's honestly really smart from Chile, however, not to go for a full disengagement, even though they lose players. The second that they disengage...
Chile's looking a lot better now, I think.
Right back to that high ground stalemate that they had Chile locked into for so long, and that time...
I was a little worried at first. Oh! Big eat! Big eat! Frack saw that coming from a mile away. Frack is a really good tank. I've been impressed with what Frack's been able to do.
And holding this high ground as they try to come through these chokes.
Big kill on a Svenko.
I mean, Frack, what an outstanding Diva player he's been. To now enable the bout. Maybe get back in this series. They chase down that backline out of the fight. Also, Ram gets ran.
That's so cool.
Chile now pushing that cart. 2 minutes left in the
Okay, so they do. Chile does have the well, I guess they both have bombs. So if either of them gets DMAC, they have a second life with that bomb. Oh!
Got stuck though on the back,
yeah,
so
messed up. Frack messed up a little bit. Right after I was giving Frack all that praise.
Off that back line to give his team some space, but Expo out of Baby Diva form hits those shots on the Frack. Amazing work from him. And also with an anti-grenade on the Papo, but about those trade back Svenko. But nice work from Exfil to give Brazil that engagement. Now hits a shot on the low one.
Chile still has a chance here. Oh, never mind. Ram's gone. Wait a second. What is happening? Brazil? What is Brazil doing?
Series 3K for the Ana player of Brazil to keep them holding.
They just gotta back up and wait for people to come back.
She has the successor.
Okay.
Really coming up in terms of
Are they gonna engage here?
Means that Chile is forced to take a much longer rotation to be able to dodge out of these one shots potentially coming through from Svenko.
So I'm trying to think, what does Brazil have to do in this case? So I think they're gonna have to get a pulse bomb stick. It's gone. Frack another eat. Frack is crazy with it.
But unfortunately, nice work from Svenko to avoid all of that damage. Meanwhile, rally is happening.
Svenko is dodging everybody. Holy shit.
Frack healthy, but he's still going quite low. Svenko looking for those one shots. Tracer back here. Ram down to 1 HP. Needs to preserve his life, so he'll relocate back into that.
So much crazy shit is happening right now.
Now that forklift side, Frack will lose the mech as the fight's gone on for a bit too long for the Chile side. 20 seconds left now, and they're getting cleaned up by Brazil.
Wow.
Chile now.
Brazil pulled it together. I was feeling really good about Chile there for a second.
as they're not
Again, they
gonna
just
be able
aren't
to
getting
have
those
it back
decisive
until
fight
we get into
wins.
overtime. It's just gonna be Pat
They aren't getting those
Briscoe
decisive fight
trying to
wins.
clutch onto this payload, but
I
even
feel
if
like
they're
they
able to,
they
there's
don't.
nowhere to hide from the self-destruct.
They give Brazil too much of an ability to be able to pull these together and end up picking people, even whenever Chile gets like whenever they get initial picks and everything, like they're still allowing people like Svenko and stuff like that to end up killing them and making the fights a lot more scrappy. So they aren't ever able to get those decisive fight wins, which ends up messing them over at the end of the day. So, you know, I think that Chile still has a good chance of clutching this out, but it's looking really good for Brazil right now, chat. It's looking really good for Brazil right now.
Then pushes all of the defense off of the high ground, and that means that the Hanzo just does not have that opening control of all of those fights. It just didn't happen. They never got the opportunity to be able to put Ram into that position, and all of that comes down to Dalka.
Yeah, for sure, Dalka did a great job pushing forward. But, you know, to be honest, on the flip side, just to give something to Chile, it seems like Frack really has been doing great as an aggressive diva player, but, you know, at times...
Switches were perfect. I mean, back-to-back pulse bomb meets coming through from that diva, and even more on the flip side for this team, all of that high ground opening initial fight control that we saw in Brazil's hands now flips over when the side flips as well.
Yeah, now the defensive side, like you said, I mean, it enables Frack to maybe do a bit more, but it's tough at the moment when Brazil, you know, has the mechanical prowess.
Just fixing my camera a little bit, chat.
Playing well, Svenko, one of the Hanzo, showing that flexibility from that Sombra.
Ludwig still move it a little bit more this way. My camera just like moves over time, which is a little weird, but
really, been shutting out
whatever.
Chile in their pushes.
Yeah, lots of really good fuel coming through from them, as we're going to see exact same.
Okay, big teleport already puts Brazil in a really good position. Did I say Brazil? Puts Brazil in a good position.
Going to try to bite into this backline, but they're playing from the high ground, so it's incredibly hard to actually be able
not
to
charging up all those
shots
shots fully.
A lot of body shots, leg shots onto each Hanzo, not giving up that headshot. One shot coming through the right side, but unfortunately no kill.
The backline's looking a little weird here. I think that Frack needs to come in and help. There we go. Okay, Frack's here.
Back at the boxes of the back of the map, but Svenko's the one with a bit of the space here with the Brigitte, Ana, and Diva. Meanwhile, it's just an
Ram ends up winning the Tracer duel, which is really big. It means that Brazil isn't going to be able to push point without being able to take resources away from the fight.
Connect onto Lazu, though. Nice shot from Dabao onto that Hanzo. Tries to maybe deal with that pressure from Svenko here now.
They have to back off now. Without that,
yeah,
they do
that was rough.
Sustainability to be able to keep the
that was rough.
They lose the mech, they lose control of being able to have both avenues of high ground and low ground. As we're seeing, everyone to try to support the right as long as possible. Really good use of those boosters coming through from Brad.
Whoever wins this Hanzo duel is just gonna determine the fight. That's a big ante. Ooh, they weren't able to capitalize on that, but if they were able to. If they were able to. Ludwig is looking rough.
Barely makes it back to his team. Nice use.
Big pick on the Svenko. Yep. It looks like Chile's probably going to win this now.
Although Ludwig lives, his DPS partner does not. Dragon Strike from the bout.
Yep. Chile's got this.
Ludwig now with a
no
few
way.
members of his team alive, so he's going to back out as the bout Dragon Strike connects on to 3 members of Brazil to give them that fight win.
And now they get to try and go back to holding that aggressive position. You can already see that Devider's angling. But that control will be able to take down Dalka.
That was
staggered.
Close. But yeah, that stagger on Adelka is really big. They're buying, Chile's buying themselves a lot of time right now.
Positioning in anticipation of all of them.
So that whenever they, so that if Brazil's able to get it to next point, right? If Brazil's able to get it to next point, they're not gonna have a ton of time on the bank to do things with it.
Drop towards the card, Dragon Strike from Svenko over to the top, force Chile off into that pulse bomb potential.
Big pulse bomb. That's a really big pulse bomb.
From Chile is gone. The pulse bomb from Ram came through on the backline, but it is entirely avoided as the card is now pushing towards the very end. The only one touching is Frack. Down below with the nano boost, goes up to the high ground to force that diva bomb from Dalka, who will get the remix off as the bout will rejoin his team in a second. Ludwig down below will have to deal with the rally on both sides. Diva bomb.
I thought I saw Life Weaver Life Grip full for a second.
with the rest of his team come through towards that car with the rally and an Nano-Boost engage on their side with that ultimate advantage. They take full advantage.
Yikes.
Chases down
Brazil's
Lazu,
gone.
also to
Brazil
find
gets
Papo
it.
on that low ground. Diva eventually gets lost as well, and Brazil played that fight perfectly, Mox.
It takes a lot of ultimates, however, but Brazil will be able to win the fight.
Chile
pick up the
didn't do a
checkpoint,
good job with
get
the
a little bit more
rotations
time
there.
Added to their bank, and Chile now have to hope that they're going to be able to respawn and not.
They
get
have to hold
staggered
this
out.
for
As
3
Brazil
minutes.
Already eyeing up all of these grounds to be able to hold away from this defense. Sleep.
Not the worst thing ever. Not the worst thing ever. Super doable.
Defense matrix now coming through for both of them as everyone just fights for control of flame.
A nice nade from Xfil onto the back line, but no shots from Svenko.
Lazu's put in a not super great spot right now, but could be a lot worse.
Ludwig, though, does trade back Ram yet again. It feels like this has happened multiple times in this series.
Ooh, frack. Risky. Very risky.
Vegeta, meanwhile, Dragon Strike to try to equalize it, but it just forces them off that high ground spot.
Do I-
Actually finds that kill.
He can die. He can die.
In this fight, Ludwig has that pulse ready to go. He noticed the Hanzo double jumped away.
Okay.
But Svenko takes down Ram, even though
They got the Ram.
was not a success.
Not the
They
Ram.
still
They got
have that
Ram,
advantage.
but they didn't get
Dragon
to
Strike
bout.
still available. Throws it onto the high ground to make sure they have to drop off towards that forklift side. Lazu avoiding that damage. Cart still pushing, like you said, Moxie. Dalka able to take advantage of that cart.
I'd never even thought about using the forklift to avoid that before. What the hell? Why did I never think about that?
Last second, 4.25 meters
Okay,
left.
Chile held this fight together,
For now.
but Brazil's gonna have
They've been able to
like
push that
at
field
least
so
2
close to
more
the finish line.
fights
Chile, yes, they have
here
the advantage in
to
terms of
be
ultimate
able to
ability,
do
But
something.
look what Svenko's done. He's onto the Sombra. He's going to be able to threaten that back half.
At
Chile
least
is
2 more
always going to
fights.
have to be vigilant that they don't allow the back half to come through.
And
They're anchored.
Chile has
It's
ultimate
so
advantage
much
here,
more
which is
freedom
big.
to
Brazil
put
swapping
TPS.
to the Sombra though, which I do think is a really good swap. They recognize that they need to get like a decisive kill here, maybe on the Diva whenever the Diva goes in. But you know, capitalizing on the hack and killing somebody quickly, scrambling them. You don't have much cart to push. You know, you just have to be able to push the cart a little bit, and the enemy team is going to have to scramble quickly to get to the cart and figure out something to do with that. So if you're able to do that, you can possibly win a team fight. So I understand the Sombra pick a lot.
From the back line of Lazu and Papo is too much to deal with. Dalka, though, now is deep in enemy territory. Gets the Nano-Boost, dives onto the Hanzo. No double pocket or defensive matrix will save you there. The sleep does come through into Dalka, but he's immediately woken up. The rally here to sustain with the Diva Bomb, but does not find any kills.
Kill the Ana.
Trying to find Lazu on the back line, trying to avoid all of that damage. As bot time for Papo, the trade back to the Brazilian.
Was gone there for a while.
With a 2K melee onto Ram, and
Oh,
Papo
no.
gives them those kills. In the Diva
No.
Bomb enables Brazil to
Chile,
capture
no.
gives them that 2-0 victory.
They were looking really good there for a second.
Game, both on their defense and on their attack. So
They were-
much
they were-
TCs is picked up on that payload for virtually free.
They were
because
doing so
everyone
good
is
there
just
for a
so
second.
occupied dealing with
I'm
all of those
sad.
players
I wanted
wanting
Chile to
control
win a
of
little
controlling
bit.
The ship. Meanwhile, the payload is just making its merry way, entirely uncontested, putting us to a
I wanted them
firefight
to win a little
territory
bit, chat.
and forcing Chile into throwing in so many ultimates to being able to.
But anyway,
hold on
Brazil
so
gets the
long.
dub. Chile's out.
Brazil overall get that 2-0 real quick over Chile as well, Moxie, and
Let's mute this for a second and let's watch this game.
A full 2 Overwatch Hex. We finally got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the great things about this format is that where teams are able to pick a
I wonder who wins this.
Immediately get hit with
I didn't look up spoilers, chat. No spoilers.
was
to get caught in. It was all that goes to.
Come on. We need to see the last match.
I think both effective priority for Hex.
Oh, so new Queen Street. Okay, right.
Very clear.
Pushes the last one.
It's going to be. So far, they look like two of the best
Okay.
We'll see as the tournament goes through. Kai is
So-
going on Sojourn. Shockwave's going to try to match that with an Ashe, and then
Right, Great Britain is better on this dive
Denmark
comp.
strategy is Naga on main.
Denmark's
which is
going
best
with the
hero, and
Ram
Doge on
comp.
Ninja, which I think is
Okay,
his best hero.
both could work here, honestly.
two
I
very,
think that
very
Denmark's
good
setting themselves up
right
on the
now.
best
They add a little
spot
bit of
possible. It's
Shockwave,
going to make a
mix
Great
up
Britain's
Kai,
life very
Kai
hard.
finishing
It's
blow.
going to be hard for them to go into this and win the fights.
Kai, though, under pressure in the back, getting
But
very,
the
very
thing
low.
is, if anybody goes out of position, Great Britain can capitalize on that a lot.
Denmark
So,
has control of the road.
it's looking like right here, Denmark is going to be able to win this here. They have the advantage as far as the positioning is concerned with their composition. But whenever it goes
Yeah, I mean,
to
the first point, I think you would rather just see
anywhere
the
that's not the
fight
middle of
rather
the
than go
map,
to
I
7
think that
meters,
Great
but,
Britain's going to have
as
the
things
advantage
go on in
there.
the meter and
I think
the
that they're going to
yardage
be able to
meter
have the advantage there,
changes,
so
then priorities
we'll
can be
see. But
different.
Denmark's set up in a
Everyone's
really good
going
spot right
on. You
now,
just really
and
want to win this first fight and get maybe
not only are they
3
set up in a good spot, but they're also looking really confident. Great Britain's having a lot of trouble finding a way to engage in this fight.
Is what's going on between the DPS. Neither team wants to lose it first. Doge, though.
Oh lord, Jakaru!
Yeah, it's like one tech maybe bowed, but Jakaru's the one that needs help.
It looked like Jakaru was just
On the
hoping that
other
they wouldn't
side,
see him.
and it's hit for half. Slay finishes off Backbone. Finally, we got a first blood. And
There we go.
Denmark looking to push the advantage.
Denmark wins it.
Essentially, going forward in this moment. And, Great Britain, when you're down that much healing, you just kind of back out.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of
Yeah.
have to. All your sustain is gone. The pulse
They
bomb
do have
ability
Nano
is-
here, though,
this is
so
kind of the-
it looks
the
like
very
Great
first
Britain's
push
going to
of
have a
mine.
really
Just
good
comes out
tool
with
to
one
be able
kill.
to engage in
As
this
much as
fight and win
Slay's
it.
gotten kind of rocked
They
by
just need
Kai
to hope that they
today, this
capitalize
Slay's
on it
given
really
almost
well.
as
There goes the
much as
Nano.
he's gotten. You think about, like,
He's out of the
kill
fight
back
already,
on
though.
Shaw.
He wasn't able to do much before being
So-
forced out.
Yeah, there's been good play.
Big
of
coach
that
gun
player.
coming from
Leonid
Shockwave there.
Forced the quick immortality field. Yeah, Slay had to drop immortality. Naga and Doge both low.
They are
Naga's
losing a
still under
lot
pressure.
of their
Wants to
abilities
into
here, though.
position here.
It's looking really good for Great
Naga's
Britain.
still under pressure. Goes down.
Denmark's used a lot of
Kai
their abilities to
finishes off
help
an
keep
overclock
themselves
shot.
up.
Still real
Oh
good
yeah,
position.
everybody's low. They're done
Looking
for.
a little
Great
bit more.
Britain's
Maimon
winning this
finds
fight.
Doge, and
Gonna be
Great
able to get
Britain
some
fights
pushing.
right back.
And I will say, I think it's going to be
Yeah, they
pretty.
will be able to in full reset. now from
Denmark
Denmark.
is
Now,
definitely
always the
going to have
question
to
is,
take
are they gonna
the
be
fight
in a
around
good
the
enough
corner
position to
here.
fight
It's going to be
before
really hard
38
for them to be
meters?
able to win this, I
believe
think.
So, I mean, the bot moves pretty slowly
Because
here, and at the
Great
very
Britain
least,
has a
you can
lot
shut
to
Bob
get
off.
out of Naga's Blizzard,
I like
and you're
Denmark's
kind of
position
relying a
here.
lot
I
on
mean, the
Naga's
number one
Blizzard.
thing
I
is
mean,
with
sure you can use Bob
Right.
and everything,
That is
but
probably the key factor here. Bob
I don't know what Bob would really be able to do
Well,
much
I think
against this
number one
comp.
thing is to not use 2 ultimates here. Like, you either want to use Blizzard or Annihilation, not both.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Meanwhile,
Okay,
Astro-
Denmark has all of their
So
ults
Jakaru
now.
got so low. How did he not use Primal? The ball, like, just absolute presence on Jakaru as Backbone. Finds Shockwave. Bob's already out here. Denmark can still drop.
How was he able to
Blizzard.
stay alive? What?
This is.
Oh, I guess his Ana could see him.
Denmark's hanging in there despite the early pick off Great Britain, though. They
Oh, Jakaru was trying to stop the beat from coming out.
In here. Denmark
Big!
banking. They might not get much in return. Maimon doesn't care. Takes down Doge. And
That's
Blizzard was up there in the
crazy.
fight head.
That was a
That went
crazy
as fast as it
fight.
could go.
God,
Denmark
these
used
two teams
absolutely
are
everything
so
that they
good,
had.
chat.
I mean, just
They're
look at the
so good
simulated
and
numbers
so
they had,
entertaining to
ultimates, and they still don't win
watch.
the fight. Great Britain used
Oh,
ultimates
they're
a little bit earlier,
crazy.
but only a couple of them, and they're gonna win this fight. They're gonna take control and get some good.
Denmark's ult
yardage here.
economy is
Now the
way
question
down,
for
though.
Denmark,
Great
how
Britain
do you think
wins
they can-
this.
Can they even stall to stop forward spawns?
Right now it's looking rough.
The fact
Jakaru
that
gets Nano
Britain
early.
was able to
Maimon
win that,
again
even though Denmark
finds a
committed
pick.
so much
Maimon
into
has
the
been
fight, is
playing out
crazy.
of their minds right now as Naga finds Astro a little bit early here, but the rest of it is going all
Yeah.
in favor
Great
of
Britain wins
Britain.
this.
A really nice engage by Jakaru, and
They had
they're not
the
stopping
ult
here. This is
economy.
where just lethal
Denmark
damage can be done in push, where it
is
can
still
disappear back
down.
after.
There just hasn't been
On
enough
ults.
peel in the
Kai
back
still
ends,
has the
for
overclock,
Denmark.
which
Like,
they could do
Kelix and
something
Slayer kinda
with.
just getting
If
bopped
they
on, and
decide
that's why
to.
Slay's gonna switch,
They could
so at
still
least,
keep
like,
pushing
there's
this.
some survivability there with the coalescent, but Maimon has
know.
just been back there causing all sorts of havoc. Also, like, the Winston can always go support
So-
that. Meanwhile, like, Doge is just hanging out in front of the cart trying to 1v1 the Winston, and Winston can just choose
I think
to,
that the
like, yeah, I'm
Reaper
outta here. I'm
Sombra
gonna
swap's
go help
good.
and kill the back line, and that's what's happened a couple
That's good.
times.
I like this
Denmark
comp that they're
tough
running
spot.
now. I
Great
like this
Britain
comp that
coming out with
Denmark's
some
running a
excellent
bit
play
more now.
Here thus far.
It
As
makes
Kai
it-
strikes!
It makes a bit more
Just
sense.
lands it onto Kellex.
Oh, yeah, there
and
goes the
that could
overclock.
be a
It's
backbreaker.
just
The
that ult
Denmark
economy.
aim on piles
It's just that
on,
ult economy.
gets
Not
the
much you can
post-bump
do about
stick
that.
onto the tank. And guess what, Hex? We're adding on.
Sojourner's
even
able to
more
back
progress
up,
for Great
make
Britain.
it hard for you to
Yeah,
get
and
to
the
her,
forward spawns are gonna be
and
really
then just
hard to
use her
overcome.
ult,
This
which
map
is just
so momentum-based.
consistent.
I mean, we have seen a couple
consistent,
of different
easy
instances of
damage.
teams bring it back.
And it's
from
like,
about
well,
80 to,
she forces you into
80
a
plus
bad
meters,
position.
but
And it's like, if you're not being
man,
damaged by
it looks like
her,
Denmark's
you're
in a
being
rough spot.
damaged and
Plenty of
pressured
time
by the
left,
rest of
though,
her
4.5
team.
minutes.
So
It is a lot of time, but it is a long
just rough to
way
do.
go, especially
Just
when
rough to
Denmark
do.
does
You
not
know,
wanna
it's
fight
hard to go in
while
because she's gonna wait for you to go in to
already
use her
another primal
overclock. She's
ready
not just gonna
to
like
go.
use it whenever you're out of
Open
the
out here from
fight,
Slade.
right?
Jacaro, though, goes, "Let's
She's
rough
gonna
this a
wait
little
for you to
bit."
go in.
Remember?
But once you go in,
Push it.
Yeah, Doge just
and she uses it,
shooting.
there's
and,
not really much you can do.
Jacaro doesn't use it probably here.
especially whenever you
But
take
as
it in
they
the
say
middle
that,
there, like
Kai,
Great Britain was able to
just a
do. They
quick
just
little
backed it
flick
up,
on the
took
Kellex.
the fight in the middle there for the
Stops
overclock.
from being
Really
around,
smart
but
decision on their
Denmark
behalf.
takes progress
And
back
they were
the
able to
other
win
way.
that, get some more progress.
Yep.
But, you know, they have the backup now. They do have forward spawn though, so they're going to be able to take this fight again,
Just a
and
little
they
bit.
still
I
have
mean,
ult advantage
Slippery
again.
Princeton probably
Denmark
gonna
is coming up
allow
on a
for
ton of
some heal
ults
from
right
his
now,
backline at
but
very
Great
least
Britain
too, so
has
that
all of those
Princeton's a
ultimates to
little less
engage
hesitant
with,
to go
right?
join
They
the
don't just
fray.
have those
EMP,
ultimates
don't
charging.
get Astro.
They weren't
Yeah,
able to do
Astro's
much with the
gonna
EMP,
walk out
and they
the
lose
top of the field right
Doge.
after.
That's bad.
Denmark's
Okay,
a little bit forced
Denmark
out,
lost Kai though.
down right away. This could work out in well for Denmark, but the
Well, no, I
throw
meant
from
Great Britain.
backbone
Great Britain lost Kai.
is
Ooh,
massive.
big. Okay,
Sets
they
up another
still
dual nation
such
saga,
an
though. It's not
expensive
over.
fight.
That's
They
awesome
still
into
use
the
so
backline.
many
Getting
ults.
very scrappy between both teams right now. Denmark still in control.
And
of
Great
the map, though
Britain
not
still
anymore.
seems to be winning.
Caro goes right back over. Shockwave.
And they
backs
win
out,
it.
and that
That's
works out for
crazy.
Great Britain.
Denmark committed so much
Yeah,
to that. They're still going to have the
kinda
Annihilation
sets
in
up
this
that
fight, and
primal,
Great Britain's
you know, I
not
think,
close
yeah,
to
knowing it's a
any of their
one-on-one
ults,
with
so the
Sombra and
Annihilation
Primal
should be
and
pretty
Infinite is kind
free.
of smart because at least
If
you're gonna
they
have
use
the
it right.
health buff to be able to like live through the hack,
But
and then
still.
be able to have the mobility. So
Astro.
an interesting little exchange.
Astro just got caught, could not slide away from that. Again, gives Denmark.
Okay,
a
Denmark
5v4.
Denmark has the advantage here. They're coming
Huge
back.
for Denmark, you want to do this with as few ultimates as possible. Annihilation. Doesn't matter.
We were just standing
annihilates
there.
Backbone immediately takes down Jakaru right after, and this is Denmark coming from behind. It's what you have to do here on push Hex if you want to make up the sword deficit.
Yeah, Maimon does get a nice kill in the back though. It takes out Slay. So now the only healer on this field right now is Kellex. There's not a payload, so no heal from the Bob.
Astro's down again. He just got caught.
Big
And
ult from
again,
Kai,
Great
fishing
Britain
out the
has to keep
damage.
fighting
Ooh, she
these
need-
fights without Astro. Kai
Yeah, I gotta hit
shooting
those
here on the
shots.
overclock. Maimon was able to
You gotta
get
hit those
two.
shots if you want to win
Covering
those
fire
fights.
Kai.
Unlucky.
But
Just didn't
Denmark's
have the
still pushing
most
here, and
mechanical
using it
moment
was
ever.
Rose toughest Slay. The last little bit of coal finds Kai, and this is coming down to the wire.
Shockwave needs to be careful with how they use the ult here. I think they need to use it on the back line instead of using it on the monkey, because if they use it on the monkey, they're just going to name the monkey. Make it useless. So.
Here we go. Both teams setting up here once more.
Oh, they're starting with the
Early
monkey.
Nano on the Jakaru.
Okay.
Be moving forward, looking for Kellex.
Oh,
Really
Slay's
close to
gone.
Primal. Kai just pops one on the
Yep.
Kellex right after. 2 down. And now let
They
Jakaru
win that.
save the Primal here. Easy
Win that
cleanup
big
for
time.
the rest. With a minute 30 left, though, I mean, Denmark has kept themselves in it here, Hex.
In it, but by the time this bot pushes
There we go.
forward far enough, they might be in a position where they have to win 2 fights in a row. Which
This
can be
fight's looking
difficult
pretty
because I
even
think
here. It
Jakaru's
could
gonna
literally, it could
really
go either
stall
way,
out in that fight
honestly.
At the very least.
It
There's
could go
also
either
a
way.
beat. Kellex dying before he got beat off there.
Astro's gonna have
Last
the
fight
beat
is-
soon,
is
but
a
they do
little
have
bit tough for them.
EMP.
In
response
yeah,
to
we're gonna
that,
see
so-
that.
Kai's down.
Oh, going straight for the back line.
Whoa, that's a good opener.
They call that hit on Kai, and they're going for Astro right after, where Shockwave, for the most part, just chasing Astro down to and fro. Now, looking for backbone, a little bit of pressure. Naga punishes
Ooh.
Jakaru, and there won't be that stall on the point.
There they
A
go.
little bit of sleep in the back.
That's
Don't
what
know if it's
Denmark
able to be
needed.
punished as
That's what Denmark
Kellex
needed.
comes alive.
Great Britain.
And for being behind early, this
Be
is
more
all Denmark can hope
cohesive.
for to
What's
finish it out.
happening to
It really
them?
does come down, Hex, to this one fight.
What's happening to
EMP,
them?
Death Blossom, and
Where'd all the
Annihilation is actually looking
teamwork
really
go?
good for Denmark if they can get these off in time.
Their
There's
backline was
only
cut off
really small
alone.
ultimates for Great
They were
Britain.
just
Maybe Kai can
caught
get to the
alone.
ultimate and get some
And they got
damage in.
destroyed because of it.
All right.
Big
Here they go.
EMP.
Out here early from Shockwave. A big bounty from from Backbone at the same time. Kelix goes down for
Ooh.
the 4. Jakaro super low.
That was really rough looking. It's still salvageable from Great Britain. It's still salvageable. Close to Nano as well.
The lead.
That's big.
They could engage
Because
with
Marcus
Nano
might,
here.
at the very least, Great Britain now, the ones under pressure. Slay with the cold finds Backbone. Denmark has nearly brought this thing back.
Oh, the
Kai
Backbone died
gone.
with Nano.
Jakaru out. Overtime ticking down.
Denmark
It's a victory
wins
death watch
it.
as Denmark strikes blood against Great Britain. Maimon, a little
That's actually
in the
crazy.
end, but not enough.
That's
Overtime's
actually
done,
crazy.
And so is Great Britain as Denmark takes the series.
Just some really
Denmark
great EMPs
kicked
there
Great
towards the end.
Britain's
EMP
ass.
coordination and the hack
Good
court.
job there. Denmark did really good there. Denmark did really good there. They made their comp look so much better than Great Britain's, and they just played as a team better. Like, they super deserved that win. That was a good one on their part. So anyway, we watched that match, chat. We can now go back to here and wait till the coverage continues. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I'm pulling it up, chat.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got Dalka from Team Brazil here, the tank that we just saw.
Yo, let's
Absolutely
go.
owning
Dalka
it
from
with the
Team
server.
Brazil.
Dalka, congratulations on your 2-0. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much, Ash. I'm really happy that we could display like some Brazilian Overwatch for everybody. And
Canada versus US. Let's go, chat. I'm super excited about this match.
That's really awesome. You guys definitely.
The US
showed your
roster is
stuff, and
stacked.
I was actually wondering, how does it feel being back on a team with Naya and Ludwig, considering that you guys have had such a history together, and obviously rounding out with the other players?
Let's see what
it's
Taco's
really nice
doing.
because I could meet like some of my idols that motivated me, like Honorato and Neil that played like a long time ago and on the World Cups past. And from Ludwig and Neo, it was like they're like family, you know. So I played with Neo.
Stop it. I don't
since
want to
my
listen to
first
two
team.
with me.
So it's really nice to have the like people
That was
I
super
really care
sick.
about to play with me on the Brazilian team.
That's awesome. And actually, one of our
Oh, Taco's
one of
offline.
our casters, Dustin, was curious about what you've actually been up to since Contenders has been offline and that off season and whatnot right now.
So I actually I tried college for like game design, but then it wasn't my thing, and now I'm doing some programming stuff.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, hopefully we can like keep our thing going, you know, and prove that we deserve to have some more space in the community here, and that's why we're here for. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Absolutely love that. Representing your nation as well, right? And also
Yeah, sure.
having the opportunity to play up against some other regions, some other countries as well. But
Dalka.
on this Diva pick,
They
I
don't.
want
They
you
don't
to
have
maybe
Diva
tell
in
me
the
a
mech.
little
They
bit
just have the
about
mech.
what was going on in the comms for you guys within this series. It was a 2-0. Brazil looked really, really strong, and unfortunately, at least
I'd
for the
say
side
that
of Chile,
out of
they
Mech
were
Diva is more
struggling a
important
little
than in
bit
Mech Diva,
about
but
pace
whatever, I
with their
guess.
Synergy. Do you mind breaking down how you guys were able to like kind of pick that apart?
So it's all about like setting up our backline. So the diva is good for rotating, and that's all our comms. Like we make sure like Excel and Nio are like good to play, you know. And then that Ludwig is doing his thing. He's been moving cards, and it all really just connected well. We could rotate, we could get our spatials right, and then we could get the pickoffs, fortunately, and the nades as well that didn't
Yeah.
come in.
Everything falls into place and whatnot, and great comms
Yeah,
through
yeah.
it, right? Yeah. Keeping the energy high in the game as well with each other. Are you guys like,
Yeah.
very chaotic in your comms?
Yeah, we're very,
Yeah.
we're so much chaotic. We have like some energetic players that like to shout a
Yeah.
lot, so it's like I don't know, like controlled chaos. I like to think.
That's awesome because that's like you get to just keep that energy high and keep that
the
going.
the
like,
diva
and
picture's a
try
little
to keep that
crusty as well,
momentum, right?
chat.
But another question that I had for you was that I know that you said that you're really excited to play against Peru.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about that maybe rivalry that's brewing there?
Yeah, I mean, I really like some of the Peru players. We like are friends, so I would consider like
Okay.
a good rematch. You know, it's not like a rivalry, as I want them. I want to see them succeed,
Hmm.
but it would be tough, like seeing their past match of against Colombia. I think they do have a shot, but they have to put some work win in. Sorry, and I'm rooting for them.
Well, that's really sweet and really awesome, Dalka. I mean, that's less of a rivalry, more of a rooting for the homies and wanting to kind of face off against each other kind of vibe for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you guys do get the opportunity to make it to the World Cup LAN here, as far as
Scratchy
the
back.
other regions goes, do you have an eye on a specific country that you want to face up against there?
I don't think like specifically. I really wanted to play like the Korean and the Chinese.
Hmm.
Korean and
Especially,
Chinese
I know they're
teams.
pretty good, and
Yeah.
They're
it would be
really
to,
good.
like learn from like that experience. You know, it would be a one kind like an opportunity that you cannot take for granted. You know.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I just want to say one more thing.
Hmm.
I would like to say that our roster is unshakable, as we like to say, is
Okay.
inabalable, and so we're gonna keep that going.
I love that. I love the confidence that you guys are bringing into this. But
There they go.
before we go to a quick break and whatnot, I wanted to give you this opportunity, Dalka, to be able to give any shout outs or thank yous before we send off.
Yeah, sure. I want to thank my whole team, the coach Honorato, Neil, the other tank that we could play together, like both MVPs. Pretty good tank line. And I would like to thank my mom,
Good tank
and my
line, yeah.
girlfriend Amanda, and my grandma that is watching from home. I hope that she's fine because she usually gets really nervous when I play. I have to take
Aw.
like some meds, so I hope she's doing well.
Okay, well that's so sweet. Thank you so much, Dalka, for taking the time to do this interview.
Yeah, I
GG's
always
on your
wonder what
2-0
it's like
and
to
good luck
like
for the rest of the
play and
games that you
things
have
like these and
coming
have your
up.
family
Thank
For
you.
watch, you
everybody-
know?
Oh, yeah.
That's that's
Thank you
what
so
I've always
much.
wondered, like,
Good work,
No,
guys.
of course.
if I were to get into
And
these
for
things,
everyone else
like,
at home, we're
would
just
my
gonna
family
send
watch
to a
and what
quick
would
little
they
break before we come up with
think?
our third matchup of the day. So you guys stay tuned for one of the most anticipated ones early on in the Overwatch World Cup, Canada versus USA.
I'm so excited for the Canada unfortunate, but I'll be able to see all of Sunday. Yeah. Here we go, chat. Getting back into it. Ooh. Gonna stretch. I've been sitting down for a while recently.
This is the match that you've all been waiting for. We've got Team Canada versus USA coming in hot here for match number 3 of the day.
USA!
Moxie.
USA!
I mean,
USA!
I feel like these squads barely even need an introduction.
Well, they're gonna get one, and it's going to be absolutely star-studded because, I mean, these rosters are just, they're absolutely stacked. So many players coming in from Overwatch League. We have 4 Vancouver Titans free playing, one behind the scenes, given that Chibi is actually tied to Vancouver Titans
absolutely
as well. She's going for Team Canada
insane
this time around, so she's having to play up against 2 of her players. We've got Sugar Free coming through as well. I mean, Sugar Free has just been such an exceptional storyline for Overwatch as a whole.
This is going to be an insane match, chat. It's going to be so cool to see.
Young to be able to go into Overwatch League at the time. Then
Here we go.
League
Let's get it.
Being lowered by a year, so
Let's get it.
Immediately gets picked up in an absolute pitting frenzy to Vancouver Titans, and now he's going to be playing for Team USA. So in the space of 1 year, he gets to tick both Overwatch League and the World Cup off at the exact same time.
Okay, let's get these rosters. Let's see who's going to be playing first match first of all. Let's see who's going to be playing first match. I want to see Super so bad. I want to see Super. But the other tank, I think, is
Team USA, but I think the depth of this roster is definitely greatly overstated. I think that
let's see
in this tournament, especially a decisive win over Canada could mean a lot for them. But honestly,
America,
on Canada's side, they're not too far behind the ball here. They have some very good
Kaluge, Super and Kaluge is your tank lineup. Like what the fuck?
Overwatch League in itself.
Look at this lineup. Look at how many Overwatch League characters are in this.
Backline with Crimzo still a very fantastic flex support. False on the tank as well, has that flexibility.
Okay, Noxious Seeker, False, Crimzo, Cal. Okay, big, good lineup.
Strongest in the lobby.
Let's see if they're. Let's see if US is that going to be able to go up against the USA's lineup though.
Moxie, I feel like we already know that this is one of the most anticipated matches, especially for a day 1 match to be coming through. But I need to know, what are the stakes in your opinion? I need set the tale to be told here between Team Canada and Team USA.
Dustin's already raised one storyline, which is USA, obviously.
I'm excited to see the US's lineup. Who's going to be in it?
That have been picked up to this roster. So a decisive win over Canada is immediately going to be able to silence all of that and boost so much confidence and morale. But for Canada, it's personal.
Ooh.
They're playing for Team Canada and they're going to play up against Toronto Defiance players.
This is crazy. Kaluge, Aspire, Hydron, Ultraviolet, RuPaul.
Absolute giants in Group A.
Jesus, goddamn.
But if
I was hoping to see the Super just because I love Super.
Canada becomes that main team to beat.
Super's obviously such an amazing player,
and
and
a little bit vulnerable
on top of that, like,
and teams below as well. But I mean, look at this roster.
So like flexible.
Performances from some of them in mid-season madness. RuPaul was an absolute monster a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, RuPaul's insane. Aspire as well, both coming up into the starting lineup. I mean, that's a big deal for this team. To run double flex support is one of the... It's a hard transition to make, right? It depends on the meta, obviously, but to have that flex over the Lucio...
Starting off with Ilios.
Choice at points for Team USA, though. I think that they can maybe at times carry through the defense.
Chad, I think USA wins this.
Backline, just overall mechanical prowess.
I think that's what's going to happen. It's pretty interesting to see that, like,
such an exciting series.
The coach to Vancouver Titans is like now the person who's going up against the the players that they coach, which is really cool to see. That's funny.
Between Team Canada and Team USA. Again, like Moxie mentioned, a lot of weight on this USA squad, being the reigning defenders here of the Overwatch World Cup back in 2019, but it's a fresh new look, right? 4 years later, fast forwarding into Overwatch 2 as well. So a different game when it comes down to it. Just whittling down.
Yeah,
from
I think
6
USA's got this
to
for sure.
5 players on a roster in a server. But Moxie, with this map pick, what can you tell me about Team Canada and Team USA and what you anticipate to see actually coming out here for their team compositions?
Well, I mean, I'm just really excited to see what these teams have cooked up because, I mean, we talked about players. We also have to acknowledge that the team behind these players is also absolutely stacked. USA coming with Gator, the main coach previously for Atlanta Reign, who just walked away with a win in mid-season madness itself.
Yeah.
Canada, they've got Danny, the current coach.
Gator,
working
also a
just
crazy
as
player.
TPT as well. An assistant coach who used to be the assistant coach for Dallas Fuel, as well as SNR.
What's Canada's lineup?
Previously for
Oh, I got rid of the
Trick
tab.
Room,
Whatever. We don't
remember
need to
Trick
see
Room
chat.
from the Overwatch League Pro
We don't
Am.
need to see.
One of our teams who were able to, from contenders, take down San Francisco Shark.
All right, well, let's obviously get into this, Moxie. And I think that we don't even have to say much about this matchup, like you said. As we leave Ash behind, we move into Ilios. Ruins will be the first map in such an exciting, anticipated matchup, Moxie.
Oh, I'm just so looking forward to seeing these two go head-to-head. Sugar-free on the sim, going to be swapping most likely over towards that Tracer, just using it for the team to get out of spawn and touch that point
Here we
a little
go.
bit faster. Because it's going to be dive, but Canada
Magic
actually building
meatball.
pulse on that Junker Queen. So this is nerf Junker Queen, but you still have a lot of sustainability. Still play incredibly aggressively onto USA.
Yeah, I think that for her individually, for sure, that may
God,
have a
these
lot of
lineups
change,
are
but
so
Blue
crazy.
Coming from that right side, going for that pokey meat.
You can already tell by how everybody's playing that this is just like, this is, these players are just like of a particular tier, and that is fucking god tier.
Sugar-free, dealing with Seeker towards the point, has to recall actually, but still has Tracer Blink to avoid the incoming damage, but goes all the way down to 1 HP to barely escape with his life. Point still not in their
Yeah, I think that the pick of
for anybody
Kaluge
to
over
take.
Super
USA
in this
drops down
situation
towards
makes a
that
lot of
point,
sense.
touched it last second, and Hydrant looking for those shots over the top, drops the dynamite, but false with an axe to Kaluge's face will find him on that engage. They're still nice and healthy. They still have the members here.
This
that are
is
doing
crazy.
quite well for Canada. They take control of that point and push Team USA.
Yeah,
back to their
losing
spawn.
Kaluge there, they have to get out, but
they
didn't lose anybody else.
All of this damage coming through from Noxus.
Ooh, those were
And
good
as a result,
shots.
USA
Those were
have
good
back
shots
up
on
spending
Obnoxious
the
too.
first cap, and now it becomes sustainability, something that Junker Queen, Lucio, and Kiriko are so known for.
What an interesting difference that we have seen without the Widowmaker instead of Ash, right? These Ashes go up, but no one-shot, just getting damage in the backline. Meanwhile, Bob towards that point to zone, also with a nano boost.
Big anti. They kind of ignore the Bob, but Bob is taking point. Big kill. Kaluge is still alive. This is, okay, there we go. US is point now.
Yeah, beat drop unfortunately too late.
US's
to
point
fall.
now.
Again, without that tank, you just don't have the means of being able to hold your ground, especially against Hydron's Bob, who was capping that point as the fight went through. Now we're going to see the Widowmaker come out just momentarily, however, as USA were getting pretty close.
Are they gonna go for the, ooh, they used to do, they can go for the stick.
For the Tracer, Sugarfree's got that Possum built up and just playing bodyguard, not allowing counter free entry with this Possum coming through, doesn't stick. And Crimzo in the meantime actually learns the kunai to take Hydron down, and that means that counter can group
Did
up
the
and
Tracer
down
not hear or see them use Suzu? Is that why she wanted to do that? Because she could have easily hit that, well, I don't know, I don't want to say easily, but she could have hit Crimzo. Oh, Crimzo had TP, that's why. Okay, yeah, smart.
Towards that point, eventually RuPaul loses his life because of it, but Hydra still on the outside, has Kaluge as well. Without Pulse in the fight, Canada
Kaluge is just a little bit better with that jump. Okay, it doesn't matter, Magic Meatball dead anyway.
Kaluge is there to help with that
Got the point again.
They actually reclaim that point at 40%.
USA's been having good rotations. You can tell that just, oh my god, both of these teams just have amazing players. This is so crazy! Can you imagine being a part of either of these lineups? Oh my god. If I was a part of either Team Canada or Team USA, I would feel like I was holding them back big time. But I guess I could say that about any team. I would say it especially for these teams.
Ooh,
big Suzu on the false. False almost died there. That was rough.
Yikes!
Seeker's gone.
Cost him his life because he had to recall during it. Ultraviolet, nice shots from him. Canada have rotated towards that point with about 80%. To it being fully capped, they commit the Kitsune rush here first to sustain false in this fight. Keep that
Kaluj has been doing an incredibly good job of getting out whenever he's in danger.
Still has the full slum as well. Team USA was in control of that point, but they opt to back out for now.
Yeah, they have the percentage to justify this decision as well. And they got the kill on Magic Mate Ball. Hydron has been incredibly oppressive on this Ashe. Not to say that Noxious's Ashe is bad or anything, but I think that Hydron's been doing so much better on the Ashe than Noxious. But, you know, that is partly due to how incredibly well Team USA has been at maintaining space and making it so that, like, if anybody wants to get to Hydron or any part of the back line, they have to go to extreme lengths to do so.
Comes back onto Seeker, who had to touch the point to stop overtime. Mateball now commits the beat drop as well.
Noxious dead.
Noxious goes low. Will fall to Kaluj.
Crazy stuff.
For the entire map, and hits absolutely nobody as Kaluj
Deaded.
and the rest of
Oh
Team USA
my
collapse on
god.
Canada, bringing it
That's
up in the
actually
round.
insane.
No, I'm gonna start a petition that we rename overtime to Lenny time. Because Sugar Free just absolutely dominated.
Yeah, that was
fight
crazy.
1v1. Just being able to find those really good blinks of the mobility, keep that point in control, force False to have to go all the way around into the backline alone on this solo mission, with that Rampage finally being invested, having held on to it for
Really,
so
really,
long.
really good
And
display
like you
from
said,
both
it
teams,
finds
but USA,
absolutely
you know,
nothing,
took the
as USA
cake.
just do such a good job of picking up that point and then playing.
Why do they always
the
zoom
high
in on
ground
the
and just
headshots
failing,
like
but no one gets
that?
caught out by the JQ.
I don't like that. It
So
freaks me
smart
out.
by Team USA overall.
It makes me
Fantastic
feel
teamwork
weird.
from them to avoid False and make him look stupid in that fight. Honestly, great work.
Make it look
And
stupid.
then now into the second map, Moxie. You know, I'm curious if they stick with the same thing because, you know, obviously we know there's other maps here, like this one in particular, at in Lighthouse, where the Ashe does well, but they opt to go over towards that Echo.
Big ante, holy shit. That was a really big ante on the Canada's back line there.
That beam burns through defense matrix.
Really big from Ultraviolet.
Really quickly if you get too close. D-mech that diva from her mech, and you can see the poke coming through from the USA, but Canada, with numbers advantage, should be able to pick up the point first.
Noxious, maybe without that Ashe having to duel him on the backside, could find some work, but it's anti-grenaded and
Ooh.
chased down by Hydra.
Ooh, that-
With that beam,
God,
damage for
USA
Canada,
so coordinated.
immediately wiped.
Oh,
Seeker and False just backing in.
that was a
Does get the
brutal
right ball,
fight.
straight back
Canada
to
got
but
shredded.
the mech as USA flipped that point back in their favor.
Yeah, Echo is just so strong in this
That was
composition. Dive is all
brutal.
about playing off of heroes whose health bar is low enough, and Echo, even without the Mercy Pocket, has the means of being able to chunk those health bars so low that literally a Winston or Tracer sending any.
Are we
type of
looking on the
damage
ult
that way
game?
is immediately
USA's
bowled
leading
from
in ult
over. And because you don't need the Mercy damage
charge.
boost from the Echo, you don't have to sacrifice
Diva
one of
is
your
pretty
support
close to her
vulnerability for it.
bomb,
USA
but
can take that
you
point
know,
percentage advantage.
not really much you can
Although
do
there
with
is still a
that.
long way to go on this map. Noxious and the rest of his team
Like, you
rotate towards
can
that
do
point.
things
Actually,
with
he
it,
holds the high
but
ground. Now dove on by
you'll
the
be
Winston,
lucky
but
if you get a
Seeker
kill
to find that
with
pulse
bomb.
early on to Rapal. Nate did come out of Noxious to slow him down on that push, so they can come back and
Easily
deal with
one
it,
of the
but
worst
Canada off of
ultimates
a
in the game.
fantastic pull from Seeker, reclaim that point before Hydra could even touch, and an Nano boost from Kaluj was committed from USA as well, even though they're down in this fight. Kaluj trying to find some more value, will go inside.
Kaluj is going for it. Oh!
Just at the last second before
He chose
the
not to-
ancient
he
grenade
chose
could
not to
find
go for
his
it
life,
completely.
jump back towards
Big
the point,
stick.
from Hydra to try to equalize it, and it does. Sugar Free also copied the in as well to continue their push. USA
This
has
is
rotated all
crazy.
the way back around to the point as Trimzo is gone. That's a lot of the healing gone for Canada. False can't even die in the point to make sure his Diva Bomb gets back.
Hydron preferred to die
onto False and Baby
to
Diva
make sure that
and
False
dies
died
for the kill.
instead of,
That's
like,
really
you know,
what
getting
Team
out.
USA
That's
have the
crazy.
advantage.
Canada do have that bomb, however, to try and send onto point to find that flip as fast as possible, because USA are going to be playing into
That's actually
Naples
crazy.
in this next fight, but with the ultimate advantage, Canada should come out on top Noxious doing everything he can to try and shut this up.
These antis from Ultraviolet, holy shit.
USA can literally just rubber band this fight. They can wait until
Good
the
disengage.
round is gone and pull
Good
back the point.
disengage from USA.
Tried to, but it
Oh,
was
they
such a
die.
great
They die,
disengagement
though.
from Canada
That's it.
to make sure that Sugar Free was taken out. RuPaul
It'd be
also
very
committed
hard for
his
them to
own
win
rally in
that.
fight too. USA
They're
still has
committing?
full control, want to maintain it even though they're down in this fight. On to Kalush, looking for that backline, but is going to back out of there. Maybe
Okay.
a bit of miscommunication potentially because now they don't have both support ultimates and are even with Canada.
Yeah, they don't have the nano boost crucially to send on to Kalush to be
Yeah.
able to hypercharge up
Ult
to
game
that
looking
final
a little
and take
dry
the
on
fight
both
to the point where
teams,
Prime
so
was
this
at
is
its
going to be a
most
pretty
dangerous,
even
pushing those
mid-fight.
players towards those edges. As Canada now
Hydron
can
has to
literally
build
just
up
jump
pulls.
on these dive targets, making sure that USA do not get the opportunity to play off of Sugar Free's damage, but Seeker goes too aggressive
kill.
and gets traded.
I mean,
Really big
notice-
kill.
Notice who to focus here. Seeker on that back line, trying to play towards the Mega Health Pack, but unfortunately chased down by Sugar Free and the rest of Team USA. Meanwhile, Sugar Free, the target of Canada.
Sugar Free's
in this
Echo has
fight,
been
needs to be
crazy.
Also on to False, who loses the mech.
They
And then you
choose
look
the
at group of
Ashe.
Team USA, Canada surely are going to start backing up. They still have the
I
Baby
think that's
Diva
a
here.
good
Crimzo
choice.
also has found Sugar Free in a trade.
I think that's a
but
good
Hydra
choice.
eventually finds the Baby Diva of False. Mateball also gets staggered as well.
That's going to be so annoying for Canada to deal with. Staggered of your Baby Diva and your Brigida, and now potentially Noxious too. Oh no, here it is.
Hydron was going straight for the Ana.
For the interception.
USA
As
wins.
USA
That was
are going to be
crazy.
able to, in a pretty dominant style, take the first map between these two teams. And honestly, Dustin, I was not expecting it to be that decisive between these two.
No, at points, you know, Toronto, what the heck? I was starting to call them Toronto because of Team USA, but, you know, at time, Canada did look solid, but, you know, obviously USA overall just had the control, had the tempo, but it's still an enthralling series regardless. I think that Canada could still have their win conditions on the upcoming maps. Obviously, you know, I hate to be that guy, but Seeker on Tracer, I don't know if that's the play, Moxie. Like, what do you think? Like, it just feels like Seeker on Tracer is the focus of Team USA. They keep hunting him down, and it's been relatively difficult. We'll have to gauge your thoughts with Ash here as we bring back our lovely host.
Ooh, okay. Team USA, like you said, a very dominant showing here for this first matchup.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
There's not a fire lit under them, right, Moxie?
Obviously,
That's
Team
that
Canada
people
looks
have been
really,
down on
really
those
good,
Team
but
USA
Team
stunts.
USA
They need to
is
start
like
off
of
with
a
this
different
strong showing
caliber.
to prove everyone wrong.
Team USA is
I mean,
an
I think they've done
amazing
that.
team.
You look at that performance, you look at that first round of Ruins, False didn't get to use Rampage, literally until the very last fight on that map because of just how well they're able to play that macro, the fact that they're able to take control of that
Yeah,
point,
False were
and
able.
then
If
even
False
though
were
some
use
of them should
like
be vulnerable when
Rampage
the
on
competition gets
anyone,
close, they always
like,
make sure that the point of
they could just get
contact
out.
in those engagements is Kalush, and he has the means of being able to absorb the damage, jump back to his Ana, even change that as well into nano charge so that you always have your Ana ultimate up and have the means of just sustaining on that point to absolute eternity.
Yeah, no, all really good shouts there. I mean, it's just general understanding of those timings, having that synergy coming through overall, and like you said, manipulating the map and their opponents to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
And that was what
USA was looking really, really
and
strong there.
It is kind of scary for Team Canada, I think. Going into
Honestly,
the second map, again, it's only a best of 3 series.
A little
so
unstoppable.
not a lot of opportunity to make
I don't know
that
what Canada could have
big,
done there,
big
really.
comeback happen because you don't have as many maps to work with, Dustin.
No, yeah, it's not exactly a lot to work with, but you know, these teams just want to get that qualification, right?
Yeah.
I want to
If they could at least get a
see
map
the
off
super.
of, Team USA. that'd
Hopefully
be
we
quite
get to see a
good,
super
or even
game
get the
chat.
win, obviously, but
That was a
realistically,
crazy
both
hit
these
on the
teams
root
are
ball.
quite ahead in terms of at least leading into the tournament than the other teams in their group. So this matchup really is just, like you said, a grudge match. However, it won't go that full first to 3 distance. It will be that first to 2. So obviously
Seeker.
if USA can win the next map, that'll be the end of the series. But you know, USA at points.
Yeah, I think the
overall disengage,
DPS and support lineup of Team USA is a bit better.
Hydron swap
think.
over to the Tracer, have Sugar Free play the Echo.
Honestly,
I
the
like
tank
their
lineup's better too.
overall
It's
ideology. I think the overall
it's a little hard to
Overwatch and
gauge
their
that though, just
flexibility
because I
really
think
what
that
can give them
Team
an
USA
edge over
is
Canada at the moment
they're
because
so good at
it
working
truly
against the
feels like
team.
Canada's flexibility has been
There was that
kind of
cohesion,
strained
and you
with
could
Noxious
really
and
see it
Seeker
in some
obviously
fights, like this right
overlapping in terms
here.
of hero pool.
That
Yeah,
was
that's definitely gonna make things
crazy.
difficult for
Like their
sure
whole
when you
team,
don't have
Canada's whole
the
team blew
options
up
to
there,
swap
which was
onto another
nuts.
hero to try and change things up. At least not something that is as comfortable as it normally would be for you. But overall, as a reminder to everyone at home, though, if you guys are rooting
This
for
was
Team
funny.
USA or Team
Hydron
Canada,
going for
or
that kill was
even
really
both,
funny.
the World Cup home and away skin bundles are now live. Hurry and get them before they leave the shop on June 27th. There are 3 bundles, the EMEC, APAC, and American bundles.
Yeah,
get
those
all
bundles on
away
the
skins
stream,
for
if
all
you
the
get
heroes
them,
within those
it
bundles,
contributes
and they
to
support
the...
teams directly by contributing to the World Cup prize pool. So you guys can
Yeah,
check
it helps
at
contribute to the World Cup
battle.com
prize pool,
or
so
on
if
the
you want to help
Overwatch
contribute to
2
that, you
in-game
know,
shop.
go ahead
Learn
and buy
more
those
at
skins.
overwatchworldcup.com.
I'm not gonna personally
As
do it just
I
because I can't
wrap up
afford
all
it,
of
so...
those thoughts and hype everybody up in chat for these 2 teams. Moxie, I gotta know, as far as Team Canada goes, what adjustments do they need to make right here, right now, going into match number 2?
I think the biggest concern is unfortunately not going to go away, and that's just that USA were able to keep controlling the tempo.
They need to
Players like
force
Hydron,
Kaluge out of the
always
fights
able
more,
to really
and
be
then
able
like
to
try to
just
capitalize
chase
on that, I
those
think.
straggling, disengaging players coming through from Canada's side, and make sure that Canada were forced to backs against the wall, throw in ultimates, not to be able to cycle through ultimate economy in smart ways, but to just try and save their own skins a lot of the time with things like the self-destructs, and that meant that they didn't really get to play off of each other's synergy. And the big glaring warning sign of that occurring was, like Dustin pointed out, Seeker a lot of the time would be found out because there would be no other distraction when the Tracer went in for those picks. A lot of the time when Hydron was going in for those picks, he was
Sorry if you heard a creaking noise, I didn't know it was making that noise until I like listened to it.
Being in their faces and
I was
allowing
moving
that
my
Tracer to
mic
get
stand
so much more
around.
room to breathe.
Well, we'll see if this map pick coming out from Team Canada, though, will allow them to find a bit more success on those types of plays that you were just mentioning there, Moxie. Dustin, I know that you hate that I keep throwing you into the prediction spot,
God
but
dang it,
do you think we go 1-1 here?
I think so. I think on the next map, they do. Canada has the potential to maybe swap over to Seeker.
Yes, let's see what Canada chooses here. They choose Numbani.
Where they have to play around.
I would be so pissed. I hate Numbani. I absolutely hate Numbani. But I think that makes a bit of sense in the case of Canada on the defense.
You do kind of want Seeker to probably still play that Tracer. However, at least from the outside,
I think that Team USA is just going to be stronger. I think they're going to be stronger. I think they're still going to win it.
Seeker's really the play on Tracer here compared to the likes of Sugar Free, and even at times Hydron, even though he hadn't played.
Team USA is just
feels like
they're just crazy with it. They're just crazy with it.
It does feel like USA still.
They're on a different level, chat. They're on a different level.
USA here, honestly, just because of what we've seen so far. Yeah.
Okay, Dustin ruling back that prediction, but we'll see how things do end up panning out here. Again, it is Team USA versus Canada. Right now, USA up 1-0. Dustin, Moxie, take it away.
Thank you, Ash. And yeah, I kind of thought it through, Moxie. I think that maybe if it was a King's Row, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Do you agree with me? Not on a map like Numbani?
I'm just a little bit concerned because we already saw that Canada did get tempo rushed over with the Echo, and Numbani is very much centered, point A especially, around about that Echo play. The fact that you can go around close, you can avoid a lot of that poke pressure
Unity
coming through
Plaza.
from the defense set up on high ground already, and try and drop down to either pressure the high ground and force the defenders off it, allowing your rest of your team to be able to move in the point itself and overwhelm
Oh shit,
them,
here we
or
go.
You can just go straight for the point itself and look at that point.
Right on the
percentage.
Junkrat.
But
Okay,
Canada, it's
interesting.
definitely one of their favorite maps. When I talked to Cal, he did say that Numbani was one of the aces up the team sleeves. So they've got something.
Okay, so they're really comfortable on this map. That's good for
On the
them.
other hand, probably are going to
Chat.
know that something is afoot that they're going to be running into.
This map,
They
I
just
can't
have to
handle
decide
this
how
map.
they're going
It's
to
just
do it.
so annoying.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, I guess it's slightly different. Canada. Okay. There
This is
we go.
gonna TP out of spawn. They're not gonna keep the Symmetra, I assume.
The Ash. Meanwhile, USA lock in a very similar composition to that before.
Yep.
They have a Spire
Swapping.
in the game now on Tracer and Sugar Free. on the Echo.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. The Echo, no Mercy boost. However, they have enough faith in the Echo being.
Not choosing the Mercy is an interesting choice. I don't necessarily understand that completely. I would think that the Mercy would be really good here with the Echo. Like, those damage boosted stickies would be so big. Especially considering, like, look at Canada, look at how grouped up they are.
Lenny ain't no, you know what, you know, he's a great Echo player that can play without a Mercy pocket, unlike, you know, some other regions, but doesn't need that.
Unlike some, whoa, hey now, the shade thrown at some regions.
Echo players, meanwhile, Aspire goes aggressive, forces Canada off the high ground. That's already fantastic for USA, who surely will take advantage of it.
Well, that's crazy. These players are so good. This straight up looks like an Overwatch League match. Seeker's gone. Yeah. Bad call from Seeker. Ooh! Oh my god!
With it on the backline, Crimzo removed, tries to find the Brigitte and does.
Actually insane. Team USA takes that quickly. Jesus Christ. Alright, we'll see how it goes on second and third point, because second and third point are a much different beast than first point, but I'm still feeling like the Team USA is just looking so confident, so solid. They know what they're doing. It's looking so good coming from them. And my prediction is they're gonna win, and it's gonna be over. But seriously, Canada still has like a killer lineup as well, by the way, chat. It's just that this Team USA lineup is just fucking stupid good. It's stupid good.
In the game, also building a nano, but oh my god!
It's like so good it's dumb. Crazy. Another team fight win from USA.
Look like they're not slowing down anytime soon.
So the obvious hard evidence of Nambani, however, is that it's point safe for the defense, right?
They should have died faster. Like, them not dying faster was bad.
Just early picks from your DPS. Street Space is all about momentum and tempo. We've seen that USA does.
Because they were staggered a bit. Now it's gonna take. See, now it's gonna take a second for that Diva and that
it stops for the rest of the
Tracer to come back whenever they could have already been back and touching. They still got the touch, but still, you know, it wouldn't be as close. Oh, bye false. Oh my god, this is a steamroll, chat. This is rough to watch. Holy shit.
But that's where it becomes dangerous. They're dying split, they're dying staggered. And again, the momentum is going to turn against Canada.
This is rough.
Moment, USA is not allowing any mercy. If Canada get an inch, they're going to take a mile, or I guess the American equivalent.
I love Lenny, man. I mean, this is just the shooting bodies is coming out. That's how you know we got a series on our hand with a little bit of bad blood in the water. Noxious over the right side does duel with the Spire. Meanwhile, on the inside, USA waits and lingers for their dive. Balls coming in with that rally from Cal. They want to go aggressive. Coach gun aggressive from Seeker to go towards that mini, but the shield block.
Crazy. Good kill on. Ooh. Ooh. That's such a good nano. What even happened with this health bar, chat? Can you imagine going from having broken bones to them like forming back and then breaking again? And slowly forming, like, what even happened there?
They could potentially come back into this, and Cal eventually finds Kaluj as well. Aspire drops the pulse bomb, but not to any value.
Jesus Christ.
Noxious as well, so no more Tracer, but Canada's got the full response.
They're having a lot of trouble pushing out right now. USA's gonna have to get out, though. Yeah, they have to get out now because everybody's back in the case of Team Canada. USA's coming back though. Looking pretty dry on both sides on ults right now, but they're about to have a couple. Oh my god! Just used the sleep dart on the ground too.
Everybody removed from Team Canada. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It's just Crimzo to touch, who is staying on the Ana because he knows it isn't possible. Even
Jesus. 3 minutes, 5 seconds.
In 5 seconds for Team USA.
Ouch!
Oh, Canada, oh, Canada.
Ouch.
They got rolled and smoked my dog.
That's not good for them.
I have never seen a more smart duplicate onto an enemy support. I've seen Echoes duplicate Mercies to pull off reses. I've seen enemies Echoes copy Lucios to be able to sign by when they're down in numbers. But that anti-nade was devastating. That anti-nade broke the entirety of Canada's
Yeah,
C
it was pretty
defense.
crazy.
All hinges on we have faster respawns. If we die, we're going to be able to stagger ourselves. We'll have the Bob, we'll have the nano boost, we'll be able to stall for a full regroup. They go down in one fell swing because of that nade.
Yeah.
I mean, is it
Super
fair to
true.
say that Canada's looking a bit shell-shocked at points, right? Lenny with that dunk, like you said on the copy, to really just, oh my god.
It's looking a little rough right now for Team Canada, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be really hard to come back from this one. But yeah, it's as I was saying though. I think that USA is just better. I think that the Team USA is just gonna be better on this, and I was right.
That moment where they were able to regroup and mentally reset, and USA they identified that one weakness, and they pushed.
Pushed hard. I mean, it's Raven. That's all we can say. That's all we can say.
Okay,
Like,
so
they got rolled. They got
Numbani
rolled.
is historically defensive.
Yes, yeah.
Which
exactly.
feels really weird to say, given that USA literally just full pushed with 3 minutes and 5 seconds on the bank. But
Yeah.
Canada,
Numbani's a
they
defensive
also
map,
the
and
defenders
USA just
absolutely
absolutely
motivated to be able to
obliterated
push
them.
things
So
back
this
to
is
his team.
like,
If they're able to
it's really not
overwhelm
looking good.
USA and push 3.8 incredibly quickly, they can.
And
set
Sugar
up
Free
some
knew
momentum.
where to
They can
look
have
there.
The same turnaround that USA had when they were able to break A.
You know what Team Canada's problem is? They don't have World Cup MVP XQC on their roster. Caldo is able to find RuPaul and Ultraviolet aggressive. Rico play to get those 2 opening shots, and Falls is there to find a Spire, and that was a clean take from Canada. Maybe now.
yeah, Canada doesn't have
This is their
XQC on their
opportunity.
roster.
That Kiriko is doing work. Those kunais do so much damage.
Already!
Importantly, if you get jumped on by either Sugar Free
Okay,
or
Canada did go in with the. Canada did take control, so that's big.
Just prioritizing support, staying
Hey, maybe
alive,
they're just
staying
attack.
alive,
Maybe
so
they're
they
just
can't
attack
find the
teams,
numbers
you know?
momentum that they had the previous one.
USA now regroups towards this point. Aggressive play onto Cal and Noxious at the back.
Oh lord, big antsy on the
To
Kaluge.
jump out though, they are still stopped from capping out this point. Canada is Noxious trying to take the duel with Sugar Free, but Sugar Free is well aware he might have that mechanical edge. And RuPaul
What's happening?
also gets rid of Sugar Free, or gets rid of
Big kills
Seeker,
from
and
the
Sugar
USA.
Free takes out Noxious. Cal though does trade back Aspire, but it might be too little too late. They don't have any assistance here. And Team
Nano
USA,
on the false,
they do
interesting.
Re-engage Canada does on to false, and the false bomb from Sugar Free is committed. No sleep dart.
They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose.
Canada really wants to win here and now, even though
They don't wanna
they're
lose this
down
here.
in terms of numbers. False has the deep bomb. He lost the mechs there, and they're not able to find these kills just yet. USA are still strong, still healthy on the point.
What is nobody's getting kills.
Noxious, though. What a
Canada got a kill on a Sugar Free. Noxious got a kill on a Sugar Free. That's big for Canada. RuPaul on the Cal. False on the RuPaul. Oh my god, just trading picks for picks right now. Kaluge is dead. Oh, Canada gets it. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Canada were just too spooked by that chance of having to entirely reapproach the point anew and lose players on those rotations before the fights begin. And they throw ultimates in, but
Crimzo was like, hey, I'm not false. I'm gonna nano you, and we're gonna win this fight. And they fucking won the fight.
Face coming through from USA, since Seeker is going to be set up with that Bob.
USA's looking pretty dry on ults here, and Canada's looking like they're gonna have a few. So, you know, I think that Canada's setting themselves up here to do well. And the kids of the USA, they have high ground control. That's what they have right now.
Kaluge gets naded on the front of that cart as well, so he has to back up to the rest of his team. A lot of cart space given now to Seeker, who is pushing that payload with the rest of his team. They've got that nano engage. The Canada wants it, but they're just taking this free cart space, ready to disengage USA's dive, which is surely coming in just a moment. There it is. Kaluge goes deep, already towards that side of the statue. No kills just yet. He's also anti-grenaded and is chased down, but he backs up. Now, the Bob committed from his fire. Seeker.
Big stick! Got two! Oh my god!
False also connects on to RuPaul, but Kaluge has continued USA's dominance in the kill department.
Massive, absolutely massive.
Lenny time, like you called it earlier.
False is kind of throwing a little bit. False is dead here.
Cancelled Nano boost as well. It's the classic. You go for the Ana. If you go for another squishy, the Kiriko can swift step and Suzu. Crimzo can just nano them. Go for the Ana. You can't nano yourself. It's not solo deathmatch.
Yeah,
And
true.
doing so, Canada groups up. They try and get in distance to be able to Suzu, and Crimzo goes down.
This is looking a lot closer than before, but USA's is still looking stronger. Close, Kalush. Kalush is getting really close to dying at times.
He has to regroup back to his team, but all that does is just supercharge Ultraviolet and RuPaul's ultimate economies as Canada just try and
USA's ultimate economy is
get
shooting
any
up.
time, any distance without having to go
Ooh.
Sugar-free in the back line.
Crimzo's having a rough time right now.
Ultraviolet connected 2 meters and 69, or 2.69 meters left to go. Deep bomb from
Crazy stuff.
zone to make sure they
Kalush's
capture that
monkey
payload
is something
but
else.
unfortunately, not enough follow-up damage there.
Kalush's monkey is really something else.
That payload, USA will stop yet again. Another Canada push.
Payload pretty close to that line, however, so if Seeker builds the Bob, they might be able to send it on to Cart and at least buy themselves that second checkpoint. But the problem is that they are going to have to fully reapproach that objective, and USA now get the time to be able to set up its dive once again onto Canada's left behind back line.
Tracer duel. I love Tracer duels.
He's having to just mark Sugar-Free's location and call it out to the team.
Just constantly doing with that Tracer. Seeker now is dove upon by.
Oh, Seeker!
He's all alone now.
Oh, Seeker's dead. Tracer. Oh.
With that nano boost, gets 2 in that fight.
Noxious coming out with the clutch health pack grab. But USA wins yet another fight.
Available at the moment for Canada, and not enough manpower actually as they regroup yet again towards this crime.
Sugar-Free still got that pulse bomb. Seeker's gonna have a bob, but Aspire's gonna have one pretty.
You see, in the case of Canada, it's just defending that back line is really difficult whenever you have Sugar-Free in there. And not to mention, like, Kalush can capitalize on Sugar-Free getting people low.
However, he does have to turn the back. Oh my god! The pulse bomb sticky, but Sugar-Free had that recall still available to go. And Ultraviolet was there to peel off Noxious. I mean, this back line of Ultraviolet and RuPaul has truly been amazing. The sleep darts consistently from Ultraviolet are there, and they want to continue the pressure. They're running it onto Canada at the moment, who are desperately trying to live. False trying to back off from RuPaul, who is pretty much all the way in Canada's spawn. Crimzo tries
Good eat on Crimzo's sleep, by the way.
20 seconds left to go.
That was pretty nuts.
Yeah, USA just making sure that Canada doesn't get the ability to be able to use this bomb.
Oh, I get. Sorry, I totally misread that. Sorry. Nobody ate Crimzo's sleep.
Yeah, they go from that dive already. Kalush on the top of the bus. Bob is here, though, like you said. Pauses Sugar-Free's engage, makes him back up. Bit of an awkward angle for him. Kalush now.
Kalush taking a lot of damage, but the Nano's about to have it. He's about to have the Nano. Nano coming out.
The equivalent of Torbjorn turret removes him, and
Crimzo's dead.
And the Bob gets more. That's a 3K, and the overtime ticks down. USA
Damn.
stops Canada and gets
Team USA wins. They were just that much stronger than Canada. It's crazy. Seeing Team USA, they are an unbelievably amazing team. Like, they played that so incredibly well, and they were so incredibly cohesive. What the fuck could Canada even do against them? Like, let's be real. What the fuck could Canada even do against them? That was insane.
Because if they peel for the Ana, they lose off of not tapping the objective, and they're just forced to throw themselves directly into that minefield. That is just so much damage coming through from Team USA.
I'm gonna message Taco now, chat.
When we saw that Nambani pick, but we were concerned for the wrong team. USA looked absolutely unstoppable.
Gonna message Taco.
Oh, they did. I mean, it was a 2-0 for them. And we'll bring back our host Ash to kind of let's dissect that a bit, huh, Ash?
Oh my god. That was my team. That was my team. I'm Canadian.
That's crazy.
This
Canada got
right now, but
sweeped.
overall,
Canada got
USA
absolutely
and
sweeped. That was a crazy match. I'm gonna be right back, chat. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick.
The synergy that they've had. I think that also just looking at this roster, you have duos together who play on Toronto Defiant together, on Vancouver Titans together, and I think that does add that layer of synergy that Team Canada unfortunately just didn't have. While they have star-studded players there, Moxie, they're all picked off from different star-studded teams.
Yeah, and it's got to sting just a little bit harder because one of those players who was just coming in with those struggle picks and just continuing to push you was Sugar Free, who some of those players have literally played alongside on the same team, and that goes both ways. When you're playing against someone who you normally play with on a team, they know exactly how you operate. And unfortunately for support players, they know how you position, something that Sugar Free continue to take full advantage of, because every single time we saw him, Noxious wasn't getting too aggressive into that backline. He was having to make sure that Sugar Free didn't get past, and when that one obstacle fell, it was hunting season for Crimso's head.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. And then when you flip it over towards the Team USA side as well, the picks coming out from RuPaul and UV being the Brig and the Ana, it's really nice because RuPaul allows that additional peel playing towards that backline as well alongside UV to just enable him with those sleeps that you kept calling out there. Dustin.
Yeah. I think that, like, Ultraviolet played really well. RuPaul is, well, I mean, just everybody in USA looked good. I think that was like the big question for USA coming into this was, you know, how is this backline gonna play with RuPaul in the lineup instead of, you know, having the likes of OG. And obviously, I think they've come out and they've been able to, you know, have RuPaul play incredibly aggressive with this front line, have coordinated dives. And, you know, I think that's good for a team. They played well, especially against a team like Canada, which bodes well for the future. But, man, I'm really curious to see what happens in the later stages of this World Cup when USA has to go against some of the elite talent that have those incredibly flexible hero pools.
Chat.
And
I'm
when it
back.
comes down to the side of Team
Ow.
Canada, just to flip it back over there, Moxie, I gotta know overall, what were they lacking compared to, I guess, what we were anticipating seeing from them?
Yeah, I can't, like, they weren't, like, lacking mechanically. A lot of the time, it was just they got overwhelmed on all angles, and this is something that actually USA did a very good job of. They had so much coverage. Like Dustin said, that dive was incredibly coordinated.
Yeah.
But at times,
Yeah,
it
this
didn't
was some
feel like
crazy stuff.
all of those players were going after one player specifically. It felt like all of those players were going after all of those players at the exact same time because they had just such a good.
Yeah, the dives were crazy.
Spaces, and every single time we saw that Canada would get so worried.
Ooh.
Having to reapproach points entirely, even if they were down players, they would overcommit into fights.
These
just
plays
to be
from
able to
all of
buy
these
themselves
characters were
any
just
bit of respite
unbelievable.
To be able to hold on to that ground, because the second that they had to start taking steps backwards, that opened the floodgates for USA to just surge forward from all of those different approaches and sweep through the team.
We're just basically gonna watch this until Taco's ready, chat.
That, like, you know, it's easy to scapegoat.
Whenever Taco's ready is whenever
That's
we'll
why
do
I'm gonna
stuff.
do it. I think that obviously, you know, not having a good tracer player is
Ultraviolet, such a good Ana, such a good Ana.
Incredibly talented Ashe player.
Ultraviolet's an amazing Ana, one of the
But
best
Noxious,
ever.
They couldn't control those flank angles. Sugar Free just kind of dominated Noxious or Seeker. Didn't matter who it was. And it's not that either of those players are bad. It might just be that Canada's lacking in that tracer department.
Could be. Man, Ultraviolet coming in with this team MVP here for the side of Team USA. Absolutely massive. I think what would be interesting is I wish we did have the sleep dart statistic coming up. Curious to see how many of those actually did end up landing with the amount of impact that it had on this matchup. But Moxie, I guess, of course,
Yeah.
GG's to Team USA,
Crazy stuff.
2-0. But for Team
Ultraviolet's
Canada,
antis
we
as
talked about it
well.
on Ilios about how
Ultraviolet's
they were
antis
really
were
good at just controlling that
absolutely
tempo. How do
insane.
you think
So
teams
many
move
team,
forward
like,
going
so many
forward
fight-winning
as the leader of the
anti-nades were,
Overwatch World Cup to
like,
kinda take
put
that
out there
back
and
into
stuff.
their
It was
own
crazy.
So it's actually something that Dustin brought up. Having that lack of hit scan, a lot of the time when we were seeing the previous matchups, when you have something like a Hanzo, who technically isn't a hit scan, he is projectile, but still having that zoning potential of just burst damage DPS. Ashe can be pretty decent at being able to buy yourself space with things like dynamites, but a lot of the time we were seeing that when a dynamite was exhausted, everyone from USA would just unsigned coach guns on cooldown, dynamites on cooldown, we are a go, and would just press forward, as opposed to something like the Hanzo or the Cassidy, who has that consistent damage threat that
Yeah.
can immediately just grab your head off if you approach an angle a little bit wrong. And it
Yep.
meant that USA never really had anything slowing them down. They were always able to exhaust the cooldowns and then come in when they were at full strength and their opponent was vulnerable.
Well, we'll see how Team Canada is going to be able to adapt as the Overwatch World Cup does continue on. But
Team Canada's really good, and I think that if you place them against most teams, they'll do really well, right? It's just that Team USA is just something else.
We are
Just
going to
really
say
something
a little
else.
bit of a goodbye right now, and we will be right back on the other side of this quick break.
I love these awkward looks.
We're not gonna say a quick goodbye quite yet. I'm gonna give you guys the floor really quick to actually say a few final words as you guys are saying goodbye for the day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, that's the last
I
one.
mean, this is gonna be it for me, Moxie, on the day. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Ash.
Oh no, just oh, they're gonna switch over to different
USA,
casters.
Obviously, to get that victory is a big deal for them, Moxie, and we handed 2 Overwatch the whole day, huh? So far.
Yeah, I was expecting it. I was thinking for sure we would get at least 3 maps coming through from that third matchup of the day. But like you said, USA looking absolutely unstoppable. And that is the big question now. If they're able to dispatch Canada so easily, what team is going to be able to stand in their path until we see them out of these conferences and against some of these other teams around the world?
Well, we'll have to stay tuned for that because there are a couple more games left for today where we will be introducing a new set of casters. But again, it's been a pleasure working with you guys on the desk. Moxie
New
and
casters.
Justin, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And everyone at home, we will be right back.
that basically, and it looks not fun. You're lactose intolerant? No, I didn't know that, but yeah, that makes sense. You know, if you're lactose intolerant and you kind of have a milkshake, it makes sense. You know, I can understand a little bit as to why you would have some stomach problems from
Welcome
that.
back, everybody. We've got Ultraviolet from Team USA joining us for this.
Ultraviolet, yes, on a player. Ultraviolet
up against
was so
Team
good in the last
How are you
match. Those
Definitely
antis.
really good.
Okay, let's go. And I know anticipated matches for day one of the Overwatch World Cup here for Americas. Did you feel like there was any additional pressure on the shoulders of Team USA for that particular reason?
Yeah, I think because we have a lot of Toronto players and we didn't do very good in the regular season. A lot of people have had their expectations lowered of us. But I think I'm like really happy with how the team has been playing, and I'm like happy with the people we're playing with, and I think we're all really good. I think RuPaul, especially, me and him have been working really well together. He's
Yeah,
like, super
they've been getting
flexible.
much better.
So yeah, it's been good.
That's awesome. Well, it's always good to hear. And plus, you guys, you came out very dominant in this matchup as well. So a way to definitely show the haters and prove them wrong in that kind of sense. But I know I don't want to delve into this too much, but I know that there were those last minute adjustments coming out for the Team USA roster. And how did your team kind of adapt in that kind of way going forward?
Well, we had our first scrim yesterday, and
First
we were on
scrim
the right
yesterday.
heroes and like all these comps. I think Team Canada was watching, but it didn't matter in the end.
Okay, sweet. Well, I just want to say as well, like overall, is it kind of weird, I guess, playing up against Team Canada, considering that you are part of the Toronto Defiant team?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just from America, so I like consider myself on Team USA. I've always wanted to play for Team USA, so it's really nice to be here.
Oh, that's
Ultraviolet's
sweet. That's
so good at
awesome.
Ana.
And,
Holy
I
shit.
think, can you give us a little bit of insight on like what are the general vibes like for this team in the comms, for the calling and whatnot? Are you guys more so kind of clear, calm, collected, or do things get pretty darn chaotic?
I think things can get pretty chaotic because we're all like from a bunch of different outlaw teams. We all have different structures, and so like we haven't had much time to like figure out a structure that like our team wants to adopt. So it's been a lot of like conflicting like styles, but I think we've been adapting to it pretty well.
Yeah, kind of just going for the flow. It definitely seems like it's working out really well. And
Yeah, tons of different Owl
But,
team members here.
As far as it goes, what your team really did well, I think that stood out to everyone, was just your ability to generally control that tempo. And Team Canada, they definitely struggled to respond to that. Would you be able to maybe like walk me through a little bit how that kind of panned out for your team, maybe the weaknesses that you were looking to pick apart?
I think we just have like a really good understanding of the meta. We're playing the same stuff that like you saw in the mid-season madness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that like we're all really comfortable in this meta. We know like what to do in these certain types of things. They threw like a couple weird comps like with Diva and stuff, but yeah, I think we're just like all like really smart players, and we're able to adapt.
No, that's sick.
Got that brain on him.
Because I know that for Moxie, at the very least, this was like, I mean, not just for Moxie, but for me as well. One of the standout plays, at least on Ilios, there was, or no, sorry, not on Ilios. The earlier part of Numbani was the sugar-free Echo copying into the Ana, into the anti-nade.
Oh, look, they have the
Everyone's kind of
camera up
reaction,
now.
I guess when that play did come through.
I think I don't remember the specific fight, but I think we called that before as like a plan. So,
oh, really?
I mean,
okay,
yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
I don't know exactly how it went down because I'm just like in the backline of RuPaul fighting for my life, but I'm sure that went good.
No, I mean, you and RuPaul make a good duo back there too, especially when he's on that break, able to peel for you as well. And your sleeps were just going crazy today overall. But before we do go, I also want to give you the floor to give that opportunity to say any like thank yous or shout outs to anyone who might be watching.
Thank you to my family, friends, and all the fans and supporters. Appreciate it and keep cheering us on.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much, Ultraviolet. For
Very
taking the time
nice.
to do this interview and whatnot. Really appreciate it. But
Thank you.
we are going to do a quick break as well before we head into these next matches. So we're going to say goodbye to Ultraviolet. Wish you luck and GG's into your next matches. And we will be back on the other side of this quick break with Costa Rica versus Mexico.
Costa Rica versus Mexico. All right, chat. It's been really nice watching Overwatch League and everything, but we are going to swap off of it. No more Overwatch League. Does the cam work? Oh yeah, it works. Okay. This is like fine enough, I guess. Here we go, chat. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Taco.
How did America do?
They destroyed Canada.
Oh man,
It
like real life.
it wasn't even close.
Oh boy, you think America's got a chance to win the World Cup?
Really good chance. I mean, like, I'm either all of their members are Overwatch League players, or like one of them isn't, or whatever. But most of them are. Well, Super isn't an Overwatch League player, but Super is an ex Overwatch League player, and in my opinion, like one of the best tanks to ever tank. So.
I have spectators watching me.
Spectators watching you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
In real life.
Oh.
To make sure to see me get spooked.
Oh, okay.
It's spooky.
Are you streaming?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay, cool.
Hit that live button.
I hit the live button a little bit ago, you know?
Yeah, a little bit ago?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, you know?
Not like 4 hours ago or anything.
No, not 4 hours ago. It's not like you've been watching the Outlet, or not Outlast, but Overwatch, you know, stream this whole time. Now, my question is, how do we get into a game together?
We'll figure it out.
I do know that, we can choose to, there's three options. We can both die, we can betray the other one, and, one of us can live, or, we all live.
So, like, is that, like, a decision we make at the beginning, or, like, just throughout it?
Well, just throughout it.
Okay.
If you were to choose to betray me, you know, that's an option that you could do.
Yeah, it is an option.
Not a nice option, but
It's
a option.
Yeah. It's one of them. It's one of the many options which can happen.
Mm-hmm. What's up? Or one of you can sacrifice the others. Yeah, we can also sacrifice each other.
Okay.
Have you played the introduction yet? Because there's a whole introduction.
No.
Okay, so when you start up the game, there's going to be an introduction. It's going to show you some scenes, and then you can make your character.
Okay.
And then it'll give you the title screen. And then that's when we figure. Oh man, this looks so gross. There's female Leatherface on my screen right now.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's making spooky music, and there's a really edgy Discord it wants me to join. I think that's the scariest thing is
They have a Discord?
Yeah, you can join their edgy Discord.
It's weird that they have a Discord.
Well, so this game is in it's in early access, so they're adding more trials and stuff to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is it's not the full game yet. Their whole idea is they want to add a bunch of different trials and content to it.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of live servicey.
It is live service, but it's free live service, not pay for live service.
Well, I mean, didn't you have to pay for the game?
I guess. Yeah, it's true. But you do get a
But
discount for buying it in early access.
Okay, but still, you had to buy the game, so it's not free.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Ow, fuck.
I can't wait till the Outlast Battle Pass comes out.
I just stabbed myself with a sword
In real life?
in real life.
Oh my god, you should put a band-aid on it.
It hurt. Thank you. Let me knight you real quick. Mm. Oh. Yeah, I see where it says Teeterman Outlast can.
That's not my name.
That's what it says your name is. And I assume we're going to pick